થઈ જા
ટાઈમ છે
આરતી ભાઈ પહેલા કરી મેં એ બિગ હેલિકોપ્ટર જો એ देखा तो કેમ કઈ નહીં વાલા એ એ क्यों क्या
થઈ ગયું
બરાબર ડિસ્કોર્ડ પર બંધ કરું ને પણ તું તો અહીંયા ફૂકાયા કરતો હે એ થઈ ગયો चलो चलो शांति से जोआना
सपोर्टिंग अस और हम अच्छा करेंगे
सीरीज तारू बंद થઈ ગયું કે કેવું
सॉरी आई फंबल्ड कैन आई डू इट अगेन हां थैंक यू फॉर योर लव एंड सपोर्ट गाइस
भाई हूँ बात करो छौनी वाचिंग क्षितिज
नाम प्राउड करेंगे
इट्स क्रेजी गाइस
Alright, thank you very much. There you go, Shanky, the one and only.
गाइस जल्दी से लाइक कर दो
SHUL esports is in the house. I feel like I'm in a
Karan
safari.
તારો
and
live
we
છે
have so many of
હા,
these speeches
હમણાં થયું.
after the other. This guy is
નહીં
one of the
એટલે
top
જો
predators. His name is Troll.
સ્ટેડિયમમાં બે
Mr. Troll, how
બે
are
મિનિટ
you, man?
બતાવે તારા મત
I'm fine. How about you?
नहीं नहीं अतिरिक्त में પાછળથી જોતો છે એમ
The Indians are absolutely polite. You guys are the only ones asking me how I'm doing. Now, I want to ask you, are you nervous? This is one of the first times
એ
you're
લોકોનો
stepping into a
કેપ્ટન
big
વાર
stage like
થઈ
this.
ગયો
No, I'm not nervous. You know, I'm just feeling excited about it.
Fantastic. Which team are you looking forward to kicking out of the competition from your group?
I think EVOS because they are defending champions, so
The confidence to kick out the reigning defending champions EVOS Divine themselves. All right. Now, I wanna know, just tell me some of the things that you guys have done to prepare for this competition. What's your training routine like, man?
we just played like scrims and all, and we have prepared some crazy rotations for them.
He's waiting to troll them already. This is SATUL's troll. This guy is about to troll everyone on the battlefield. I can't wait to see what you guys do out there.
Thank you.
It's the East. No.
સ્કીપ મારો
Solid competition for. Sorry, actually, nothing of note yet. I'll have more on that next week. And finally, things were heating up on stage at Fatal Fury Wolf City. And I don't know if you're picking up on the theme here, but Dark Angel fought his way out of the losers bracket to top the regional favorites and get another win for North America. If only the football world cup
અમારા
had
કોનો
been
સાઉન્ડ
so
મ્યુટ કરેલો છે
kind.
ને
Well, guys, what is happening?
Oh, no.
3 tournaments and 3 new champions, no title defense, no
Oh, no,
favorites
madam.
able to compete, and all
Ah,
under
तो
Jason
चैनल।
Sitin में
I'll
mute
tell
है।
you what it is, because I've
Sitin
said
में
it
mute है।
before, and I
हाँ।
will say it
हाँ,
again. This tournament is about the losers.
મારો ચાલતો જ છે
See you next week.
સ્ટ્રીમ પર અવાજ નથી આવતો એટલે
આપણને મ્યુટ કરેલા હે This is not a game. Sport World Cup.
Bonjour, Tash Bunny. We made it to Paris.
That's right, Seven, and today's gonna be hype because today is going to be Free Fire.
We got Group A and Group B.
That's right, and we also have the defending champions, EVOS Divine here. Can they defend their title?
Who will become the champion because this is Free Fire at the Esports World Cup.
Let's begin.
Welcome to Paris, where we are here for Free Fire at the Esports World Cup 2026. It's hot outside, but the competition inside is even hotter. I'm Lace.
And I'm Conchita Caroline, but before we go into this year's competition, let us take you back to 2025, where EVOS Divine were the first team to activate a champion rush, doing so on Game 6, winning 2 games, placing top 4 5 times before finally cinching the title on Game 10.
अरे
Now
जूतो छे मैं
the competition is so much different this year. And I
એમાં હું
think
બોલ્યો
there's
નું
no
હા
one
હારી
that
દેખાતી છે
EVOS Divine are going to have to face first.
Exactly right, and that's another 24 teams, 2 groups of 12, over 12 different maps. And the top 4 team from each group stage will head through to the
ભાઈ મેં તો
finals.
ઇન્ડિયાની
The
એન્ટ્રી
French
જોવાનો છે
and
મેં
Death are going straight to the survival stage, and unfortunately we're gonna have to say goodbye
ત્યારે
to
તોને
the
તોની
bottom
entry
two
જોવાનું
because they
છે,
are
ભારી
going
છે
to
હવે.
be
એ જ
eliminated. 12 maps is a lot,
મેઇન
but
તે
I
જ
think
જોવાનો છે
it's so worth it for the prize pool that we have.
$1 million, 300,000 to the first team. And one of those teams
ચલો,
that
ચલો,
you
ચાલ
might want to
થાય
keep an
એટલે.
eye out for is Team Secret, our underdogs here for Free Fire, taking over the Victorious Championship from the AG.
એમાં અક્ષિત તને હું બેનિફિટ મળે ખબર તારું વોચ ટાઈમ બહુ જલ્દી પથે
Yes, but let's not forget we still have our reigning champion. Hello,
And
once
અચ્છા,
again,
હા.
EVOS Divine is
તો તારું
back.
મોનિટાઇઝેશન
I think
થવાના
we are
ચાન્સ બહુ
so
વધારે
ready
થઈ જાય
for it.
Yes, and Barum struggled actually in EWC last year, and of course they are going to change things here. But
પહેલા
they
વખતે
did
તો કોઈ EWC બની ગયેલી ફ્રી ફાયરની
global series. So yeah, I feel like they've got a
Let's
little
slot
bit
in
of
you
a
to.
vengeance.
Yes, I
ત્યારે
think
પણ
we
ઓફિશિયલી કઈ હતું જ નહીં ને
chat a lot
ને
with
ફર્સ્ટ ટાઈમ
EWC
EWC હતું
and he did say that they came in good spirit. I think this might be it for them.
Yes, and if that doesn't help you guys, we have a tournament format explainer video for you guys to have a look at.
Free Fire will once again make its mark at the Esports World Cup. So let's take a closer look at the tournament format and how the teams can reach that
ફોર્મેટ બહુ
final.
ભરી છે તેની જોજે
24 of the best Free Fire teams from around the globe will enter the
Top
arena
5
and
qualified
throughout
hai.
4 intense days
Top 4
for a share of a $1 million prize
Top 4
pool.
છે એમાં.
The competition is divided into 3
પહેલામાં 5
stages:
છે બીજી
group
એમ
stage,
એટલે.
survival stage, and match point.
તો આધાર આટલા
We
સ્ટેજ થઈ
start
ગયા
in the group stage, where our teams are split into 2
હા,
even
એટલે
groups of 12 participants.
બે ગ્રુપ
Each
પણ હે ને
group plays
તેમાંથી
a set
થાય
of
એવું
12
જ ને.
હા
matches, after which 4 best teams
જો
from
ટોપ
each
4
group advance directly
ટોપ
to the
4 ગયા
finals.
ડાયરેક્ટ
Teams
ફાઇનલમાં
placed 5th to 10th move to stage 2, and each group's bottom 2 squads are sadly eliminated. Next comes stage 2, the survival stage, where 12 teams once
ઓકે
again have
હિન્દી
to
ચાલુ
play
કરીએ
together throughout
tracking
10
bag એમ
intense
કહેજો.
matches. Here it's all or nothing, as only 4
કોણ
top
કે
teams advance to the final stage, and 8 squads can start packing their bags. That brings us to the match point finals, where the remaining 12 teams, 8 from group stage and 4 from survival stage, clash for the ultimate glory of becoming the Esports World Cup Free Fire champions. Here there's no map cap. The game goes on until one of the squads earns 90 points and, after that, manages to score a booyah in the next match. Only then can they call themselves the champions.
Here at the Totem, and I am joined by the reporters of the club championship. So every single one of you is going to give us a little bit of a rundown.
2024 માં બી રમાઈ લીધે હું
Later, I'm going to start off with you, Chris. How are things going, and what can we expect?
Indian
from
slot
yours?
new to it.
Dota
Ah.
Thomas has kind of been business as usual, been going through the motions, getting through the group stage. Today is when we have actually started the survival stage. Relevant of that though, we did have 4 teams top their group, and Falcons, one of those squads, managing to get
કોને મને કહે
guaranteeing themselves some club championship points. So that's something to keep an eye on.
હેલો
Another notion though today, we've got the first 2 teams coming up in this survival stage. Team Liquid currently down in their series, not looking too great for them. And Virtus Pro, they're 1-1 in their series. So both those 2 teams could go out today. Considering where they're at in club championship status, that is a massive, massive result if they go home today.
Absolutely. And then from you, Trav.
Yeah, so we had Fatal Fury last week, City of the Wolves, which was a big, big thing for Navi in general. So it was Dark Angel who managed to take 1,000 points home, which is huge for them as well, because they're one of the competing teams in the club championship. Second place as well, Virtus Pro have got a large array of teams across it as well. So them getting those 750 points was huge for them. And then Reject as well coming in 4th, getting 300. So they
રાજ કેમ કઈ નહીં બોલે
for those organizations. We're on to Mobile Legends Bang Bang this week, the Women's Invitational, and that has kind of thrown a bit of a spanner in the works. It's back again with a couple of rosters, no surprise there. They're investing heavily in Stage 4 this year. And Team Vitality off to a flying start.
Yeah, they're the title defenders. I know that for sure. They only managed to get 250 points over in Valorant, so we'll see how that's going to play out for them. But Apex is a very interesting one, Glitter.
Yeah, very different from what you guys have kind of been seeing on your stages. When it comes to Apex, it's obviously done, and the winner was Unlimit. Now, that's important because Unlimit is not participating in the club championship, so those points gone out the window. But the teams we are paying attention to are Team
એપેક્સ ના અંદર તો સોલ બહુ સારું કરતી હતી ને તો પછી છેલ્લે હગાઈ કેમ કે
અરે પેલા સુધી તો સેમીફાઇનલ તો હારો રમી પણ પછી
ચોક થયેલો ચોક કે ચોક
This is kind of where my stage ties into your stages a little bit more because this year the teams that we're looking at are Team Falcons and Vitality, funny enough. Now, Falcons won Free Fire in 2024. However, they did not last year around. And Vitality even outplaced Falcons last year in Free Fire. So now those are the teams we're going to be looking at. And Falcons
આઈ થિંક જો ની સૌથી વધારે સ્લોટ કદાચ છે તે ઇન્ડોનેશિયા ને હે ને પછી ઇન્ડિયા ને જ છે બીજી બધી ને છે તે એક એક જ છે
એમાં હું એશિયન ક્વોલિફાયર માંથી આવ્યા ને તેમાંથી હશે વધારે એવું કંઈક
હા બેનિફિટ એના લીધે મળ્યું એ લોકોને
across a lot of different titles. And for us on the league stage, AGAL. This is their debut here at EWC. They have a lot of teams competing. We're going to see how this week pans out. Thank you so much for watching. We're going to be back to you guys.
$75 million, 25 tournaments, over 200 clubs, only one club champion. The club championship is the beating heart of the Esports World Cup. Over 7 weeks, esports clubs send their players to compete. Every placement, every win, every podium earns points for their club. At the end of 7 weeks, every point counts. The club at the top walks away with $7 million and the title of best esports club in the world. It's not about
TRC1 બી કઈ પાર્ટનર માં છે ને કઈ
it's about being the best across depth,
એ બહુ મોટી વાત કહેવાય
consistency under pressure. One championship trophy, one title.
પેલા રોનાલ્ડો
હા
ફેસ ફેસ
મેઇન પેલું આઇકોન
સ્પોર્ટ્સ નો હા એટલે
વાત કરે આઈલો બહુ ભરી રમે આઈલો લોટો
Next to me is our player Razia from EVOS Divine, and of course here's our beautiful translator as well. So to our first questions, being the champions of EWC 25,
બોટા છે કે નહીં લાઇનઅપ માં
ઓકે
બોટા છે કે લાઇનઅપ માં
ડોટા
બોટા 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 પેલા સોલ માંથી
અચ્છા છે ને તે ટોટલ માં છે તે ટોટલ માં છે
હા તેજ ને
છે
right now because we're gonna ready to back champion again.
Very confident, and I love that. They would love to get the
મોસ્ટલી એના ચાન્સ ઓછા પણ હારું રમે એ લોકો તો
we have
બહુ ગંદા રમે
right here. As you guys all know, Team Secret as
હારું રમે કે ગંદા રમે
બહુ ખતરનાક રમે એમ ગંદા મીન્સ એમાં
ખતરનાક રમે
ભાઈલો આઈલો એકલું
ઇન્ડિયન રીજન માં હારું રમતા એટલે
how do you think about them?
એની આઈલા આપણે ઇન્ડિયન રીજન નો થોડી છે બહારનો છે તો
અરે આની વાત કરે અરે મેં તો પહેલાની વાત કરે લાઈક
હા બોટા
I'm feeling like I want to prove to them like EWC is our place. EWC is mean EVOS World Champion, not Esport World Cup.
Oh my god, wow. I feel the intensity is really much here, but overall that is all we can hear from Razia. And I would love to see more from EVOS Divine and of course other teams right here in EWC 26 Free Fire. See you guys later and thank you for listening.
ચાલ intro
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Free Fire at Esports World Cup 2026 live from Paris. We're finally here. By the way, my name is 7WG. I'm going to be your studio host, and I'm joined by some amazing talent, none other than Conchita and Neptune. Neptune, I'm going to start with you. How are you enjoying Paris so far?
Oh, it's quite different. This is the first time in Paris, and I'm really loving it right now, especially the energy that we have right now.
We're next to some other stages, and boy, we can definitely feel the crowd energy. How about you, Conchita? How are you enjoying Paris?
It's also my first time in Paris, and it's been amazing. I just can't wait to see how the competition goes this year, and yeah, having a great time so far.
I mean, you know what? Let's just dive right into the competition because we have EVOS returning, and they could be back-to-back champions here at EWC, Neptune.
Oh, have seen
He was.
on the regionals. It seems like they're having a lot of trouble. So I don't know if it's just a setup so that they will not be known, their strategy will not be known up to this level. But hopefully it's for the best of them because again, who doesn't want to see them to be back to back?
Yeah, of course. I mean, if we're talking about EFOS Divine, let's not forget we have Rasha, the youngest player, also the MVP of last year. I'm pretty sure that today he's back with a vengeance, and he is going for redemption.
football god
Honestly, I
आवेला
think
तो
EFOS Divine is trying
लेकिन
their
से
best to
फोन कर
perform
लो
well at the EWC, because like you said before, the regional was
तो लो
so
पार्ट नहीं किधर हुए
difficult.
इतना
They were having a bit of a time. They struggled, but yeah, I think things are looking up, so I'm
तो लो मैसेज कर लो
as an Indonesian, I can help but feel hopeful.
Well, let's find out how hopeful you guys are before we move on to another team. Are they going to make it directly to the finals, or are they going to be going to survival? Conchita, if you want to go first, or Neptune?
Can I go first?
Go ahead.
I think I'm gonna sound a little biased because again, Indonesian, I can't help it, but I really want them to go straight and not go to the survival. Not because
सर्वाइवल मत ही जो इसमें तो मजा आवे नो कमांड तो की जा
worried for them to go into the survival stage, so it might as well be, you know, do it quick, do it better, do it perfect, and then go straight to the next stage.
I don't know though, because even I think they're confident enough, despite of the record of not having performed from regionals, they're confident enough that if they are being thrown into survival, they know exactly what needs to be done to get into the grand finals. That has been the storyline that they have even in Southeast Asia. And that's one reason as well. When it comes to the numbers, that looks like they're struggling. But now that I'm thinking about it, how well they are recovering after those instances. So I guess they might be able to do it again, even in EWC.
I mean, sometimes some teams actually benefit. I know this sounds crazy, but sometimes teams benefit if they end up getting that little extra in survival. But the thing is, as you said, it is scary in survival because only the top 4 will be moving on to the grand final. So I don't know if they want to put themselves in that position.
True, especially as the reigning champion.
Yes, that's very true. You know what? I don't know if they want to feel that extra pressure there in survival. One team that's looking to not go to survival and qualify directly to finals is Buriram United.
Yes, I'm very proud of Buriram United. I think winning the global finals in 2025 really gave them the confidence they much needed. And EWC is something they've been looking forward to finally have in their store, you know, because it's something that they don't have yet. And Wasana, I think
मोस्टली इट लगा था
showing a bit more maturity in the way that he's playing, the role that he's taking. I hope that he can be one of the best players that we can see at the EWC 2026.
Yeah, I do agree. I mean, Misana being consistent, being the best rusher out of the team, and also the
तो 15 मिनट ना अंदर ही तो इंट्रोडक्शन रखा है
so many years. Even if they haven't grabbed any title or has we've seen how well they recovered on the global finals, and it's not as if they made a lot of change. The strategy is pretty much the same. Slow in the beginning, mid-game towards the end game. That's there where they get all those elimination. And pretty much that's also the same in Champion Rush, because you don't have to rush that much in the first instance, the first stages. It's just that Puya needs to be taken where it really matters, and that is for the last day.
And it's like a perfect Cinderella story, you know? I mean, they finished 9th in the last year of EWC, but it's slowly trying to build themselves.
back it
They show consistency. They finally won the World
Series,
the Global Finals. It's just a perfect run for them. This would be a full circle moment for Buriram United Esports.
Oh, they're just missing that EWC. Another team that's actually missing that one too, that I know a lot of people are going to be happy about, is going to be Fluxo. Fluxo's coming in with one of the MVPs too out of the region.
हम जीत नहीं तो
Wait and see what that squad's going to be doing. But out of Group A, when we're looking at it, we also
नहीं એટલે એ આપને કહેતો है वो मैं क्यों
and that's a North that has won
नक्कम ना मारा है
नक्कम ना मारा
only have just one player from when they won though, and that was On Fire.
Okay, I think Neptune's gonna take this one, because speaking of Falcons, I can hear your voice in my head already.
Well, that's one thing though. I mean, Team Falcons, at some point after not like losing to the players, they lost their identity. We are not seeing that consistency anymore. There is some fire similar to what we've seen from Buriram United, but it's not that aggressive. It's not that much we're in. It's a sure win for them. So it's really difficult to tell if they're just playing with us, just pulling our leg right now. That they
business account बनाएगा ना PayPal में कैसे बनाएगा
they bring in those buoys in the Champion Rush, because
business account बनाएगा ना
business કરીને નહીં સાદું બનાવેલું હતું
they choose some stages or some tournament
business
where they really want to pop off.
એવું
They
છે
don't want to give out that much of strategy.
MBA પાસે બીજું બનાવવું જ પડે કારણ કે પેલું બીજી બેંક
Unpredictable situation when you talk about Falcons. So yeah, we might have just
બીજે કોણ ખોલાયું છે
નહીં એટલે એકાઉન્ટ સેમ જ હતું પણ મેં કેવું કે પહેલા એટલે બેંકમાં ટ્રાય કરેલું એમાં નહીં થયેલું એટલે પેલું નહીં આવેલું હતું વેરિફિકેશન વાળું એટલે આ બીજી બેંકમાં ટ્રાય કરેલું
પણ તમે એડ તો નહીં થયેલું બેંક એકાઉન્ટ
નહીં એડ તો નહીં થયેલું
હા ખબર
These groups are going to be playing 12 matches.
Yes.
Can Tag maybe end up surprising us in the
12
first
मैच
six
है भाई
matches that they'll be playing today?
Yeah, I do think that's
25 मिनट ना गण
and it's a long game that they're playing. It's a game of endurance.
25 हाँ 10-15 ये तो सर्वाइव क्यों कर रहा है यहाँ पर अब બધા સાઈડ માં જો લોગો મૂકેલા છે સાઈડ માં
because this isn't their first time coming. They know exactly what they're facing. So yeah, it's just quite interesting to
પણ આ
see
પેલું થોડી
કાલ અપડેટ કાલ અપડેટ આવવાનો ને
કયું
કાલે 11 વાગે જેવો બધા એન્ડ્રોઇડ માં અને iOS માં 9 થી 12 તો
હું હેની વાત કરે
BGM
હા
તો સ્ટોરેજ ખાલી કરવા પડશે એ તો અપડેટ જ નહીં
હું વાત કરે એ લોકોની વોચિંગ ઓછી થઈ સ્નેક્સ ની એના કરતા વધારે જાય બોલ 4000 ની ગઈ
esports scene from India. I'm really looking forward to what they're going to bring to the table.
Yeah, and once again, it's the
ભાઈ ટીમ ઇન્ડિયા હારું કઈ પડ્યો પ્રે ટીમ ઇન્ડિયા હારું કઈ પડ્યો
Some of the teams, the aggressive teams coming from India, and it's tough to say if what they've shown already is what we're going to expect because they have been preparing
ભાઈ
for
બોઈલો
a lot of rest out of esports scene from India. I'm really looking forward to what they're going to bring to the table.
Yeah, WC or just
બોઈલો ભાઈ બોઈલો કે બહુ ટાઈમ થી એ લોકો વેઇટ કરતા હોતા ને બહુ અગ્રેસિવ રમે કે
Which team do you think can surprise us? We just heard Conchita talk about
India.
consistency, right? We want to look at consistency from some of these squads. Is there
Yeah,
any
I agree
squad
on
that you're
this.
like, okay, hey, that one might end up surprising us with consistency?
Okay.
Well, there's a lot of
Ayogi
things
jo
that
dekha
teams
gallo.
really that
Jara
haven't
tara,
shown
jara
that much
tara.
from the previous competition. I think AJL is one of the teams
Buda baba
that
team.
has that confidence right now, especially having that clash squad. So it's a different game mode overall. But the team, after getting that championship, they have been in good chemistry up to this point.
Yeah, I have
Yeah,
to
yeah,
give that
yeah,
to
yeah.
this one because AGAL, they have been showing amazing performance, and I think Dew is in the right place, right space, and yeah, it's always beautiful how he and Saifa would do a teamwork and play so well alongside each other. So I'm just really looking forward to see what AGAL will bring to the game this year.
Oh man, all right, you agree with it too?
15 lakh crore.
Okay, now
15 લાખ કરોડ આ હું 15 કરોડ है
नितिन गडकरी एंटी में का
भाई भाई नहीं आएगा कॉपीराइट नहीं आएगा परमिशन लिया है मैंने साईं भाई
You really have to ask
it's just one of those like close your eyes and start.
Yeah, we literally
हाँ भाई
just
दे
started the
दी
show. Okay, I think I'm gonna go.
क्यों क्या हुआ
I like it. I like it. Neptune, come on.
I don't know. I mean, some of the teams, the best teams, I would say, doesn't show up that much. So I'm going for Aurora Gaming at this point from Group A. Coming from Malaysia, also a first contender in here. I think they will be on fire right now.
I thought you were gonna go with Evos. I'm not gonna
Yep, bro.
lie. She stayed with Borem. I was like, for sure.
Oh, definitely.
With Evos. But let us know in the comments below for everybody watching. Who do you think is gonna be taking the first booyah? Because this is day one of free.
चल भाई start wait start 30 सेकंड 27 26 डायरेक्ट બેહાડી જ દેવાનો હું मैं तो खुश थिया करतो तो
नहीं नहीं वच्चे થી એન્ટ્રી પાડે પછી બેઠા
યો
ક્વોલિટી યાર મજા નથી સ્વિચ કરેલો તો આપે ને
યો લાઈવા अच्छा स्टेमिना था जबरू स्पाइडर कैंप भी लगा है लोगों को
24 of the most dominant teams in the world will step onto the Gadir City grid for the first time today. Teams who swept through their regions and left their opponents in the dust. But now they stand at the base of a mountain faced with an almost impossible climb.
150 million players for this 2026. 33 million players play these games every day. But today we will have the 96 best players coming from all around the world.
That's right, from all corners of the world, ready to go toe-to-toe until they are the last team standing. My name is Barney Banks and I'm your host alongside the incredible Luti. And without any further delay, it's time to introduce your first 12 teams to the main stage.
Yeah, there is a lot of pressure, of course. Like, there is so many young players and they are coming from all around the world. And you know what? Like, I think for a lot of them, it's the first time in Europe, the first time in Paris. So they are far away from home. Hopefully they're gonna make it right for this first day here at EWC Paris. However, it's time, ladies and gentlemen, to introduce our first 12 teams. Starting with
Indian player like
સ્નેક્સ નું દરોક તો વધારે જાય અલા પાકિસ્તાન ના કદાચ
Titan Esports Club.
Loud Sneakers.
આ ભાઈ આ બી ભાઈ બહુ જબરદસ્ત આ લેજન્ડ ટીમ લાઉડ
United Esports.
ને ભાઈ આ દર વખતે જીતતી હોય તો હવે એમાં જે પહેલો પ્લેયર ચાલતો ગયો તે બહુ જબરો નહીં જે આગળ ચાળીઓ ચડ્યો છે તે એનું મને એટલું આઈડિયા નહીં મળ્યું પણ એજી આવી પહેલી વખત સાંભળેલી મેં Paradox.
Chinese team. Japan kara jai.
Gun Dynasty.
હવે કદાચ ઇન્ડિયા ના હોય સોલી સ્પોર્ટ્સ કદાચ નહીં તે નહીં મળે આઇલિયા નેપાલ
ફાલ્કન માં નેપાલ
નહીં નહીં ડીઆરએસ છે
Your reigning club champions, Team Falcons.
હા ભાઈ ચેમ્પિયન હતી ભાઈ ફેલ્કોન કે યુએસ ચેમ્પિયન હતી સમથિંગ એવું કહે છે એપેક્સ એવું ભાઈ અડ્ડાઈ પબ્લિક અડ્ડાઈ હે
And now, your reigning esports World Cup champions, EVOS Esports.
You આયુ જો આ લોઠો જો ચિકન લાવ્યો
સોલ સ્પોર્ટ્સ ને આવ્યો એ એમાં
સોલ ટીમ બી માં છે
એમાં જે જીતેલું હોય ને તે છેલ્લે આવતી છે એવું કહે છે
હા સોલ તો પેલી છે ને ટીમ બી છે ગ્રુપ બી છે
ઓકે હા
ભાઈ આપણા વાળાના કપડા તો લાગતા છે એપેક્સ વાળાના હે તો બધા લોઠા જેવા જ લાગે છે નહીં
The first day of Free Fire in EWC Paris begin now.
How hard is it to claim the throne? to rise above and be the best.
To end it, Russia with the final elimination. The Wonder Kid gets the job done.
And how hard is it to stay at the top?
Secret WAG rips away the Booyah and Bermuda.
It requires strength, resilience,
Yes.
the
It
ability
is
to thrive.
Desi
under
3,800 crore.
It requires consistency.
Ita.
And as the kingdom grows,
यार जब
so does the number of
टैक्टिकल है 3
contenders.
करोड़ तो अभी 5 करोड़ का बिल था
With familiar faces returning and entirely new forces knocking at the gates. But in the end, there can be only one king, one champion, and one Booyah. And no king rules forever.
भाई स्नैक्स नहीं वाचिंग जाए तो जो
Ladies and gentlemen,
वो
boys and girls,
snacks है.
survivors
20,000
of all ages, welcome to the
એ
most
મોબાઈલ મુકાવતા છે કે હું કઈ મુકાવતા છે જો
first half of the year. This is Free Fire at the Esports World Cup 2026. We are in Paris, and I expected a heat wave. It was quite cold here, but now with the game starting, Tash, I think we're gonna just bump the heat up a tad bit higher.
It's going to be intense. It's going to be mad hot. We saw the reigning champions walk in and question marks on whether
अब
or
भाई
not they
मुझसे भी
can defend that
लागे है.
crown.
Oh yeah.
Bitch.
You know,
बनाए लो भाई बनाए लो
competition, it's all about survival. We're in the group stage, and for the first time ever, we have got 24 teams from around the world hopping on into a global battle.
એપેક્સ વાળાની બહુ સારી ટીમ છે કોર્ડિનેશન ખાલી બનવું જોઈએ એ લોકોનું
Which
ફ્લોમાં
means they're gonna be a tad bit more hard out
તો
there.
પછી ભાઈ
The
તો
first day, you got early
Solo
qualifiers,
run
but you
consistency पर
definitely
जाए
wanna
ये
avoid
लोग.
the bottom of the leaderboard.
हाँ
For real, for real, for
ये
real.
लोग
Now,
Discord
as
भी
you
છે
go into that
consistency
as
वालों
well,
पर.
eliminations are coming
और
through.
आईजीएल वगैरह क्यों करो बेटा जो बोले.
नहीं એમ તો છે એઝ અ બેકઅપ આઈજીએલ રાખેલો
એટલે है पर પેલો મેન આઈજીएल के
Yeah,
चेंज
absolutely.
करेंगे
But
नहीं.
today is just day one. Both groups, A and B, will only play the first 6
Yeah,
matches,
fun
right? So
player.
it's a little bit of a prelude. It's a little
તે
bit
તે
of
જ
a
જોતો છે
preview.
મેં બી
And thank God we have the preview, because some of the teams here are absolutely clueless about the regions
આ તો
where
કે
you've shown up on a stage
Total.
where you're able
આ તો
to
વન પ્લસ સમથિંગ છે લાગ્યો મને
drop spots are like, exactly what their
જો
rotations are
સ્પોન્સર
like.
હોય
So
ને
they're
તો
left
તે
in
જ
the
કંપનીનો
dark,
વાપરે
and
મેં તો
these
પછી આઈફોન
underdogs
વાપરે.
could just be exactly what surprises even the big dogs, right? Because we know for a fact
ये
when you
बदलना
go
same
on
જ
to the
છે.
Free Fire
થાય જ ને.
global finals, the gameplay there is just very different. The Titans will rule
સ્પોન્સર
the
કોણ વન
game,
પ્લસ
but
છે
here at the Esports World Cup,
ખબર
we
નહીં હા.
actually have the capability
અહીંયા
of
દેખાતો હતો
as always. But here at the Esports World Cup, we so far the winners that have been able to run away with it are winners who haven't been able to achieve much.
तो
on
ठंडी
the
वाला
global
लगे
finals
आने दर
level.
पेलो
Yeah, it's really exciting when you think about that
Woody.
because it's such a different moment, right? It's a different pond.
Yeah.
It's a different capability. And again,
Like
there are also, you know, whispers about these new teams coming online. The differences in regional styles of play, whether or
उल्टा
not
है
you can
क्या?
adapt to that. That day one, trying to figure out, like you mentioned, right, the drop spots. Are we going to be taking the early fights or are we going to be avoiding these teams? So those are the questions these teams are going to be asking themselves. Are you brave enough or to take that gamble, or are you going to be
हाँ हाँ
all
भाई
the way till the end?
Absolutely.
कहाँ
Just saw
पार्टी
a
भाई
little peek of
कहाँ पैसा
EGA,
कमा रहे
have
हैं
already shown their prowess in Clash Squad thus far, global finals champions, and recently at the Southeast Asian Clash Masters as well. But that's Clash Squad.
Royal
Battle
Attack.
Royale, they have been doing absolutely fine for themselves as well, right? Just very quickly climbing up the ladder, but they have not achieved a
Free Fire
championship in
Max.
VR for themselves just yet. Second
Huh.
at Sea Spring 26, second at even the Free Fire Max Asia Invitational, where we threw in a bunch of super teams from Southeast Asia
Italian
against the
is
South
something.
Asian teams, where they also found dominance at.
Yeah, and I think that when you are in that situation, you are trying to think, okay, how
भाई मैं
exactly am I
पार्थ
gonna
भाई
be
नहीं हूँ
matching up with these other players? Some of them are very, very new. I would say
Yeah,
sometimes
one
people
better
say, right, the
than
younger
that.
players have a little bit more drive. They're hot-headed, they're hot-blooded.
Oh,
they
yeah.
want to go for these early fights.
Yeah.
But in this situation, when you go high risk, the high reward moment, if you lose it, you lose it all. And in this situation, you want to avoid being at the very bottom of that ladder. What can we do to make sure that we don't go super high risk and not overheat?
Well, if you do end up at the bottom today, the risk is
there, but fairly low. Tomorrow, you definitely have to avoid it at all costs. But obviously, not every single team can do that. At the end of the day, you're going to have some winners.
Oh, Johnny भाई बद्दू check कर
At risk of relegation. But I'm looking at the rise of the underdogs here, mainly at the Esports World Cup, right? Because this is where dreams are made. And again, this guy, he dreamt for many, many years. I'm not so sure exactly what he's trying to do right now, but he's dreamt for many, many years. He's trying to think
Marcus, ये वो बता भी रहा क्या?
The moment he gets a booyah, and AJL's just the kind of squad who's capable of walking with a booyah. And speaking of which, this is Group 8. Many have termed this group the group because of the pool of titans that are in this group.
Right, and I think that when you think about Group of Death, there are so many situations that, you know, for me personally,
जो कि मतलब हाथ में के में वो रखता था पसीना नहीं था है ना हारो साफ थी अगर है रिटर्न
गरम बैग है
नहीं नहीं
and we were surprised and it wasn't at all our expectations.
अरे राकेट किन का
राकेट भाई
again the favorites getting knocked out is going to be happening. I would say
अपन बीचे में वाला पाउडर आप रहे
हाँ तो वपर है ना
the bigger stages. Maybe regionally we haven't seen their prowess because maybe regionally wise maybe they're not the best there, but some teams excel on the global stage and that really surprises.
कौन आप ब्लॉग उतारिया करे
Exactly right. So it's just such a interesting fact.
जो जो सलाह है जो हिंदी में बात कर अरे कोई आवे तो हिंदी में बात करो ना तू टेंशन नहीं रहा
You look at even AGAL. I mean, this is their third year here, and both of the Esports World Cup in 2024 and 2025, they've placed fifth. It's weird that they are not able to take a step forward, but the underdogs, on the other hand, they always manage to rise up to the occasion. I wonder what's the difference going to be like this time around, right? Because you look at the teams. Yes, the teams have grown. Yes, the mechanical skills of these
iPhone
but we also have to take a look at the meta. This is the season for the snipers to rise up to the occasion.
Yeah, the snipers have been buffed, and I think that what's really good about this as well, I think there were like, you know, whispers about the Indonesian squads running that double sniper.
Prediction.
That is going to be fun, but again, as we go into this first game,
you start.
I'm curious to see what exactly is going to be happening. Is it going to be
Thailand
double
ले
snipers?
नहीं
What do you think, AJ?
Definitely Apex पर Apex ही जीतेगी
or it could also be a potential avoidance of these high
कौन आते
for the underdogs of
he was भाई 6 बन भाई at least support करी है क्या
because of the fact where we haven't built dominance on these compounds just yet. Day one is going to be a very messy day, and I think we already see a couple of hot drops out there.
Yeah, and I'm seeing a very
tag
where we
tag वो गंदी उतरी
just completely full of players. Circle coming up toward the
middle
central side there. So the rotations coming
आपने सेंटोसा ना ऊपर जो पीक ना नीचे पीक के नीचे देख ब्रो
And this is going to be a little tough for Gun Dynasty if they don't manage to overwhelm the Malaysian squad who has been performing extremely well in the recent past.
फेस कैम ऊपर ले ले
नीचे ले आके तो तू
अरे ऊपर के नीचे ले ले देखा है मैप
नहीं देखा है मैंने क्लियर देखा है सेंटर में अच्छा हाँ नहीं छोड़नी पड़े एज हारू पर है लेफ्ट साइड मुका तो भी हो जाएगा इनिशियल फाइट થઈ भी गई
Vega on the other hand already has the M82B in
ये ले पहले ओवरऑल स्केलिंग भी देखा है
अच्छा है पीछे
मैं बता रहा हूं फेस कैम है
मैप ना नीचे
लेफ्ट नीचे
मैप ना नीचे मुकी दे
नहीं आओगे
चाल
And Aurora does not want a straightforward fight. A little mistake here from Asriel as he hops on into the battle. David won't find him. Zuez for the backup. And the Mag 7 shine.
I miss करवाना मैं.
But they've already lost 2-3 players down to the ground.
It's a chaotic moment here right now as Jun also gets knocked down quickly. Shobi comes through and somehow steals it away. Aurora Gaming eliminated too soon.
चल टैग है हारू डिसीजन ले दो भाई मारी भी नहीं की हाँ भाई साहब हूँ बात करे TRS पाकिस्तान वाली
Paradox up against DRS, 3 eliminations in
hand.
They started off really hot. But it looks like Paradox will have to
Lem.
back away from this equation here. Snipe with the VSS is going to be standing by to distract the players of the Rail Soldiers. Was his buddy makes it away from the compound, looking for the revival on the rest of the Paradox squad. Alu and Pratik making sure they don't make a mistake.
जानी मैं stream करता हूँ
Snipes defenses. They pick up their 4th point. A great start for DRS.
Yeah, DRS just walk up and just took the area like it's nobody's business. Snipe back into the
Ali EVOS sidit tari EVOS.
EVOS, they just tried to make a move onto the enemy team on the other side here, but they weren't able to find an opening toward them. Since DP does have the upper hand, drops down, but
एक ने लिखा full finish है वो. Great.
and the rest of the team completely collapsed as EVOS run away into the other compound here. They're trying to just crunch them from different areas. Ray cannot hold on here. Rasha does get a pick off of his own, but DP doing a great job of just annihilating EVOS.
Oh, it was a great start here from Demon's Pride, taking on the reigning defending champions in EVOS Divine, trying to take them out of the equation, but it's not going to be that easy. The White Tigers of Indonesia rising to the occasion, instant pickups from their side, and they turn the tables on Demon's Pride, showing them who the true demons of this competition are.
It's honestly insane.
Backup करी हो क्या मैं? Oh भाई, second fight. Falcon आता है. Oh भाई.
Right timing to just catch him off guard before EVOS was even able to reposition.
Yeah, great positioning from Russia as far as the battle up against Demon's Pride.
Direct. भाई tag वाला भी किया.
And here comes Gun Dynasty yet again in another battle. But their prime play, but David 444 down on the ground. But Team Apex Gaming meets a very up against the LATAM Giants.
Man, we already have 2 teams already out of the game, and EVOS in trouble. As Falcons just clean up house, eliminated so quickly.
Demon's Prides.
Fairly soon, and these are the big hitting numbers. We talked about this in the pre-show about what we were sort of expecting to see from the big names.
Yeah, I mean, very messy game 1 on day 1 as expected here. Most of the teams just do not know what to expect from the others in terms of drop spot.
He was थोड़ा revive भी कर रहे थे जो.
Stay on their tippy toes.
चल 2 point तो महिला.
अरे जीडी को रोमन 9
I'll have to say Demon's Pride was not as the
एक तो है.
Falcons. Pina with the car 98 takes down Aim God. Kudush out of nowhere. TEC joining the party as well. 2 teams beating down.
Falcon EVOS ने लाल करवानी.
The reigning defending champions might get taken out at Brad Pitt 2 over here.
It's honestly insane. EVOS
हाँ तो लागे ना. मैं recoil थोड़ी है.
And now over on this side here, Falcons on a rampage. Limits doing the damage onto the player of TEC. The pressure is on, and TEC can't do anything about it.
Titans Esports Club, what do you have in you? Have your wings been clipped? The Red Hawks of the past have not been able to fly very far, but this time round, picking up some crucial early points. They do have the vending machine beside the final surviving player, but it looks like it's going to be a rough one as TEC bows out as well.
कही होती management
right now as we're looking here. Loud and EVOS in one compound in the corner. GD trying to rotate into the zone as well as it's just slowly and slowly dwindling, but the northern side is hectic right now.
Wait, tag on 11 by 2
Esports World Cup 2024 in Falcons, but GD themselves, they are very sound in terms of mechanically able to squad in the world of Free Fire. This battle is going to be a rough one for them. Now they try to sneak outside the compound of the blue zone here. They get scanned out by the binoculars as well. Falcons does have a tad bit of information, but David 444, again, the most lethal player on the side of Gun Dynasty.
Oh, man.
Rushing on up, Racha versus David 444 is going to be a rough one for Racha, but they do have the electrotherapy on their side. Valiant Dash breaks down their defenses. Racha with the M590, but David again, lethal with a Mag 7, pops his head. Vega takes out on fire, and let him showing you exactly what they can do on the world stage.
This is crazy. That circle rotation
Loud
meant a lot of fights are going to be happening as this rotation comes through. Middle circle full in control of Loud here as we look at the Falcons try to find their way into the zone, and they're not stopping. That sniper is just doing so much damage in the hands of these players. Pina found by GD already, and quickly
Bye. Bye. Bar kill.
Limit alone as Vegeta comes through. Limit tries to find a pick off here, and he's down and out.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, David got taken down once again, but he's the rusher. He's very aggressive with the backup from Shiru.
पहले मोबाइल पकड़े लेते जो.
It is absolutely perfect. Now, we used to see David 444 play for Juicy Sports on the Free Fire World Series USA, and the guy was lighting up the battlefield. Recently acquired by Gun Dynasty for a good reason to stomp down these squads out.
He was a smart work કર્યો જો.
Let's see how far
એને
they
પોતાની
get.
જગ્યા નહીં છોડી.
Falcons are not out of it just yet, completing their full revival spree here. Back to a full squad, but can they loot up and be battle ready before the next circle?
Speaking of that as well, I mean, EVOS had so many close calls throughout this entire game. I think that was two times that they nearly got knocked out and somehow survived middle of the circle already as On Fire runs for his life. Cypher going in for that chase. Gonna try and stay alive, but he's crunched here as eventually gets taken down. AGL, one more to their name.
Yeah, On Fire just had no chance there in that situation. AGL just swooping on and spotting a little prey and showing that they can be a prime predator. But of course, that was a 2v1. A little bit of an unfair fight. Now a team that has been keeping very quiet is Buriram. They've managed to build a lot of respect for these other squads, especially here on the Esports World Cup stage. Can this be their year? The third time here at EWC, and maybe the third time's the charm for the Thai squad.
Last movements now, we are seeing still DRS and PDX still very much outside the zone, really taking their time here. But DRS is slowly moving toward Pina, and it's making me a little bit nervous for them.
Loud. They definitely are a loud squad out there. Very constant organization on our global stage around the 2021-2023 timing. But they've been missing the past couple of years. Now back with a brand new roster. And On Fire, man, Falcons just can't
क्या हो गए?
break, can they? Gun Dynasty.
વોલ અચ્છા એ તો એ લોકોનું રાખેલું ગેમના અંદર એવું રાખેલું એમ એટલે ડિફાઇન કરે કે ક્યાં એણે બોલ નાખેલી.
એટલે એ લોકોની આઈડી માં સ્પેસિફિક હોય એમ
હા તે ખાલી જે ખાલી સ્પેક કરતો હોય એને દેખાતો હોય એ લોકોને તો નોર્મલ વોલ જ દેખાતી હોય. Falco eliminate by Falco gay.
And Falcons, that's it for them, not able to come back into the game.
Yeah, unfortunately, he was just too broke.
DRS में पाकिस्तान नहीं है ना कदाच.
Quite far in that situation. Wouldn't have been able to bring anyone back. He was looking for those coins. Some coins out of him instead.
Yeah. Now, the southern side here is very interesting, AJ. Look at the amount of teams here. You have EVOS hanging out, PDX as well. I wouldn't be surprised if a big fight were to happen around here, and it's going to be fire, because GD right now is so comfortable northern side and alone.
Absolutely. 5 teams out of the equation already. Paradox still alive and kicking alongside the Rail Soldiers. Speaking of the Rail Soldiers, they drop into some hot soup and they're about to get cooked here if they don't walk away with some good elimination.
नहीं नहीं DRS इंडिया नहीं इंडिया का सॉरी नेपाल नहीं था.
Taken out as well. David shut down by Guaka and Loud interfering in this battle. Can they walk away as the best third party for day 1, game 1?
સારું રહી માં.
Gun Dynasty with your final survivor. It's been a great run so far.
એ સિંગલ છે રશ કરી શકે.
Far away from him.
Hard to really do anything in this situation.
Solo survival.
Coming into the zone as well. But in this situation here, DRS with the upper hand. Just because they have a bit more of a second.
Can he do it?
Area.
Nice.
Up.
Run away. Had the vehicle.
रिकॉइल नहीं फिनिश ट्राई करता था भाई जो इन्हें ले गया ना वो फर्क पड़ा है.
He's right in the middle of the bullseye of the crosshairs of the opposite teams who are looking for an extra point and an extra team to eliminate.
And how PDX is moving here, just
आगड़
find a way into the
लूडा
game.
भी लूट.
Probably come through into the peripherals of Loud as well. Now Russia, big kill there onto a player, and even Sneaky somehow off the grid gets knocked out as well.
चल जोन એ લોકોને પેલું કર્યું ફેવર કર્યું. પેલો રિવાઇવ આપવા ચાલ્યો ચીડી રિવાઇવ આપવા ચાલ્યો.
Too close to the edge of the current zone, which is moving aggressively. The problem is going to be DRS for AGL as they try to move in, and they do have a little bit of
ભાઈ જી ની આમાં આવે જ બધા ભાઈ આવે બધા મેપમાં
કરી દીધા રિવાઇવ કરી દીધા બધાને.
The squad is back, but the circle is small. Getting fished out of the skies is a big possibility here.
EWC બહુ હારી રમતી છે જરી H2H જતી છે
Interestingly enough as well, the rotations coming in.
ઓમ વાળા બે જણ
In the middle side area as well as we see Snipe getting knocked out here by Trap. Immediately set the lobby.
ઉપર જોઈ કે
One that takes away the
હા ઉપર જોઈ કે ઉપરથી આવતું તો નહીં મળે ને
Champions EVOS can do. It has been a rough start for them, but recovery has been solid for EVOS. Just 6 eliminations, not too high, but it's not about the number of eliminations for EVOS. They just want to get to that final circle safe and sound, just like what Buriram is doing. And I feel like that is going to be the sound strategy if you want to get into the grand final
DRS ને
as walk away with the championship at the end of the day.
ચાન્સ
The
છે
game has turned around. It's no longer about pure domination on eliminations.
એટલે એ લોકો સેફ રમવા પડે DRS
when you truly need it.
ને પેલા લોકો તો ઝોન ની બહાર છે જો જીટી ઝોન ની બહાર છે
has always liked that approach, right? They find that last
EWC भी zone में आवा पड़ा है PDX से भी
and those extra few points in the last few battles. We can see a few players taking a bit more damage.
ચાલ આ ફ્રી થવાની થવાની થવાની
BN is already at the bottom side. Even
ओ भाई चल एक नॉक थियो वो बारी थर्ड पार्टी ले है कि इजी थर्ड पार्टी ओए 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 ओए
ऑटो फिनिश થઈ જાતે
આરામથી ઝોનની બહાર છે પાછા स्नैक से उक्षित रिएक्शन अपनी ये क्या डाल दिया આમાં પેલું આવે ફ્રીઝ કરવા હારું આવે મોલી નહીં આવે
ભાઈ સોજો DRU પર એચ છે ખાલી ઉપરથી
EWC ઘુસવા પડે ને પણ ટોટલી ઓપન માં
અરે પણ પેલા ઉપર થી મારે કે એ પેલા ઘુસી ગઈ DRU
but can he continue to pull in more numbers for the team? They are in a great spot, but they also need to move on into the circle, and they've got
Loud.
a great position to attack.
લાઉડ પર પુશ કરે તો
ભાઈ આ હું 18 ની વોચિંગ અચાનક ગયેલી હિન્દીમાં બોલવાના હિન્દી अबे भाई
BRU जो नहीं BRU जो नहीं
BRU ना भाई यहाँ पे BRU बहुत अच्छा खेल रही है किधर है किधर अबे BRU अच्छा साइड में भाई 3 बंदे तो स्नाइपर चला रहे हैं वो भी देखना छोड़ भाई 3 जण જ જોતા છે ગુજરાતી ચાલુ કર ભાઈ DRS સારું રહે એમ નેપાલ ટીમ ભાઈ DRS ને બેનિફિટ છે કેમ કે DRS ના સાઈડ થી ઝોન જાહે
क्या बात कर रहे हो
EWC ફિનિશ થઈ ગયા ને
Can we see Buriram shine or will Gun Dynasty continue to stop every single squad they come across? David Triple
ભાઈ તાણો અજિંગ થઈ ગયા हिंदी बोल हिंदी का विचार गुजराती बोल
still alive and kicking. Gun Dynasty looking absolutely solid to build their dynasty here, right here on game 1. Loud on the other hand, back in
GD નો એક ગયો
tagged up from the back. Quaka, Vegas taken out. It's DRS striking up against Gun Dynasty, and they've got 13 eliminations.
GD DRS
भाई crazy
huge, I would say, a tactical retreat, a lot of space held, a lot of cover as well built, but it doesn't stop the damage. Trying their way the best to stay alive right now as
ગો ભાઈ આ ગો ભાઈ
મેન એડવાન્ટેજ છે પણ ઝોન નહીં મળે
હા
the players of GD, one player knocked out already, and BRU already on rampage on 2-5. Loud, 6 eliminations.
ઓય ઓય ઓય
મારા પર ચવડાવી પછી મારા પર ચવડાવી
Staying alive. This is the chunk of damage coming through for the util.
ભાઈ DRS ને બેનિફિટ હજુ બી બેનિફિટ પહોંચી ગયેલી ઝોન માં ખાલી કિલ ઉચકવાના છે જો તું ખાલી કિલ ઉચકવાના છે
નોક એક નોક થયો
એ જે હજુ એક નોક થયો કુકર હરખો કુકર બહુ ભારી વન મોર એ લોકોનો બી એક નોક થયો જીડી વાળાને લે તેજ હતો હવે હા જીડીએ ખાલી પોઈન્ટ કાઢવાના ભાઈ તું
અરે યાર ક્યાં પેલો નોક થઈ ગયો
નહીં થયો પીઆરયુ છે
અરે ડીઆરયુ નોક થયો તે
બહુ ભારી ઈઝી ચાલ ભાઈ લાવડો લાવડું મજા લઈ જવાનું 1v3 છે 1v3 છે અચ્છા 2v3 છે
અરે પેલો નોક છે
એક નોક કર્યો બહુ ભારી
અરે લાઉડ લઈ ગઈ
What the heck?
Loud says absolutely not. They take away the first win.
ની ભાઈ ડીઆરએસ હેશટેગ 2 લાવી એટલે ગઈમું
so a consistent depend kar hai
yep
massive wall for safety and kept the distance from them and the other teams. Amazing work.
Loud 6th at the Esports World Cup 2024, but technically as Team Solid, a majority of the Team Solid players on Loud right now, and they are here to run circles around these teams. Again, Tash, I mentioned during the game, it's not about how many eliminations you get. It's all about strategizing your way towards that final circle, surviving long enough, and taking advantage of the right situations. And that was executed perfectly by this Brazilian squad.
Raj ka kya?
Really exciting to see them as well. They weren't too flashy super early.
Yeah.
But we saw toward that mid game, they made so much noise.
Oh yeah.
રાજ કે મને મજી પડે એટલે મેં જા શાંતિ રાખે
And they're tactical which fights they wanted to take and which fights they decided to just leave alone.
And I have to say, it's Trap that was the mastermind of that battle, constantly pulling the timing perfectly for the side of Loud. If it wasn't for them, I think Buriram would have had a easy
2024 પર છેલ્લી વાર ઓવલ હોય પછી
અગર જે લોકોનો નોક નહીં થતા ને તો કામ થઈ જતા
હા 2v4 કર લેતે
હા ને એમાં હું પેલો જે હતો ને તે સ્નાઈપર હતો એ લોકોનો
It's not just the support player who activates the thrill of battle from the back and then allows the rest of his team members to get the job done. He hops on into the fight as well with the M590. Phenomenal mechanical skills, phenomenal timing.
લાઉડ તો લાઉડ
પેલી જ હતી પણ એર ગન ની હતી
આવે ને
લે આવે પણ એ બે સ્નાઈપર વાપરતો હતો
જીતે લોકોનો કોલ સાંભળ
But it's really a toss of a coin at the end of the day, and I think Loud handled the situations out there.
સ્નાઈપર તને ડેમેજ 115 આપે ને
Exciting as well for me personally. I thought that today we were going to be seeing the rise of the underdogs, right? The more quiet.
જો સમજાવવા રહ્યો
Made that big splash quite yet because that's usually how day one goes because everyone's a little bit more cautious.
ગ્રુપ બી કાલે
Regardless, after this we're
નહીં નહીં આજે
at EWC. So
5-6 વાગે જેવો હે
go anywhere, excuse me, we'll be right back.
એટલે હાફ મેચ આલોક ને હાફ મેચ પેલા લોક
is in our DNA.
6-6 game.
Whenever we let it out, it becomes our superpower.
કલહરી
કલહારી નહીં હતો પેલો હતો
Now imagine an
નેક્સ્ટ્રા કેવું કેવું હતો
being built to supercharge it. Kadir City, powered by play.
ની ત્રણ મેપ છે એક કલ્લો એક કલહરી ને એક
Welcome to EWC 2026 Paris. I'm Conchita, and right next to me is Wasana from Buriram United Esports. We're gonna have a bit of a chit chat. Of course, we have Kay here to help translate us as well. Okay, Wasana.
Indonesia no chata.
2026. It's so great to have you back. How does it feel to be back, and
Kala
how
mobile
is the
nam to
preparation
Ah.
leading up to the World Cup?
ก็ก่อนอื่นเลยนะครับขอยินดีต้อนรับน้องวัฒนาฮะแล้วก็ทีมบุรีรัมย์นะครับเข้าสู่การแข่งขัน EWC 2026 ณ กรุงปารีสนะฮะอยากสอบถามว่ารู้สึกยังไงบ้างที่ได้กลับมาเล่นในรายการนี้แล้วก็
ก็รู้สึกดีใจมากครับที่ได้มาเล่นในรายการนี้ก็เป็นหนึ่ง ในรายการที่พวกผมอยากคว้าแชมป์ไม่ได้ครับแล้วก็การเตรียมตัวพวกผมก็เตรียมตัวมาพร้อมครับเต็มที่เลย 100% ครับ
Yep, I'm very happy and excited to be back on EWC stage, and we are so ready. Our preparation is like so. Can't wait to be back on the stage.
Ooh, okay. So speaking of preparation, we all know that the other teams are also going
मैं
for
जोम तो जोम
title.
कोना बजे
This is
जोम
the one title that Buriram United really wanted to have. What do you think is the biggest obstacle that you're gonna have to face on the stage this year?
ก็เมื่อกี้เราพูดถึงว่าเราเตรียมตัวมาอย่างดีเลยใช่ไหมฮะอยากสอบถามว่าทุกทีมเขาก็เตรียมตัวมาพร้อมมากที่จะได้ขึ้นเป็นแชมป์ในรายการ EWC 2026เนี่ยฮะอยากสอบถามว่าเรามีอุปสรรคอะไรไหมในช่วงการเตรียมตัวการแข่งขันครั้งนี้ครับ
ก็น่าจะเป็นเรื่องสำหรับผมก็น่าจะเป็นเรื่องสุขภาพครับเรื่องแบบปัญหาของตัวเรามากกว่าก็คือตอนนี้ก็พร้อม 100% แล้วครับ
Yeah, for me, I think like it's gonna be like our health issue, like our health condition, because like we have to fly over to like from Bangkok directly to Paris, and the weather is like it's very hot right now, but right now we are good to go.
Good to go, well adjusted, even though, yeah, of course, it takes a lot and a while to get here. But speaking of contenders, who do you think is the biggest rival that you have on the World Cup right now? Because if we're talking about EFOS Divine, yes, they are the reigning champions, but it hasn't really been a great year for them.
ก็อยากสอบถามว่าคิดว่าทีมไหนฮะที่จะเป็นว่าแบบเป็นอุปสรรคหรือว่าเป็นตัวที่แบบว่าเป็นทีมที่ทำให้เราเข้าถึงจุดที่เรียกว่าเราได้แชมป์ได้ยากที่สุดครับ
สำหรับผมก็ไม่มีนะครับเพราะว่าส่วนตัวก็คือน่าจะคิดว่าเป็นที่ตัวเองมากกว่าถ้าตัวเองในวันนั้นเล่นได้กันทุกคนก็น่าจะไม่มีปัญหาอะไรครับ
I think that there's none of the team that gonna play against that's gonna be like the obstacle for us to claim the champion titles, but the biggest obstacle gonna be like ourselves and our players in the team. Like if we can play on the level that we practice, everything gonna be fine for us.
Ooh, that is a great answer. I love your answer, by the way. Love the confidence. Is there anything you'd like to say to the other team that are also competing against you today?
มีอะไรอยากจะฝากถึงทีมอื่นๆที่จะเล่นกับเราในวันนี้บ้างไหมฮะ
Motiu
วันนี้ผมขอจองท็อป
yang ada Locustio
Well,
pela gitu top list level lah.
I'm so excited. I can feel the competition already. Thank
knock
you so
knock
much, Wasana.
ab
Thank
kya
you for having
paaya
this interview, and thank you for watching us.
Welcome back, everyone. We start off our first match today hot
Hai lo
and
jo
loud.
benda kata butuh sponsor kena tag nu je hai
It's nice to see
Red Bull na
four teams within the first game in itself be from four
okay
regions
okay
out here. Everybody's hungry. But what has been shocking the world is
Well,
that
okay.
Dynasty is running the game out there. Eliminations wise, they absolutely knocked the ball out of the park, right? You have to respect the absolute tenacity.
પણ પેલું તો ખાલી એ જ છે ને આપણે નામ હું રેડ બુલ તો ખાલી જોની ને સ્પોન્સર કરે ને
नहीं जर्सी पर गल्लू से
Definitely worked on their rotations a lot. I feel like this is one of those teams we have to look out for. Looking like a solid team to make it into our grand finals. Maybe even one of the first four to qualify into the grand finals directly. But DRS, that was the standout team because nobody would have expected
જોન્ટી ની આવેલો
out of the Nepali squad.
नहीं आवेला आवेला ब्लॉग बगला
આવેલો
बगला
હું વાત કરે તો જબરું કહેવાય
Of zone control when they find an area. They are not quick to give it away either, and they're not quick to just really go and overhit and go for these fights. I'm seeing a lot of respect they're giving to other teams to make sure that in terms of survivability, they can survive all the way to the later stages of the map.
I feel like, you know, in this game,
भाई who wicket leader घूम रहा है
battlefield. We talk about how important the mechanical skills are. We talk about how important the decision making and the timing is going to be for a lot of the
मन लागे तो
DRS pulled off
जो है T20 में एक बॉलर जो है
this first game. Right, you look at the mechanical
ODI में तो
skills,
बुमराह अच्छी लेवल T20 में जिग
their timing were absolutely perfect. They have great numbers behind them.
પણ આપણે જો
And
ને
it's a bit
કેટલા
of a shock to
રન
follow because we
5
definitely
રન
saw the
12
performance
રન
at the Free Fire Max Asia Invitational. And
એવા
they
આઉટ
didn't really give
કે
us
બોલર
a
જ બહુ
lot to talk
heavy હતો
about, right? They had some good games, but
એટલે હા
very inconsistent with
T20
their
में
run. But
हाँ
a game this explosive up against
हाँ
a
केवल
lineup of
जेला
squads
aggressive
that's,
बोल
you know,
पाजे
global level, yeah, superstars, multiple time world
Better call.
champions. It's insane.
Yeah.
And you got to respect that out of Nepal. Now, the big question is, of course, going to be whether or not we're going to see the consistent plays out of them.
Yeah, and I think what's really, important to think about not only is just
ભાઈ
consistency.
કેટલી બ્રેક
I'm
હે
a
આ
big
લોકો
believer that
બહુ
you
લાંબા
મેં
break
જ
છે.
વિચારતો હતો 4 તો વાગી ગયા, સ્ટાર્ટ થઈ જવી
And
જોઈએ.
I think that now that you mentioned the DRS didn't really have a good run, maybe they learned a lot from it. Maybe they
For
picked
sure, yeah.
up the weaknesses and made it way better for here. But again, this is after all the first map. It's still, I think, a heat check for many of these teams.
Yeah.
They're trying to figure out where the drops are,
વરસાદમાં
how each
આ
team plays,
બધું
how
પીટા
the
પછી
rotations
નો
are going to go.
Yeah, and also if you look at it from a
બેટા કઈ
standpoint
પીધું તો
of how
થઈ
much
ગઈ
of
તો
pressure
સંદીપ
these
ખાસી
squads are under, the bigger your name is, the more your achievements, the bigger
Aurora
the push is
gaming.
gonna be, because everybody expects you to perform. And if you're a team like
Start થયું
Rails,
કદાચ.
DRS,
હા થઈ ગયું
the
થઈ ગયું.
expectations are fairly
પ્લેનમાં
low.
આવી ગયા.
They have got nothing to lose, right?
Exactly.
It's the first time they're here on the global stage. It's one of the regions that we have brought in to play on a stage like this, and they are shining right now. They have to make sure they don't allow their nerves to catch up with them. It's going to be rough if they do. But if they continue on with this momentum, I think it's going to be a solid run for DRS. They might just be the underdogs that we have been looking out for all of these years. But again, consistency on a stage like this is very difficult.
નહીં બધાએ
to
અલગ અલગ
come
મોબાઈલ
with.
રાખેલો.
We have
કોઈ પર
EWC
OnePlus છે ને આ બધા છે.
so kind of flunk out. So what
એટલે
more
એનો
DRS, right?
preference
But
છે,
if
એમ
they
કે?
do
હા
manage to
જો
pull it
એના
off,
પર કોઈ
it
બીજો
will
છે.
definitely be a legendary run.
Yeah, I was about to say that as well. You know, coming in, we've
Chal,
seen
chal,
so
chal
many
rahi hai.
legendary teams just really,
That's no
find their way
prediction.
almost to the finishing line
Yeah.
and then just completely
ભાઈ
lose
મેં
their
તો
cool.
હજુ બી
And the
એપેક્સ
thing
સાથે
is,
જ.
when you have nothing to lose, when you are on a big
Tag,
stage
tag,
where you're
tag.
just saying, hey, let's just come in here, have a great time,
Tag on
without
top.
having to really bow down to the pressure.
ટૂંકમાં એ લોકોએ ક્વોલિફાઈ થવાનું કંઈ કરવાનું નહીં મળે. છેલ્લે નથી આવવાનું.
Consistency.
નહીં છેલ્લે નહીં આવવા પડે 11-12. હા
Consistency રાખે તો થઈ જાય.
એવું બી ને
આ
છેલ્લે
નવો map ને.
હા ના આ કેટલે 1-2 વર્ષ જૂનો છે.
I feel like this is one of those teams
Tag
that
કહું
you
થઈ
can
રહી.
એટલે
expect to see
મેં બંધ કલાક ખાલી પછી આવેલા.
હા
Solara. As we hop on in, these slide rails are going to be attracting many teams to your compound. I think the third party
જે
situation
11-12
is
નંબરની ટીમ
obviously
હોય તે આજે બેકથી
extremely
નીકળી જાય.
exciting to watch. And
આ
it
સિરીઝ
looks
જો
like
હાર્ટ
Gun
વાળું જોઈને
Dynasty
છે recall
is
કરેલું.
looking for a big fight against
Very
the
stacked,
early
very
champions,
stacked.
against the Malaysians. Aurora Gaming, Eco Drain, battle up against Gun
Wait,
Dynasty.
tag
It's gonna
का
be a rough one.
Yeah, and it's always going to be super exciting when you
Tag
go
on
for
top.
these early fights. The rest of the map, though, fairly safe. Other
अच्छा,
than
एकदम-
I think it's GD ने Aurora ली.
Delta
हाँ।
right now also is, I
GD
think,
ने
very,
Aurora.
very hectic.
जानी जो
Now,
नहीं,
in this
clash ले दूंगे
situation
मैं लोग
here,
का।
I am wanting to see how GD is going to be handling this as
Yeah.
Fuse. We're rushing forward already, barely alive, as Ezra already had turned on that time turner.
Yeah, this is a 50-50 early hot drop. Aurora does
Aurora
have a
કરવા
chance
પડે
in
લે
here
મેં
if
game.
they can
મેં
manage
તો
to flank
પહેલી
around,
match બહુ
play
ખરાબ
their
ગયેલી
strategy
છે
well.
એ લોકો.
Drogon in the hands of Jun. Axel and Eugene in hand. The sniper of the squad does not have his preferred gun. June for the
ऊपर ही
backup.
finish up, finish up.
Axel nails him down with a headshot off of the
Third party આવી ગઈ.
That's a great
નહીં,
start
નહીં.
here for the Malaysian squad. Maybe this is the
જોડી
perfect comeback, the
પાછાથી
perfect
પેલી આવી
revenge
ગઈ
early
એવું
on. As GD
Evo આવી
snuffed
ગઈ.
them out, kicking them out of the lobby.
Ewas.
A tad bit too early.
Ewas આવી ગઈ
But
છે.
Nell,
Third party.
again, the super savior of the squad, will hit that double revive, making sure even if Gun Dynasty falls early here up against Aurora, they will stay in the lobby. But the White Tigers, they smell blood and they want the points.
હવે લે
They're coming in as a
You
third
was
party
Layla.
here as well. Gives a bit of space for Aurora to go for that reposition. It's a bit quiet right now. They don't want to do anything. They can see Aurora leaving away from the area. GD, you got to deal with the White Tigers right now.
વાહ રે ભાઈ. કલે ગલે કલે.
In hand, rate of fire is there. The damage questionable for sure. Spots one out. It's the cord, and it looks like he's gonna be tagging himself in. Beautiful valiant dash. Aim got
ભાઈ કેટલો
caught in it
કોન્ફિડન્સ
with
તે
the
જોની
backup.
કોર્ડિનેશન જોતું કે
They
ફિનિશ આપી જ દે પેલો.
definitely had the advantage on their side with the numbers.
પીછો કરે ભાઈ.
On the other side,
Okay.
AGAL up against EC. It looks like AGL just weren't
પેલો
having a
જો
good
ચૂન
run up
ચૂન કે
against
મારેંગે.
No, it's just so unlucky to meet them. I just want to say I'm living this
જોની આગળથી એક જણે ઘેરી બી પડ્યો જો.
They heard sounds coming through. They go in and just force that third party fight. But in this situation, I was surprised it didn't go three ways. Aurora this time around, they got knocked a bit too early. Just
જોયો,
like they
જોયો,
had a
જોયો,
minute
જોયો.
for just now.
આવી ગયું આવી
Nell
ગયું tag
versus
આવી tag
Ingot.
આવી.
It's a 1v1 fair fight.
આવી ગઈ tag આવી
Ingot's
ચાલો.
Tag
first
versus
shot
Falcon.
finds no connection. Now looking for the quick
બતાવો ભાઈ
reposition.
ટેગ ને બતાવો.
But the rest of the EVO squad, they've entered the compound already. But
ભાઈ
that's
થર્ડ
still
પાર્ટી થવાની કેમ એવું કેમ લાગે?
trouble, to say the least. Woven
કેમ
back
પણ
in a way.
તો
Team
એક knock
Apex
થાય એટલે
Gaming,
આવશે જ જોજે ને
can
તે.
they take the fight up against the 2024 Esports World Cup champions
કેમ કે
and walk away
ઉલ્વીન
with
એકલો
the
છે.
victory here? There is a vending machine in play, and you can see the Apex player already camping away at it in case they need to pull in
Tag
a
नहीं
quick revival.
अरे
Raja on the hunt. Sahil Jad has been spotted out already. Wolven sticking his head out. That is already on fire, flanking around from the right-hand side. Mag 7, his own glue wall keeps him in a way, and Wolven with a time turner to keep himself in the run.
Oh man, and here comes the firepower from the Falcons, knocking up
निकट हो पड़ा है
अरे निकल गया एक निकल गया
already done and out here, and now they go for more.
पछाड़ी से एक
TAG is stuck in
आप
the corner.
पर पाएगा
Three
पकड़वा
players
रहे हैं
crunching him all alone. The way from on fire is here. A 2v1 swing out means that he cannot survive.
अरे नहीं
अरे नहीं. I don't know where he is, but he was in a fantastic spot to punish the players on the
केडी
side.
गियो कैप्टन गियो में
To get a double knock, but the recovery from your 2024 EWC champions absolutely swift. But KD God in trouble now.
वही तो
Team Apex Gaming.
नहीं
वो भरी बचो
बच गया अरे वो भाई बच गया
The nade is in his hands. Pina on the chase. KD God. Stay safe still, and now he has an advantage as he hops off of the slide.
भाई कच्छ ले
ले
हील कर है पहले रिवाइव कर दी था भाई अबे कहीं
कौन है तेरा बन रिवाइव
करी दी था
from the back of the glue wall, taking the
काफी
shots
था ये आउजे
पाछड़ उतने वेंडिंग मशीन
मशीन ही है एला બે જગ્યા છે
તે પાછળ મશીન હતું ને એટલે
movement was insane coming from this guy.
બે પેલા આવી પાહો એ જ આવી ગયો
Gotta respect Falcons this time, hungry for those points.
ભાઈ ફેલ્કન નું ઘુસીને મારવા ગયેલી
run in the earlier game.
પેલો मैंने लोकेशन खबर पड़े क्या
points on their side. Very aggressive game one for Falcons. 7 eliminations but only 3 placement points. You just have to make sure the
Falcon आई भी पाछे आई भी
made here on Solara. But so far
हील कर दी तो भी हील कर दी तो
points on their side absolutely stacked up, and TEC, one of the favorites from Bangladesh, alive and kicking with a ton of elimination points.
Okay, TEC Bangladesh.
Oh man, Barrow's putting the damage on the top.
GG. That's
takes
it.
a lot of damage, almost getting knocked down here, but moving around the area cannot survive and
टैग
knocked
पाछे
out
गई
as well.
टैग नॉक थे पाछे सोटा कियो सोटो के सोटा
in a timely manner, locking him down. And a swift elimination right after. AGL on the prowl looking for some extra points, but Cypher's gonna get caught out here.
एक उतर नॉक જ હતો એક તો
चल हारू PDX के नहीं रिवाइव આપી દીધેલો પાછે ગયો સોટા ને પાછો આવ્યો સોટો કેડી આવ્યો
ડીજે યાર એટલે જેડી હે રે જીડી के जेडी जेडी पे रिकॉर्ड ना थर्ड पार्टी थे
ए हां जीडीए गयो केडी भी गयो
जीडीएल આવી जीडीएल
जीडी के जीडी
थर्ड पार्टी गया ये बची गया
कहीं नहीं बची गया
Again, this is their third EWC.
भाई कौन मारतू छे लोगों ने एजीएल भी मारे ब्रू भी मारे
Taken out early here. This is one of the prime players out of Gun Dynasty.
जीडी ने ले लेवाने वो लाके मारे
You messed around with us in the previous game. We could not get to the booyah, and this time we will take you out of the lobby early. Puriram says, but can we see a recovery again? Benel, the super savior of Gun Dynasty, keeping them in the race.
Honestly, getting that pickup right as the glue wall goes down is just diabolical. Now, the zone has shifted a little bit more here, and in this situation, most players already coming back into the game.
Man, but now, what in the world?
Tech
This
safe
guy?
cha.
He has most revivals.
Yeah, he's definitely got the most revivals so far.
પેલું કરી દીધે
It is
સારું કર્યું
absolutely brilliant to see him pull off these amazing saves in such an
he
insane
was not going
lobby
to
on a stage like this.
अरे પેલું कैरेक्टर હોય કે નહીં कैरेक्टर તને કોઈન આપે પર કિલ પર
એવું છે
So many coins on his side. We got to check that out later. He was divine though. 3 eliminations. Aggressive start this time around, but they want more.
एमनेम थोड़ी डबल टैप कर है
पर्टिकुलर मैच में पेलो आउट स्टैट आउट
हां
And Falcons are trying to deny them of that.
नहीं ओवरऑल છે क्षितिज ओवरऑल છે
ओवरऑल છે साइड में किल છે जो
No glue wall, but the time turn
આપણો તો માયરા ને બે હતા તો બે
એક જ કિલ કરેલો
that takes the slide rails up against Alu might be in a tad bit of trouble, but Falcons not going to make that mistake just yet.
Look at due diligence here, dotting their I, crossing their T's as well. And I think DRS is doing, I think, fairly wise to just really back away from this fight.
Yeah.
Now for Falcons, they brought back Pina into the game. There's more firepower once again on their side here. The southern side here, deep.
2 point पहली गेम ना,
very
1
interesting.
point हमारा लीडर.
Falcons understanding that Alu would probably pop their
नाइस
heads if they
પેલો
took the
કિલ
slide
પોઈન્ટ
rail.
છે
Trying to just cut
એલિમિનેશન
the
એક
distance
છે
with the vehicles.
ને એ લોકોને પહેલી ગેમના અંદર એક જ પોઈન્ટ હતો
Tagged up
ને
already.
હમણાં એક
Coco giving away his position, and it's too easy for
ભાઈ
Duke
ટैग
to
કઈ
go
તો
in for
કર
the follow-up. Super Sniper turned Russia in this situation, connected with the electrotherapy. This is the result of too many clash squads.
And in this situation
बहुत
as well,
छोटा छोटा सा टैग
everyone
आ
is
रहा
just sort of like kind
પણ
of
રિવાઇવ
moving
પર રિવાઇવ
away
જ આપ્યો
on
ને
that western side here, just trying to
હા
find a
અલગ
way
અલગ
into
છે
the zone,
હા
making
તે
sure
તેલા
never
જ
snipe
ની
that
સાહિલ ને
against
પેલા
us.
બે હાથે છે
We saw so many of that happening way too soon. Well, it is fun for us viewers to see it, but for
I
them,
like.
it's probably a very, I would say, high stakes, heart attack situation.
The Clash Masters competitions have forced the snipers to play a closer range battle, which means more
શોટો
shotguns,
હારું
more
રમતું છે શોટો
SMGs, and it
निकली
is
गया
having its
शॉट.
results shown beautifully on the battle
ओ
royale
फाल्कन फाल्कन
scene.
આવતી છે टैग पे है जो.
And that's
ये
just
अलग
gonna
છે
be
લોકો
making
બે
these
બે अलग
snipers so much more
બે
deadly.
બેને
अरे
સ્પ્લિટ
पर
માં છે
फाल्कन आखो આવતી છે.
They're now becoming all-rounders. But this next circle, though, looking
Tag,
deadly.
tag.
Falcon scanning out the area.
તો બે જો
Pina
સાહિલ ને
with
કેડી
Samuel
બરાબર
Jackson
ઝોનમાં છે
spot in.
પેલા બે
Final
આખા અલગ
scan.
હતા
Pina Racha not waiting. They sustain some shots, but they're going straight in for the elimination. And a 4-man scan here, potentially by the White Tigers. EVOS divide and a double
leg
scan.
मारा जरा तारा.
Probably Aurora
કેમ
as well as
પૂછ્યું
Loud.
Same.
EVOS in
अरे
trouble.
यार
As two teams have got the information on them.
ठीक है।
Team Apex Gaming, on the other hand, already scanned out by the Falcon squad earlier on, but Falcons are the ones who
Player
are in a
movement
tad
करके
bit
आते
more
हैं.
युवस
Ooh, nice.
Sahil Jat looking for the revival, pulls Shoto back into the race, but he sacrifices
ADQ.
himself in the same run.
I mean, what can you do to just really
Mathawana.
survive longer here?
That's it. Katie God in trouble, out of the pen, into the fire, running straight. Oh, EVOS Divine does not spot him out.
They don't know.
This could just be that survival play, but Tech is right behind him, so this is gonna be a tad bit
They
difficult.
know.
Oh, no, Thriller
They
know.
GG, bro. I don't know if or not that was super intentional, but KD got
હા, મેં tag બી
flipped
છે ને
on by
એટલે.
the Thriller battle, has got no way to use his active skill.
કેડી એ લોકોનો હમણાં
Not
કેપ્ટન છે
making the mistake of looking for one extra point and potentially sacrificing 2 of their players. They know the players of TEC is right there beside them.
અશિષ્યન ને હું
So
કરવા રાખા
moving to find an extra point might put them in a little bit of trouble, and the veteran experience of EVOS
DRS भी
keeping
આવી
them
લે.
alive and kicking. But the rail soldiers hopping on in as well. This is about to become a rough 3-way battle.
Yeah.
टैग वन मैन
Coming
आर्मी
through here, Katie got fired,
नहीं, બે છે
knocked down as well as
एक જ છે,
TEC,
એક જ
their
છે
cover
જો.
has been taken
જોજે તું.
away. DRS gonna try to
छोटा
hunker
છે એકલો.
down here in the situation.
છે
Maybe
જ.
wait out those fights.
જો
I'm hoping
હજુ બી છે
for opening to either go in for the fight or
ટैग
just
એક ઝોન
go
ની
for
બહાર
the
છે
retreat.
Yeah, playing on the meta, the AWM,
हाँ, मर ही गया लो.
ધોની ટैग છે એક જો
એક વાર છે એક ઝોન ના બાર છે એક તે અહીંયા છે
છેદી what is this હા ને
ऑरेंज है जो ने खाली
હા તે
अरे ओबड़े देखाયું.
And just taking the position right below the players of Titan Esports Club. This means Bangladesh is going to have a rough time to get out of their spot, but thankfully the circle's still with them. The next zone is going to be crucial to see.
ચાલ એક જણને રિવાઇવ કર્યો ટેગે
Caught out here on the
अरे
rotation.
પેલો
There is
છોટા
a
મરી
high
ગયો.
chance it moves towards
મરી તે તો ક્યારનો મરી ગયેલો ને
three squads here. EVOS Divine, TEC as well as DRS.
DRS, you're
अच्छा,
being
हाँ,
very,
હમણાં
very
મર્યો.
patient, but the problem is right now you go to
તો મારું લેટ ચાલતું છે કેમ
of getting knocked out top side of the building as well.
Yeah.
And I
Wait,
think that
sorry,
this is a
wait,
situation where you just have to wait out things.
Nice play, and now it's just all out annihilation. Messi, as multiple teams are so close to each other. Gun Dynasty does not manage the ambush, but Demon Sprite, that's swap too low. And the final bullet by Dagger takes him out of the equation. David picks right back up, and again, Gun Dynasty is going to be
હા જરીક લેટ ચાલતું હતું
troublemaker in the final circle.
Now the wait happens here as we already see that for Aurora
અલા
surviving a
tag
bit longer
tag
this
વાળા
time, and they want to go for this fight against GD. In front of them, they already got it at one pickup here. Aurora doing very
ટેબલ
well.
બતાવો ભાઈ ટેગે ફૂલ સર્વાઇવ કરવા પડે હવે
Have 3 more
બીજું કોઈ ઓપ્શન જ નહીં મળે.
ગયા પતી
Yeah, to
ગયું.
snuff out Gun Dynasty, you gotta take Benel out of the equation because that man is a miracle worker for these revives. Somehow,
अच्छा placement point હજુ
the
બાકી.
rest of the team members back in, but without him, they're gonna crumble one after the other. Vega taken out of the equation as well, and it looks like Gun Dynasty.
આ મને લાગે DRS લઈ જા.
Aurora and Loud. This is gonna be a rough rotation for them as everybody else has hopped on in, as anticipated earlier on. The next circle finds EVOS, TEC as well as DRS, but now they've got one extra contender. AGAL have found safe haven here in the next circle already. Teams like Falcons, Loud, Buriram, Aurora, they're gonna have to battle it out before stepping into the next zone.
And it is annoying and a very rough area here to the side here. Guangsa does fight one, and here comes the nades as well. The reposition is good. Trap doing huge damage onto the members of Buriram United.
One more.
Falcon મારી ગયા હાલત ને.
Loud પાવવાનો.
ઓ ભાઈ ઓ કાં લઈ ગયા. ઓ DRS આખી ગન લઈ ગઈ.
No way.
5 સેકન્ડમાં નામો નિશાન.
The backstab took advantage of that situation. Wasana's gonna get snuffed out as well. And it looks like Buriram again not gonna have a
Falcon नहीं आवे.
at the start of our esports
Falcon
World
गई
Cup.
यार
Third
मैंने.
run,
Loud
Team
loud.
Falcons
આ વખતે બી
out
loud
with
લે.
the high squad, dropping like flies one after the other. But AJL looking to represent the nation absolutely strong as they look
પેલા
for a battle
loud zone
against Loud potentially right after this.
Yeah, Team Wi-Fi already as well for Aurora. They're already been eliminated here. As for the White Tigers, trying to find a way to move away from this area. TEC is being so annoying, pressuring them from that top side, not able to move, and they have made
ચડે તે જો ની wall થી.
and take this fight face to face.
Yes, that way to heaven. But who goes to heaven? Is it gonna be you guys? Or
EVOS
TEC
ના બી
right
chance
above?
છે.
And smart play by EVOS here. They don't quickly rush.
Climb over and take this fight face to face.
Yes, that way to heaven. But who goes to heaven? Is it gonna be you guys or TEC right above? And smart play by EVOS here. They don't quickly rush on up. They understand that AJL is holding on to a prime position right behind them, and they do have the advantage with the move of the circle. AJL will have to keep an eye on Loud and TEC. They don't need to do one bit high ground. They can see fishing here. They do have a grind spot and big advantage in terms of how the circle is now going to move.
AGL looking really good just now. They move away.
EVOS લઈ જવાની. હવે મને EVOS લાગે ભાઈ. પણ લાઉડ પર બી બેનિફિટ છે.
લાઉડ પર બેનિફિટ છે.
Shooting the feed. Rasia, sneaky play, has got the stealth.
પાછળથી હજુ AGL આવે.
સેન્ડવિચ નહીં થઈ જાય, સેન્ડવિચ નહીં થઈ જાય.
નહીં થાય. હાર્ડકોર પર પહોંચી ગયા. હવે ફૂલ મજા લે. હાઈટ એડવાન્ટેજ બી છે ને. ગાડી છે એ લોકો પર તો. મથાવાના, રશ કરવાના. ઓ ભાઈ, ફાડી નાખી, ફોડી નાખી. હવે મજા લે ભાઈ, એ લોકો હવે મજા લે.
અરે હું નો ભાઈ શોટ.
ભાઈ આ હું ચાલે તાતો જો.
ઓ ભાઈ આવો. પછાડ થઈ ગયો.
EVOS લઈ ગયો જોયું કે રે લઈ ગયો તો જોયું હું. નેટ થી લઈ ગયો આખાને. આવ્યા.
અરે
The pickups were solid, and now the battle between EVOS
Oh,
and Loud.
bhai.
They take the fight straight up. They understand that they have
લઈ લે. EVOS લઈ લે જો તું. એકને નોક કર્યો. હજુ એક તો નોક જ છે. ઓ ભાઈ મજા લઈ ગયો જોયું આયલો. એક બાકી.
પેલે હિલ બેટલ કરે.
નહીં આવ્યો ને.
નહીં 1v1 નું ટેલક નો
4v11 છે જો ની ઈઝી.
નહીં પેલાનું 1v1 હતું એમ.
લાઉડ છે પણ એને ખબર નહીં મને લાઉડ છે હજુ.
ઓહ બચી ગયો.
મજા લઈ જતે.
1v1 છે પણ એ લોકો. તા 1v1 છે. તો 1v4 કરી ગયા.
લઈ બી દે ભાઈ.
નહીં
ભાઈ
હા કરી કરો તો આવું કરો. 5 મિનિટમાં.
with these early fights, maintaining the aggression all the way till that last final fight.
Oh, this is what you want to see.
મેં એટલું નોટિસ કર્યું જે ટીમને સપોર્ટ કરતો છે ને એ ટીમ હારતી છે. હા હવે છે તે ઇવોસ જીતે ભાઈ ઇવોસ.
राज सेरगिरी बेसिक कब से बन गया?
They have been dormant. They have just been hibernating. They have not been a massive threat in any of the competitions that they hopped on into. But this is not that same
નાના જ છે 14-15 વાળા.
અંડર 18 રમે કે
ચાલે એ લોકોને તો ચાલે એ લોકોની ગવર્મેન્ટે છૂટછાટ આપેલી કે નહીં.
instantly snuffed out the chances of Titan Esports Club.
You know what's really interesting? In so many interviews, they said, what is our secret weapon? It was Russia. And he did. We saw that pressure coming in from him. But Ray as well is putting in and showing us why exactly he's also part of the team.
You know, a big problem that I had with the EVOS Divine run in 2025 is that without Russia, I think they would have lost out in many of those lobbies. Just like what Benel is doing for the side of the players of Gun Dynasty. We saw
यार टैग वाળાને જોઈને દુખ લાગતું છે મને.
continuously revive the rest of his team members, but this time they are not putting the responsibility on the shoulder of their super sniper. They are all playing their role.
એક વચ્ચે છે તે બુયા કાઢવું જોઈએ ભાઈ.
The teamwork is looking solid, and I feel like it was not like any of those players were bad. It's
કેટલી 6 મેચ કે કેટલી
12 મેચ.
a flavor that perhaps did not favor them.
હવે તો બે પૈતી.
This time, if they continue this run, they don't need Russia to clutch it out. They are going to annihilate everyone.
Yeah, it's always important to talk about like how each player is individually.
અમારી જે 4 છે એ તો બેઠી ફાઇનલમાં બીજી 4 તે કાલે રમતા.
41 points matching up.
ટैग વાળા છે તે 10 ના અંદર એવા છે.
So quickly as well.
હા એટલે 4 એમ.
હા.
એમાંથી 4 પેલામાંથી 4.
From EVOS, but again, shout out to DRS Gaming, the real soldier, showing us that when
હા ભાઈ.
you give
DRS તો લાવી ભાઈ.
a opportunity on a stage like this, they will not let it go that easy. They're keeping up with the competition brings, and they are delivering.
એ લોકો 4 એલિમિનેશન કાઢેલા.
From the Nepalese fans.
સારું કહેવાય.
Here on the second page, you see
આપણે નીચે પાકિસ્તાન.
India definitely has got one of the biggest crowds in terms of fan base, but they are not doing too well just yet. Now we've got Carol with
India haru koilo.
Let's see exactly what the interview has for us. Tash and I will be right back with you.
કે એ લોકો ક્રાઉડ બહુ બધું છે પણ એ લોકો કઈ કરી નહીં હાઈકા.
Hello guys, Carol Bombshell here. Pleasure to be here, and especially with Trap, team's captain for Loud. Okay, Trap, você começou o dia já, o time da Loud já começou o dia com buia. E especialmente com a Buriram no top 4, como é a confiança de você estar nesse momento? Vocês ainda conseguiram chegar no
Brasil na અંદર બહુ ચાલે હા e-sport એટલે એ લોકોને બહુ પેલું સપોર્ટ. Loud Brasil ની છે.
Está lá em cima, de acordo com os resultados que vem durante alguns meses. Estamos evoluindo a cada dia. A gente quer muito representar o Brasil bem nesse mundial. Já começamos muito bem, um top 1 e um top 2. É isso, estamos amassando e manter mais 4 quedinhas aí pra cima.
Yes, of course. Starting the championship, started EWC 2026 with Abuya was
EWC ની વોચ પાર્ટી છે એટલે બાકી કઈ બોલતે ને.
Our security it's way above, and right now to get Abuya in a second place, we feel like we are in the right path and to reach the finals. O time de vocês, o time da Loud, vocês conseguiram ter uma boa performance durante o Campeonato Brasileiro? Você acha que vocês estão no caminho certo para voltar a colocar a Loud no topo, para de fato vocês voltarem a ser os reis do Free Fire no Brasil?
É, a gente veio pra isso, a gente voltou pra fazer a Loud ser campeã mundial, que é o objetivo da Loud e o nosso. E a gente voltou pra colocar a Loud no topo, assim como nós também queremos ficar no topo.
Yes, of course. Performing that well in Brazil brings us such great confidence, and we are here for that. We are here to bring the old Loud that you guys haven't seen before, and right now we are gonna put Loud for sure on the top again, but not only in Brazil, in the world, and that's why we are here at EWC 2026. For us to finish our interview, I would like to ask, vocês terminaram o Mundial de Free Fire no top 5, né, no ano passado. Quão importante foi isso para vocês? Jogarem internacionalmente, obviamente vocês estavam em outro time, mas você acha que esse resultado de um top 5 trouxe mais confiança para vocês performarem agora aqui no EWC 2026?
Ah, com certeza, assim como no Campeonato Brasileiro que a gente joga, A gente sempre joga um campeonato e quando ele acaba e o desempenho não é tão bom, eu sempre solto uma frase que eu falo com o Joker, eu falo, mano, aqui nós aprendemos a jogar esse campeonato. A partir de agora, nós só vai desempenhar bem. E eu acho que foi o que aconteceu no último Mundial. Quando ele acabou, em vez de mim ficar triste e de cabeça baixa, eu falei, a partir de agora, nosso time aprendeu como jogar um Mundial.
Wow, that's very special. Okay, so reach the Free Fire World Series finals last year in the top 5 gave us such a great and important understanding in what we should do in Free Fire right now. And I told my coach, okay, so right now we are learning even more to play Free Fire. We are in the right path, and I think we are more than prepared to take the world right now, and that's exactly what we came to do here at EWC. Thanks so much for your time. Good luck in the next match. Make the L. And I'm back to you guys at the studio.
Land Evolution.
Evo's so exposed, Falcons can ruin it.
ભાઈ સોલ ને તો ટોટલ ગેમિંગ કઈ કરવો જોઈએ ભાઈ એ તો બહુ દુઃખ લાગે है
Yep. कर टैग लाओ नंबर लाओ
टैग ने तो भाई मैंने टोटल गेमिंग पर नहीं तराक भी आसानी में टोटल गेमिंग पर
When that moment, that was my first
याद આવી ગયું મેં કેટલો પણ કે ગયા
quite easy for me to get the MVP and yeah, very lucky.
What made them strong in 2025 was the wonder kid called Rasya. You know, he's been in the circuit for many years. And for many years, he could not play on a stage like this because he was underage, their best sniper. And I think that was their secret sauce to success. If you look at him, he is the most humble kid you'll ever come across. You know, bright eyes. He never ever underestimates anyone. I think the most important thing is he wants to prove himself out there as well. And the moment he got the opportunity to do that, he did exactly that.
हाँ हाँ इसने आपे दे दो
No, I think I feel so confident. We're training so hard in Indonesia, so we're very confident to lift the trophy again.
21 elimination from the champions.
वो पिलर की बात है कहीं नहीं
ये लोग तो हमारा यहाँ का है गाम अच्छा
Ya setelah di EWC kemarin
नहीं नहीं यहाँ आई पो
tidak mendapatkan piala.
ये लोग तो जता रहेला बीजा के दिवस से कहीं आइस ने लेवा वाला
Mungkin karena kita udah lupa siapa kita sebenarnya.
Tapi kita
di hari ini kita sudah ingat siapa diri kita sebenarnya.
તારે કરીને રાખી મૂકવા જોઈએ કે તો તમારે
नहीं नहीं नजीक नजीक में नहीं हारू लागे हम
The kids, and if you look at how determined they are to be back-to-back champions, there's a slight possibility, but it's going to be difficult because for the first time ever on the global stage, we've got 24 teams. Everybody's got that exact same dream. Because that dream is alive for the rest, the chances of EVOS Divine doing it back-to-back may be a little lower.
Kalau untuk tim-tim lain sih, kalau buat saya sendiri saya tidak perlu memikirkan banyak hal tentang tim-tim lain karena itu saya sudah percaya. Saya tinggal fokus aja main. Nah itu yang terbaik pokoknya. Pesan-pesan untuk tim-tim lain ya hati-hatilah karena ini EWC bukan turnamen yang lain. Kalian bisa lihat sejarah-sejarah kita di turnamen EWC kemarin. Nah itu dia kalian hati-hati aja yang ngegangguin drop zone kita.
हिंदी वाला सेट है फिर
है क्या
है फ्री फायर मैक्स esports
अच्छा अच्छा ये तो नहीं
ऑफिशियल
EWC वाला परमिशन अपने फ्री फायर वाला थोड़ी अपने हम
हाँ ये तो है
By the way, yes, you saw one more person added to this amazing panel that we have, and it's none other than Lace. But Lace, I'm actually not gonna start with you just yet.
He doesn't want to talk to me yet.
Sorry, because I want to talk about EVOS. And you were wondering how they were gonna be doing. All of us were wondering how they were gonna be doing. They're doing pretty damn good.
They're doing pretty well. I'm kind of relieved actually because EVOS had so many close calls throughout the whole entire first game, and it got me worrying. Not something that I want to see obviously, but at least they slowly climbing the elimination points ladder, and they fix what could be perfected on the first game, because hey, come the second game, they know exactly what they need to do, and we see Russia obviously as a pivot sniper. He's gonna need more room for him to do dynamic movements, and that's exactly what the support gave them. So yeah,
But
it
you
works
came
well
here,
for
so?
them. EVOS is finally
It's
finding
the
the
unit.
rhythm that they kind of lost the
Comment
first time.
for today.
Again, maybe opening game, of course, the nerf is something that maybe we cannot explain. It's something that's always difficult, always hard for anyone at the EWC.
Yeah, they've got that pressure on their shoulders, you know what I mean? They're like, oh no, we've won, we've got to do it again. So like that's got to add on top of this as well, and I guess we saw that in their games too.
Yeah, but now leading the standing with 41 total points and 23 elimination points. I mean, that
Take a
is
tabletop
crazy.
kari
Even you have to admit that.
I mean, it's amazing. Not gonna
Put
lie.
one, put
Seeing
one.
the players just chilling back
Oh.
there after getting that
अपने
booyah.
kill ना લીધે લોકો ઉપર છે.
You're probably wondering which keys are we going to be
Yep.
crushing now. But talking about teams that might be possibly crushing some keys, we got to talk about Loud, because my goodness, Loud was another team that started off hot. You could say the first win was a bit given, but boy, they took advantage of it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, coming from the position we're in heat, they're not really found in the map. I'm really looking forward to how they're going to adapt right now. They were trying to do the similar approach on that game number 2, but it's just unfortunate that EVOS is the one who cut them off on the rotation. Just hanging in the middle of that final circle is one thing that Loud has been doing for the first 2 games, but it's just unfortunate that rotation was not favoring them, and even Launchpad was not on them in that final moment. So it was tough for them to make that rotation.
It definitely was. One thing, I mean, we've been seeing some of the squads now being able to perform well, right? Evo's, Loud out of Brazil. Earlier, you were talking about rhythm, Conchita. I mean, Loud definitely is finding that rhythm. One team that is currently not finding their rhythm, though, Lace, is none other than Falcons.
Yeah, you know, we've been talking about that pressure, and they've got the pressure of the club championships on their shoulders. So, you know, amounts of other Falcons, you know, in different games coming through. So, of course, you know, they're sitting in that kind of middle of the pack at the moment. They are trying to find those eliminations early on. There was actually a moment in the second match where we saw Team Falcons hunting down Team Tag. They were able to take 2 limbs from the team, and they're like, no revivals for you guys, and we just saw them sort of launch over to where Tag was trying to recover the rest of the team and try and get those early eliminations. So, you know, I think they're sitting about, 6th place, 27. It's nothing, you know, at the top with those 41 sorts of points there. But look, they have shown the same kind of consistency that they had, you know, in these previous global series that they had. Sometimes they do incredibly well. Sometimes they choke and aren't flying like a Falcon should. But look, don't take your eyes off Team Falcons, guys, because they are capitalizing on those early eliminations, which are putting those points on the boards. And, you know, they're just looking for that booyah.
Yeah,
They're looking for that later on.
Let's see if they're going to end up getting it, because I'm looking at number 4 here.
Yeah.
Gundy, Nasty. I mean, 32 points? That's not bad either.
Yes, Gun Dynasty, that first game was definitely something. I did not expect them to do so well. I mean, they have been consistently showing amazing strength and courage and the skill to back it up. So I am just at awe at how amazing Gun Dynasty is performing at the very first game. And sitting at 4th with 23 elimination points surely isn't bad. But I also kind of want to talk about Buriram, AGAL. It's like
મને EVOS પર બહુ આશા
they're
છે.
not fully being themselves. I don't know what is happening actually in Neptune.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, from what we've seen in AJL and Buriram, they're trying their best to study their opponents just yet. Again, it's, some of the teams are in here quite fresh. They haven't met them in Southeast Asia or some of the global tournaments that they have. So they need a little bit of
પકડાઈ
time
ગયા
to
લાગે.
study their opponents. And that's
Nini,
what they do
washroom
for
ગયા
the
લાગશે.
most part of the game. First half was just silent, and then towards the
EGR
end
had-
where they tried to put in a little pressure, but at some point there's still a lot of teams surviving towards that final circle. So third party is Buriram United's one's weakness.
Yeah, I agree because when
भाई तो
I see
टेंशन
Buriram
मत ले,
guys,
जॉनी
it's
भाई
like
है
they're
ना?
trying so hard to
बहुत
match,
लोड
the
लोड ले
Breezes,
रहा है.
gameplay, but somehow it bite them back in the process. So it's definitely something that we want to see from Buriram, either from AGAL.
Yeah, and I was talking to Lucifer, actually, one of the casters, that you'll be able to see it later on today. And I was asking him about Tag. You guys were mentioning Tag, how they're just currently not performing too. this squad, he was telling me that this squad tends to start slow, but they picked it up on the second day. Now, earlier, let's rewind it back. You were talking about consistency, right? That's not the consistency that we want to see out of these teams. So now that we got 2 matches done today, we got 4 matches left for this Group A. What are your expectations for TAG?
Actually, my expectation is that
Start
they
થઈ રહ્યું છે
could
હમણાં.
somehow learn from the mistakes, obviously, because the first
Like
2
Naruto
games,
game.
boy, oh boy, they were a bit
But
a
they
little
picked it up
all over
on
the place, if I can
second
say
day.
that. I'm really
Now,
sorry
early.
again.
It's okay. Let's rewind it
I
back.
always
So we're
feel
talking
bad to
about
say that because I
consistency, right?
really want them to do well. I mean, obviously, they have quite a name,
We wanna see-
a reputation they need to upkeep. So this is just something that I feel very sad about seeing from them. I just hope that they can bounce back and do better.
Well, we'll have to see though, because judging from that story, if you really need plenty of time, and we're only talking about what 4 days overall, then you'll be a loss already at first, and you don't want to be in the bottom 2.
Purgatory બહુ મોટું મેપ એ લોકોનો.
True enough, after 2 days, you'll be out.
You'll definitely be out. And you know what? I want you, Lace, to put in your coach mentality. If you're looking at VP from Pakistan, I mean, this squad, a lot of people expected them to do well, especially all the crowd from Pakistan. Right now, they're in last place. If you're the coach, what do you
મજા લઈ કેમ એ લોકો જોની.
I'm telling you to get a boot freaking yeah. That's what I'm saying.
હસે પાછા.
I'm saying.
I can tell that there's something Lace really want to tell them, but she can't say it on camera.
I gotta be broadcast friendly here, okay? Let me let like the Australian out, please, guys. Let me let it loose. But look, those teams, and this is what we talk about when you say, you know, the mental capabilities of these teams. When you sit at that lower of the leaderboard, it is hard to sort of pick it back up and get to those sorts of spots with our AGLs and even like our GDs and stuff like that. It's going to be a little bit of a trek, but obviously 4 matches. Purgatory's next. I heard Neptune say it. This is heaven or hell. So can they maybe get the heaven than Purgatory?
Okay,
excited to see
Purgatory coming up. What are we
Okay,
expecting, Neptune?
I know, I'm hoping for a skewed flight path and a rough circle. Sorry for the teams out there. I know you want to get
He
it
hates you
easy
all.
right now, but
It's like Aurora.
yeah, I should be asking for the other one, for the reverse, because what I did to Aurora right there was just definitely jinxed it.
I'll give you a chance to redeem yourself, okay? We got 2 more matches coming up before you probably end up seeing us. Overall, 4 more matches here for Group A. Would you like to change your pick from Aurora?
Oh my god.
I gotta
my
give you a
God.
chance.
I'm scared for you, really.
Would you like to curse any other team, sir?
Actually, I don't want to curse any teams anymore, because it's very getting very dangerous right now. This is a big stage, and if I'm being blamed of them not getting into the next stage, so I don't know, but I'm still cheering on for Aurora. Hopefully this time it's just a first game jinx, and then the rest will be quite well, because even in game 2, we've seen them perform well. So first day jitters or first game jitters, that's what they might have felt, but yeah, let's see if they can get that booyah.
That's exactly
I see her
what
smiling
I
on it. She's like,
yeah, I mean, I've been talking about the first day. It's always unpredictable, right? Because of the jitters, the nervousness, the pressure that they have. But yeah, going into the 3rd and the 4th game, I think a lot of things needed to change. And Purgatory is actually a map that is a little forgiving on that. It's a great place for a reset. So I'm excited to see what the team.
and we have seen some of the other squads, right? Especially going back to the first game, AG. AG did great. I mean, this is one squad that you guys were picking as a surprise to be able to do good here. Boy, did they surprise us in the first game.
Yeah, one thing that the personality of AG is trying to keep away from all those engagement. If they can bathe onto outside of the circle on the 3rd, 4th face of that map, then they will do so. And even with a team booster that we have, the out of zone buff that is available, say they will be able to soak up in there, just get their position, because do really need that time to get information as a sniper of the squad, and also the launch pad. That's the angle that we need to take right there was just difficult, especially if you have 6 or 7 teams remaining on 4th face of the circle.
So what are you saying? We're seeing AGL probably follow their same format coming out of match 1 because, they did land uncontested
Start
in like our first map, and then they, you know, GD that we saw, who's just an absolute heavy hitter, they were kind of like sneaking on down to AJ, and AJ was like, no, we need a little bit of space. So that's what you're saying. Match number 3, they're going to need their space, and then that's where they fly.
Okay, you know what? You got lucky because I was gonna have you pick a team, and I was gonna see if you would end up cursing the team. But I'm being told Game 3 is ready, so why not? Let's send it to AJ and Tash, and maybe they'll be willing to curse a team or encourage them.
Yeah, thanks, Seven. You know what? I don't think we're going to be cursing any squads.
हमारा
In
और भी
fact,
नाश्ता
we
लिया
are
हो
gonna
जाए.
be blessing them with a little bit of extra luck out there. You know, in the first 2 games, we did see consistency from the reigning defending champions, EVOS Divine, as well as the Brazilian squad Loud. But there are a couple of teams down at the bottom. I'm hoping to see more from this time round. I think that the panel called them out earlier. Tag, Team Apex Gaming, the Indian squad hasn't really been having a smooth run out there. But Purgatory is a huge map. Tons of compounds out there. You can play avoidance of majority of these initial engagements, and this could just be the kind of break the Tag needs. But that is going to be purely dependent on if or not they're going to be able to avoid the early hot drops.
Yeah, I really want to also say that some teams take a while to really heat up, right?
Yeah.
Especially since today and tomorrow, they have a little bit of a leeway, just really find their footing. I think, you know, like what Conchita said,
There you
they're
go.
nervous, they're a little bit more, I would say, pressured. But now as you go to third map, now things should just
ચાલ ભાઈ
stop.
ટેગ વાળાની પાછી ક્લેશ થવાની ચીડી હાથે.
And again, Team Apex Gaming in a little bit of a pickle. They've got 2 monsters right beside them. One from LATAM. Gun Dynasty has been cooking the squads that they come across in the early parts of the game so far. They've got the Dinoculus used up already. Scanning out multiple players. Falcons scanning the area.
ચાલ
as
ફેલ્કોન
well.
બી આવી હોય.
Bonfire and Roger just at the perimeter looking to play third party. And perhaps this is that one big blessing that Team Apex Gaming is going to get from this equation. Maybe having Falcons a little bit closer to Gun Dynasty
एक ने
will
finish
give
भी करी
them
नाइको.
an advantage to survive this initial battle.
Yeah, you already bought back into the game quickly. Shoto barely
What?
alive.
Tax out?
Live, yeah. Oh man.
How? How in the world?
સોટોએ કિલ બી કરી લીધો હવામાં.
Started Esports Club before even hopping on into the game here. Unbelievable. 19 points. And they do not have anything from this game. But Gun Dynasty, on the other hand, they're going to go in here for the annihilation. But now, punishing KD God.
ટેગ યાની કાઢવા પડે.
Super reviver of the Gun Dynasty squad, looking for more. Will miss Shoto.
ઓ ભારી.
Backs it on in with the valiant dash.
ઓ
Catching
ભારી.
up with him, taken, but now out for the max 7.
Yeah, and he was the guy that's, you know, responsible to bring the team back into the game, and now he has to be brought in here.
ફેલ્કોન ભાઈ EVOS બી આવી ગઈ.
Where exactly everyone is. Reboss decides to join in on the fight as well. Still waiting in the wings for the right, I think, opening, just really join in. But now on fire, finding Wolvin already. And this offensive by Rasha could be nasty for the Falcons players.
Team Apex Gaming, all the blessings in the world. See, I told you, panel, we were going to bless them, not curse them. With all the blessings in the world, they get to avoid the initial encounter. We thought Falcons was going to be a little bit of a problem to deal with, but the White Tigers have dropped on in to say hello. You turning the table on them. Ain't got taken out of the equation already. Apex, the electrotherapy is on connection. But unfortunately for the rest of the Falcons players, they will not be able to get out of this pinch. Shoto now tossing in the grenade. Can he find more? And it's just gonna be the ice grenade that gives him a little bit of an
ઓ ભારી ભાઈ ઓ ભારી. સેક્સી.
Team Apex Gaming not running
ભાઈ ફોર્મમાં આવી ફોર્મમાં આવી.
And it started off with Tag with the ones that's on the lower of
Shoto come on. Yes. ઓ ભારી. ઓ ભાઈ. ભાઈ.
India, baby.
Bhai, bhai.
Chiru finding him from across. Can they get more? Gun Dynasty trying to take a little bit of a revenge here onto Team Apex Gaming. 2 players out of the equation already, but on the other side of things, TC, it was the battle up against Paradox earlier, and Windy did a number on them, connected with the electrotherapy.
Hey, Santirai.
Taken out, but he got the triple on them to knock them out of the lobby.
નિહારો લાગે.
That is almost surgical when you think about it, how they're moving around together as a team. Meanwhile, Tag already on 6 eliminations here. Wolf is now back into the game. All eyes are on GD here as Falcons as well is in trouble. There we go. Pina now out.
Shout out to production. I love the fact that they caught us up.
Oh, buddy, buddy.
TC in the early
भाई
parts of the game, and it's great to see
कमबैक आयु भाई कमबैक आयु
way out there. But Team
और भाई
Apex
कहीं भी बोले
Gaming
ईवो से
talk a
जीता
little
है
bit about some step up out there, baby. 7 eliminations.
પણ પેલા સોટાએ હું માર્યો
भाई
હું
जेड़े
માર્યો
क्लच लीधा ना
खतरनाक
जे क्लच लीधा स्मूथली आय हाय
Looking for more. Top 16 though has got the vending machine right behind him, but does he have the
अजू एक नॉक करो साहिल है
Now in this situation here, Jonas was barely alive, trying to stay here. But even then, look at his rotations. I dig that for DP, the easiest way to move around this is just really stay alive and move away from the area.
Okay, to answer my own question, he did not have enough coins. But Tara's not going to be brought right back in. But the stealth bites helps him to reposition, catching up with Aswab.
આ કયો
The players
કેરેક્ટર
now looking
Correct.
to find a little
हाइट
bit
थी
of a
जाई
reset.
कोई
You
एजेंट
will
छा
find Paradox sniping down, snipe himself. Pun not intended. Windy gonna get the wind knocked out of him. Pun definitely intended. And AGAL getting a number down on them. Paradox, can he continue to survive? And Benel is up to it again, continuously reviving the rest of his team members.
हाँ
He's pulling a Russia on the
अजू
rest of
चलनी
the
तौड़
world
में
here
अच्छा भाई
for the LATAM squad.
You know, I really am curious, like toward the end of this tournament, how many Benel would have, revived, and would it be a world record to see how many he would be able to do so? Now, the rest of GD also back into the game as well. Look at this middle side of the map here. That's like, what, 4 teams hanging around there? Buram United, PDX, Aurora, even DRS somewhere close by, DP, AGAL. It's a
Azrael?
cluster of fights.
Man, Azrael, wrong move there, but that was desperation for sure. Up against 2 players, jumped on into the vehicle, but the VSK snaps him right out of it. And Aurora in a pinch, but maybe the interference of Buriram can help the Malaysian squad here. Alu now focusing on the players on the side of Buriram. Electrotherapy connected to the rest of his buddies, but if Alu gets taken out early here, DRS is going to be in a little bit of a pinch without their support player. But Pratik is in a great position with the Car 98, should be able to have a tad bit of an advantage here, but the angle's just not working out for them. DRS wants to reposition, and thankfully Buriram is actually not going in for the hunt. They're looking to reposition and find a safer haven for themselves instead.
Yeah, Buram United always like to prioritize surviving super early as well. AGL Cypher does get one over on the other end. Got me a bit nervous.
X वाला पर हर के लूचे जो
Shots coming
फायर
towards them. I think Loud was really hot at their heels right then. But Buram United, if they do move forward there, they will be running up against DP. Loud
जोन
on
में
the
बाहर
other
से
end, just putting in damage
आराम
to
थी
the
आराम थी
PDX and AGL players.
Again, shout out to the team in the
जोना
back.
बाहर से
The
रोटेशन
observers have been
हाँ
on fire. Thank you
लांबू
very much
रोटेशन का
for
पे क्रॉस रोड थे ना हो जाते
all
कदम
the action out there, because it is hot on
फैल्कन भी होती
Rocky
है फैल्कन
Bay.
भी होती है
And like you said, we've got too many squads in this next
Match है वो
circle, and
नहीं
that's
मैच है क्या
exactly
बोलते
what Purgatory has been able to give us for quite a bit. Stroex and Rust
ये लोग जुइला छे हूँ डायरेक्ट लोग ऊपर च किया बैच छे
with the damage out
Bless
there. I
her.
mean, Benel, what a
कौन
superstar,
छे
super survivor, super rescuer, reviving the squad multiple times. Also one of the rushers of
कहाँ
the
जा रहा है
squad,
गाड़ी
bringing in the numbers through elimination
हाँ तात
for
कुछ साइड
the LATAM squad. This is the
जोई
best
बेड़ा
that we have seen out of them, and I feel like they're giving us the consistency that we
फुल
usually
फुल
look
स्कोर
for.
से
But Team Apex Gaming, great start. Can they continue against the champions of 2024? Falcons right in front of them, but Falcons are spread out. This is a big advantage for Team Apex Gaming.
Yeah, this is really great at just really finding its openings. And you can tell they're very hungry. They've been on the Falcons' tails for quite some time here. Even Shoto on fire right now. And the rest of TAG wants to collapse onto this fight.
रश कइरो
Taking away the space, but Falcons has a little more space to prepare.
They gotta be careful here. They don't have information. They're rushing straight in. Team Apex Gaming needs to slow down the pacing here, get that info, and then play their positions well. Because the flank on the side of Falcons might just be exactly what gives them the victory over Team Apex Gaming. And as requested, Team Apex Gaming says hasta la vista.
खाली मजा लेता छे लोगों
Distant within themselves and Falcons. Pina, a sliver of health on him, but no finisher just yet. The Volvo tagging them up, and India, they do get
एक नॉक करो
but will win. Perfect thoughts and play, knocking down on fire. Raja with the M590 looking for the revenge, but those glue walls played perfectly by India.
ओ बारे
Kept him away. He wasn't able to follow. He cannot come in. And now the rest of TAG wants to go this fight. Here Racha is alone. Hiding in the corner. On fire's back in the game
छोटा ले ले
छोटा ले आज भाई वो बारी जबरू भाई क्रेजी
but Falcons brings him back in quickly.
Yeah, boy, Shoto's on fire. And Team Apex Gaming right back in it. But they gotta make sure they finish what they started.
नहीं ओवर करी गया लोगों
And this is still trouble time. Team Apex Gaming, they've got the vending machine out here outside the circle. They need to clean up their act right here, right now. The eliminations are looking good, but Falcons are not going to get taken down that easy.
वो बारी एक जने नॉक कर रहा जो वो बारी भाई भाई वो खतरनाक भाई जोरदार भाई अर्ली 12 एलिमिनेशन
Recovery. The
Live
rebound point as well. And Team Apex Gaming on purgatory. We talked about them having a little bit of extra room to breathe. With extra bit of oxygen in their system, they are.
Falcon ही लाल करी नहीं की.
And Falcons now on the revival spree, but with 1,300 in his pockets, double revival, no problems at all. Falcons though on a little bit of a reset. Buriram close to their compound, but I don't think the World Jams will be looking to take the fight up against them. Falcons scanning out their area with the Dinoculus, a counter Dinocular used here, potentially by either EWOS or Buriram. As the players on the side of DP slowly makes their way in, AGAL looking for that backstab. Not intentionally, they're gonna find one, but they're not gonna second guess their movements at all. They want to take DP out of the equation here before they take away their defensive spot as well.
I am curious to see how exactly the rotation is going to come in for TAG. They're so far away from everyone else, but this late rotation could potentially benefit them. Letting everyone take this fight early. Vandal quick to find Alu here as well. One knockdown. Top 16 also almost following suit here. And AGL knowing this, quick reposition forward, and DRS Takuri now knocked down.
DRS.
Wrong timing here for the Rail Soldiers.
चल GT ने भी लाल करवाना.
And 590 takes down our swap, and this is AGL interfering.
DRS भी जाओ ना कदाच.
And DRS in a little bit of a pickle.
एक चला इससे.
हाँ. लई है. जो ही पैडो.
Points हैं वो बने ना. Points हैं वो बने ना.
नहीं जो मैं.
Under the crosshairs of Team Loud.
पेटली सर्वाइव कर रहे हैं ना करदम. मारी ना क्या था हारू क्या नहीं हम.
If they pull it off somehow without Benel, it is going to be a miraculous run for sure.
Just really waiting things out right now. Kiroro is here.
Hello.
They have like a nice, I think, off angle.
भाई जोई के वो रही में था.
जो ना खरा. मैच जो.
Take this fight against EVOS, which is going to be so annoying. Even Strowex, look how far back he has to move away from the area just to survive.
Tag जो नहीं tag.
A little bit of a slower
Tag
pace.
not kill.
Bar kill.
Well, good Dinocular once again from the side.
It's a loud नहीं वो सच्चाई.
ये loud नहीं was भाई.
You can't flank around too far off to the left.
पाकिस्तान वाला हारा टकला था. एक बड़ा जोन नहीं भारत था. रोटेशन क्यों कप्पा ने.
नहीं फाइट था ना बुरे राम.
नहीं लोगों तरता जाए.
बुरे राम महाराजन.
वही रश के रुपए.
I hope you've said your prayers already. You're coming close to one of the biggest dominators in the competition, who are not really on fire just yet. So maybe that's going to be the blessing here. Shoto, Superman for the side of Team Apex Gaming, looking for the shutdown. Wasana, looking for those nades as well. And for the time being, the ice grenades tagging them up. But Buriram not going anywhere. They want to take this fight, and they're waiting for Team Apex.
एक knock थे गलो से tag knock.
So they can have an advantage.
And meanwhile, over on this side here, EVOS.
चल एक knock करो. नहीं. अच्छा एक पहले जोन नहीं बाहर होते थे वरी वे आप पाजा है. ये वो सच भाई वो सच देता. एक अक्की गई. नहीं भाई हारू रेमी जबरदस्त. DRS थोड़ा जो भी सर्वाइव करिया करे. आए लो आगड़ चलो जो. हाँ.
Trying to take down as many players as possible from the side of EVOS, but the jig is up. The moment Gun Dynasty closes in on him, DRS might just be that extra point that Gun Dynasty needs.
Here comes Ray as well. Strike's taking a lot of damage already hanging in this corner. He's stuck here. Either you go down to the zone or you go out in the open and you crunch between two different teams. But he's not going to stop trying though. He spots Rasha, goes a bit too wide. And the rest of EVOS, they're just going to wait for him to come out in the open.
Yeah, he's got the mini launcher on his side. He can quickly reposition, but potential to be sniped out of the air is high here. Now the zone's going to catch up with him as well. He's probably not running the team boosters. And he's going to sustain a ton of damage off of that, but still playing it safe. One with Mother Nature, finding some cover right behind the tree. And this is so much the tree can do for you, buddy. The grenades are going to find the tags onto him, forcing him to use those medkits as well. One great wall, keeping the players of AJL and Buriram far away from each other. And the engagement between these two titans will not break out just yet.
AGL had taken a lot of, I think, players out here as well. Now EVOS just kind of just moving around the zone right now, trying to see whether I can get some pickoffs. Excuse me. They maybe can just stay away from these fights. Speaking of fights here, BRU up against AGAL. The only thing separating them is just this wall. Cypher does take a bit of damage here, but if anything, eventually Dew will fall. It's going to be Apex with a great opening there.
Okay, a couple of grenades over the wall. Could be a big one, but Buriram calls for the bolt maker. Lightning zone now is going to be that pressure for both AGAL as well as EVOS Divine. Last will be hopping on into the battle as well, but
EVOS ના ચાન્સ છે કેમ કે EVOS પર પાછું એડવાન્ટેજ શું છે ખબર ઝોનનું ને હાઇટ એડવાન્ટેજ ને બધાની ફૂલ મેન સ્કોર છે
Nameless get knocked out here. Nasha goes for two even.
Gila cakwana.
And now, Buriram United once again stealing away the kill.
Are pelo ko gila ta.
હું મારે EVOS છો ની
Elimination point. Now, the tension changes. Buriram United has to fight against EVOS Divine, and they're gonna try and collapse forward.
A familiar situation here. Southeast Asia takes over Purgatory. And EVOS Divine up against Buriram United Esports. Can they go for a back-to-back booyah? Or will Buriram ruin the party here for EVOS? Either way, EVOS will still stay at the top of the leaderboard. Looking at their consistency so far. Valiant Dash breaking down their own defenses, but Wasana doesn't pull away too much from that. Moshi with the M82B gets the knock. Ray still standing up close and personal.
EVOS જ તો
Who gets the hop up off of the glue wall and finds aim god right
આવે
and Buriram looking for the finish off against EVOS.
Yeah, Wasana just rushing for here. Rasha here all alone. The shots going a bit too high, but Mochi goes
Bro.
And there we
Hello.
go. Buriram United getting that booyah. Amazing work. Jonah movement god.
Never before the champion here at the Esports World Cup. Could this be the year for Buriram United
કોણ
Esports?
અટેક કરે છે ની
We talked about how Russia was the super sniper.
Alia attack કરે
We saw the amazing plays from him, but we cannot forget the one and only Moshi, baby. I fell in love with the snipers because of this guy, and he is back. This is his meta. This is his time to shine once again, and he cleaned up the battlefield in the final sequence.
Honestly, every single one of these members for the teams, I think really stood out to me as well. But that final few picks coming from Moshi just completely cleaned up house and turned the tides for this team. Personally, for me, I saw the pressure coming in toward EVOS Divide, and I thought they have high capabilities of turning around the tides. But Buriram United, knowing this, did not give them that chance this time and completely decided to just completely collapse at the right timing.
Absolutely.
ચાલ એટલે હવે કેટલા 5-15 જેવું ચાલુ થાય એક મેચ
Mainly Jonah, who I
આટલી
think
બધી
is the
ની
most
બધા બહાર
decorated
નથી ગયા
player
મારે
on that stage as far as his career here in Free Fire Esports is concerned. And they are the ones who
ભાઈ બધા સાલા ટેગ ની માર્યા કરતા હોતા કે ભાઈ આટલી લોકો પર છે એમ ને તેમ કરીને લાઈવા ભાઈ
But nobody can take away the fact that they are
કોઈની પર પાસપોર્ટ
definitely
નહીં હતો
one of the favorites out
16
there
વાળા
to
પર
cause a lot of trouble.
નામ
Can they get all the way to the
નામ આઈડિયા નહીં મળે પણ એ લોકોને જે આઈજીએલ તો એના પર
really been very kind to the squad so far.
No, I completely agree with you. There are just so many times that I think the Southeast Asian talent that we always say Buriram United is going to be the one at the very top. They always start off very hot, I believe. But then after a while, you start to see them waver a little bit. I'm wondering how this year would change for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, towards the end, it was more of a hunting game. The players just looking for those shots. And Moshi, as the sniper of the squad, just not holding back at all, right? Just taking the fight straight up to them. The M82B got a little bit of a bump recently on the OB update, and these guys are not doubting it at all in terms of usage. Now, we've got a few commercials to play. Tash and I will be right back with you after the panel catches up with you guys.
Alright, hello everyone, it's Yuso and we are live in Paris here in EWC 26 Free Fire stage. And right next to me, we have our two co-streamers who are so popular in Vietnam. Introduce to you, Bad Gấu and Cyrus. Xin chào tất cả mọi người, thì không biết là hiện tại là mình đang được ngồi đây sân khấu tại Pháp thì mọi người đang cảm giác như thế nào vậy ạ?
Xin chào tất cả các bạn nha. Rất là hồi hộp các bạn, mà không khí ở đây gọi là tuyệt vời và chưa bao giờ mà thấy một cái sân khấu mà lớn như thế này các bạn ơi. Mình không biết là áp lực của các tuyển thủ sẽ như thế nào nữa.
Sau đó thì cảm thấy như thế nào ạ?
Dạ em có thấy rất là vui ạ.
Vui rồi hả?
Dạ.
Mình bay rất là
Yeah, kem kaki bolia kara.
Mình cũng trải nghiệm được nhiều rồi.
Trải nghiệm được nhiều. Alright, overall the stage is really hype, big. They have never seen any stage like this. Very special to them in this Free Fire scenes. And overall, a very overwhelming feelings, happy when they're here in Paris to attend EWC 26 Free Fire. Okay, so I can see in the comment section thì không biết là từ nãy đến giờ mọi người theo dõi được 2 trận đấu rồi. Thì không biết là cả Bad Gấu và cả Sau đó cảm thấy là các bạn khán giả của mình comment như thế nào vậy? Mọi người có hưng phấn, có đang chờ đợi màn trình diễn của team Secret của mình không ạ?
Wow, rất nhiều người ở Việt Nam và rất nhiều người khán giả hâm mộ của series EWC đang trông chờ màn ra mắt của EWC, và rất nhiều khán giả đang coi ở tất cả kênh sóng của Garena DeFi Việt Nam đang rất bất ngờ bởi vì cái phong thái thi đấu của cái đội tuyển ở Latam hay là ở kể cả Mexico hoặc là Ấn Độ. Họ đánh giá thấp Brazil nhưng năm nay
પેલો સ્નેક્સ લોકો કહેતા હતા તેવું ને કે પેરિસમાંથી સ્ટ્રીમ કરવાનો મોકો મળે તો મજા જ આવી જાય.
Sẽ cảm thấy như thế nào về trong 2 trận đấu vừa qua đi? Thì sẽ đánh giá như thế nào, bởi vì bảng A cũng sẽ là một cái bảng rất là căng thẳng so với bảng B của chúng ta.
એક ખબર નહીં હું બોલે.
Theo em thấy thì sau 2 trận thi đấu thì em thấy cũng khá là khắc nghiệt. Nếu mà đội nào sẽ thi đấu mà gọi là xuống phong độ sẽ đội đó sẽ bị loại.
Chính xác là như vậy. So as we can see that of this coming tournament, here we have a lot of teams, Latam, India, and so many move on more. And very excited to see a huge circle of Free Fire all attending here to compete their best to get the champions at EWC 26. And overall, after 2 matches from Cyrus depends on him. Well, who got the weakness has to go down obviously. And of
મારે
course,
જોવા
I can
પડે
see
મારું
that
નેટ
everyone
કેટલું
is really
વહેંચું.
hyped, especially for Team Secret, as known as
મારું જેની
WPG
50% તો
from
કેટલા
Vietnam,
દિવસનું
are
પતી
also
ગયેલું હતું.
here to attend EWC 26. We'll attend the
પછી મારે
match
બિલ પાસ
in
કરાવવા
the
જવા પડે
Group
કે નહીં
B
નીચે.
after this Group AN. Well, this is the end, and I love the energy of everyone here.
Taruh
Everyone is
अलग-अलग
so
नहीं आवे.
happy and very
Upload
hyped
अलग
for the
ने
favorite
download
team.
अलग.
And I do hope you guys are
ઓ
also like
અરે
that.
નહીં મારું
Please
ટેકનિકલ
don't
ગ્લિચ
lose
બતાવે.
your team.
એટલે જીઓ તરફથી કઈ પ્રોબ્લેમ ચાલતી છે એમ. ભાઈ ખાલી 100 GB બાકી. એટલે કરવા પડે. બહુ જલ્દી પતી જાય.
Exactly. I mean, it's champions against champions right now. One taking the global finals, one taking the EWC. So you would expect really fire gameplay out of that final game.
Renew
out of
21
the
होता
final
है.
match, final circle. AGL though, I mean, I think like we just looked away, and then the moment that we look back,
જે લોકો આજે 4 જણ જાય તે લોકોને ક્રશ કરી નાખ્યા અહીંયા જ ને.
it was just phenomenal. But I'm also looking forward to how Lao is going to recover right now, because I think they were pushed down a little bit too hard this time. Real United, after getting that booyah, they just catapulted themselves up.
Do you think they're gonna,
બાર.
especially for Loud, right? Do you think this is
12માંથી આજે જે 2 હાર હે તે જાહે એમ.
to bounce back, because we're seeing consistency once again?
છેલ્લી 2.
Yeah, I mean, Evo being a top 3 in 2 games.
ભાઈ એપેક્સ 4 પર આવી ગયા ભાઈ.
Is enough. Like, if you want
બહુ
to be
ભારી.
in there, just an easier ticket to stage 3. then that's what they need right now. Compared to their Southeast Asia,
Acha.
they always go for the longer route, the longer days, like even not skipping a day because they're going into elimination before the grand finals, before Point Rush.
Thank you,
So
Kshitij.
I'm loving this version of EVO's Divine right now. Probably it's because of
હવે ઓવરઓલ પોઈન્ટ ટેબલ બતાવો હા 5 ને 10 કદાચ ચાલુ થઈ જાય
as well for Group A on day one of Free Fire at Esports World Cup 26. Now, out of all the squads, right, we're hyping up the squads that are doing good. Let's talk about some of the other squads that needed to improve on that third game. And one of them that ended up improving, at least for my liking, had to be Tag. Boy, this squad was finally able to start putting up some eliminations on the board, and this is what we're expecting them. I know Lucifer in the back is expecting even more out of them.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we were just talking about that
क्योंकि
earlier.
कचरो भी तात नाखता है
And then we saw them perform. So it's a good thing as well that it only took them a couple of games before for their warm up before they will bring it on. Because being at the bottom two or almost the bottom two, that's not a place that you want to be, even if you still have another day to play. So you don't want to risk it. At least bring yourself halfway to what is intended, and then that's when
Ethanol.
you play. If you don't
ભાઈ ગાડી પકડે એટલે નવી ગાડીનો
game.
ટેક્સ
If you really don't want to show that much performance, just go in there in the skirts of what is needed to get the next stage.
Yeah, and the good thing too, like going in regards to Evos, in regards to Buram United, now that are starting to get all these points, right? One thing that is going good for this squad, yeah, they're performing well, they're being consistent, but
ભાઈ
they're
એટલું
just
તમે જો મેં કેટલો લકી માણા ઈવોસ કીધું એટલે આવી કે નહીં ઈવોસ
once we finish tomorrow from Group A, the top 4 will be going
एक बार
to
PS5
Champion Rush Finals.
नहीं नहीं भाई जीवन पर आओ है
Last
नहीं
two will be going home, and in between they'll be going to survival. But that bunch of points there from the top is kind of just making everything even tighter.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's difficult to really catch up. Like because of the huge lead that you have right there, it's making it like hard for the teams to really catch up, and it's also demeaning at some point. Like you will see your team at the bottom trying and struggling that much to bring in the numbers, and then you see the top wherein you, even if you still have one day, but everyone is competitive at this point. You want to get closer and closer to where you're intended to be, to skip one day and just watch everyone play.
Yeah, and from this map that we just saw, Purgatory, remember, this is one that you were looking to see some crazy stuff. I gotta ask you, were you happy with what we saw there out of Purgatory, or do you want to see more madness?
Well, definitely more madness, more
Hold on,
chaos with a K. Because
કે તો કરું આવું એમ
Purgatory,
કરને કે
I'm not giving that most of the opportunity for a skewed flight path, the like ruining for final circle. At least the teams are treating it as if it's a skewed flight path. The early engagement that's happening, a lot of teams trying to go in and out for battle, and that's what makes it exciting because they're just playing it with the spirit of the map itself.
Yeah, and now going to the last 3 games here of Group A, right? Earlier we were talking about Tag. We wanted to see them being able to step up. I know we have a team from Pakistan as well that, I mean, we want them to see step it up because they just have such a passionate fan base back at home. I want you to tell me a team that you're going to be looking at, especially this next 3 matches, to either continue to be consistent the way they have been, or that you might see some fluctuation on their performances.
Yeah, I mean,
આજે તે લોકોએ ખાલી પેલું આમ શાંતિથી ક્વોલિફાઈ કરવાનું છે
board right now, but at some point we've seen the aggression as well from their regional, so it's something that they can bring to the table a little bit early this time instead of waiting for the second day. And also some of the consistency that we've seen from DRS Gaming, because the Real Soldiers Gaming is one of those that we didn't expect really show up the first time in EWC, first time in global in terms of FW, of a Free Fire competitive scene, and they're really doing well. I don't know if this is the full extent of their performance or they're just still biding and waiting for the opportunity to bring the fire on.
I mean, they just gotta put themselves in that position where they can actually just claw at that booyah like Buram United Esports was able to do on that last one. Wasana was one of the players that I know Conchita really wanted to see them being able to step up in their performance and actually perform for their squad. Is there any player or any 2 players that in the next 3 matches you're going to be keeping a close eye on because you want them to impact the game in a positive way for their team?
Now, one thing I'm really looking at, especially if Wasana is involved, you have Get High in there. Get High with a combination of Wasana would be really aggressive on their tip-top shape. And also Moshi in there, like staying in the back lines. Depending on the map, though, if we go into a map wherein it's like favoring the snipers, we might see Moshi and Jonah pull away, try double sniper, or just get information in the early parts of the game, and then just leave the opportunity for Wasana as well as Get High to go for those elimination. And one signature that I keep seeing from Barrier United is once they get that knock, they pull out the launch pad and jump straight into the battle.
We have a lot of viewers that might be watching Free Fire for
Atau
the
પેલો
first
છે
time.
વિવો નો
One of
છે
those
લોકો પર
viewers, please let us know on social media. Use that hashtag EWC.
Vivo,
Use that
OnePlus,
hashtag
Realme, that board पर टाइम
EWC26.
लगा
I want you to explain to the new viewers that are watching Free Fire for the first time about that launch pad, because I absolutely love it. As we're just being absolute sidetracked here by a dancing. Is that a dancing bull or a dancing cow?
Dancing bull, and I love the energy. I really love the energy on the stage right now. And
Is that Fluxo? I can't tell.
Yeah, it is. It is,
right? I'm like, I have glasses on and I can't tell if it's like you guys playing like three more games, okay? Your group is gonna be coming up. Hopefully you guys brought the drums, you brought that Brazilian energy, because we've seen it so far with Loud, but I know once we go into Group B, we wanna see Fluxo bring it.
Red Bull એ લોકોને કરેલું જો
great potential for the team right now.
Officially
Great
બતાના
revenge
Arre.
storyline coming from them, because from what we've said, from what we've seen as well,
Very good.
there's a lot of disappointing run, and it was caused by these couple of champions that we have in front of us right now. So I love to see. It's a good thing as well, since
પાછળ છે કે જોયું તું યાર
because they won't
True.
have to beat them on the get-go.
They're just waiting to see each other on the finals or survival, which honestly, if you're Evos, if you're Buram, it's not going to be looking like you're going to be going to survival. If they keep playing like this, consistency, you might as well just put it in their middle name, because these squads have been very consistent. But I think it's time we start the second half of Group A. Let's send it over to AJ.
Britain man Instagram, TikTok, YouTube,
Honestly, insane
night
seeing
curfew.
what's going on ground.
बाहर
We have
की
so
छावा
many
देखो
people
थे।
here. We have mascots on the ground as well, and we're already halfway through the
ये
first
option
group.
आप है पास
Absolutely. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm very sure that the fans out there are excited to see their teams perform out here on the battles. But it is
वो वार्ता
definitely
करे
a
हारा
big question mark for some of the squads, right? You look at Paradox Gaming, you look at
तो
how
ऐसी
they're
रुटाइम
doing out
पंद्रह
there so
स्टार्ट
far.
कर
I feel like the gunfights in Purgatory were so much better.
ભાઈ મારાથી પેલું હું કે ગ્રુપ બી ની જોવા હે મેં પછી ઉપર ચાલવા જવા
Full on. I want to see a little bit of
Wow.
an improvement as we head on
ભાઈ
into
step
this game
important
number 4.
Yeah, I mean, we talked a little bit about, you know, how you have how much space to really just warm up
કેટલા
the
આજના
engine,
કેટલા
get
થયા
yourself into the groove of the game. But as we go into the day, yes, 2 days, but already for Group A, we're halfway through. 3 more maps to go before they go on a break for the rest of the day and then come back
ખાલી 800
tomorrow. But then again, playing catch up against these teams is not
चल चालू
going to be easy.
चालू
Locally, for Paradox, this is one of their better maps. So this could just be exactly what turns their fate around here on
એ
day
વાહ
1.
કસમ બધા હમણાં જ
We
ઉતરી ગયા
wanna
છો
be
ને
depending on day 2 to find that recovery back into the
Tag ને
competition.
brew જવાની
We
હાથે
sure as hell don't want to be at the bottom 2 spots, because that is straight up relegation tomorrow if that is where you're going to end the day on. But as we head on into game number 4, it's time for some Next Terra.
Next Terra is interesting. There's just so many different bits and bobs parts of this maps. Oh, how he's gonna go. And on top of that as well, we are still seeing, I think, somewhat of a hot drop here. Looking here, we have PDX.
I'll take
towards
પાછી
the
ક્લેશ
Delta
કરવાની
Square
પ્રૂ
with another
હાથે
team. I'm not too I can't really see who exactly is that. I believe it's DRS.
Russia leading the leaderboard right
શોટો
now.
લઈ જવું જોઈએ ભાઈ શોટો બધાને લઈ લેવો જોઈએ
Points personally delivered by the super sniper, the Wonder Kid. Still the Wonder Kid.
DRS में
And
एक knock
I
बैग
think
गया
nobody else is going to be taking away the title from him. No one else has shown the kind of determination, the kind of
DRS
hunger,
लेकर बैठ
as
जाओ
well as the performance.
ફિનિશ
Russia
આપી દે
has
તો કામ
shown
થઈ જાય તો
ever since he stepped onto
DRS
a
very
stage like
DRS
this. But Loud, once again,
હે
they're
છે આમાં
doing
બધા
exactly
recoil
that
આવે
as they play a little bit of Clash Squad up against Falcons.
There's a lot of things going on over there as well. You see on fire, reposition himself a little bit more further forward, keeping his head down here because there's a lot of pressure that they're putting onto him as well. His teammates aren't super close as well. So if anything, he's just buying a bit of time, but his teammates, I think, shouldn't be a problem to bring him back into the game if he does go down fairly early. But if anything, the best case scenario for Falcons, well, you steal away one more kill before you get knocked down here. But BCP is tracking him right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess it's not a full-on Clash Squad battle because Falcons, most of them out of this rush down area. The rotations are coming on through, and it looks like Loud wants that big flank to find the extra point off of the Falcon player. We'll catch up with them later on as Buriram spots out Demon's Pride, top 16, about to be tagged up. Jonah has got the M24 in hand, just no angles to work off of it just yet. Gun Dynasty, on the other hand, with a very early reset, at least pulling back one player back in here, and with a phenomenal
ERS
flank
recoil
on
कर
fire,
देगा.
finally taken out of position there. AGAL, one player down on the ground. The battle between them and Gun Dynasty does not end well here for Gun Dynasty. The recovery definitely needed once again, and Benel is on the case.
Yeah, in this situation here in AGL, they've always been so proactive with these early fights as well. Already 5 eliminations here. Saifa once more. Rahat is on the other end waiting as TEC already in such a precarious position, but his teammates able to be brought back into the game. But Nejat goes down
Oh,
to
buddy,
PDX.
लाके लाचे.
Team Apex Gaming, extra point for them, baby, if they can pick this up. Thrill of Battle popped perfectly, and a timely Thrill of Battle leads to Wolven picking up that extra point.
Oh, buddy, भाई, हूँ knock करो.
They want the fight. They take this jump straight to the vending machine. Instant revival, but Madara sacrifices himself for that pick. Jazzy comes in for the save, picking up his buddy. No extra revivals needed. TAG, Team Apex Gaming, didn't finish the plays off just yet.
हाँ.
Catch a quick replay here.
Recoil कर देता.
Very important battle for Team Apex Gaming, but it looks like
अच्छा दी बीजी टीम आई
for
हुई.
a little bit of a truce for the time being.
Yeah, just now.
Save,
I think a lot of things are
save.
going on in that situation. I think
Shoto ने recoil आप दे उसे
if you
बस.
ask me,
थे you काम थे you.
fight is currently going here. TAG is still chasing
Oh, buddy.
the heck out of DP.
मार
Jazzy
finish है.
already knocked down as well.
Oh, buddy.
And I have to say, TAG
Oh,
did a
जबरदस्त
great
भाई.
job just cornering their prey, making sure that they can reposition.
Lovely भाई. Brew आई वापस है brew आई वो. Brew ऊपर की.
And obviously, the recovery was going to be important, and that's exactly what Team Apex Gaming finds for themselves. Buriram, they saw a player step into the compound.
भाई वो दे लोगों को flow में भी जाना भाई. फाड़ी ना क्या Apex. Sorry, it was.
Takes him right off the board. Get IXL is there though, and it looks like Buriram's taking a full-on fight up against the Indian squad. Team Apex Gaming might be in a little bit of a trouble here. Katie God brings Wolven right back in off screen, and Loud spotting out Gun Dynasty, who is looking for the recovery in this game. I don't know if or not they're ready for the battle. One player from the side of TEC is going to be stuck in this compound as well. It's going to get messy for them if they can't find the recovery for themselves.
UAV is out as well. Should give away the position. Waka tried to get that. I think he tried to just jump and see if he can get some info, but he got tagged. If anything, in this situation here, Kutush might be in trouble next. And I have to say, Benel doing a great job of marking every single enemy around the area. Nothing gets away from this guy.
Yeah, absolutely. They play the Moko really well. And he had the M82B and the SKS as well. Great attention from that long range and the advantage taken. And Katie God keeping the Indian squad still in the game with the double revive. Buriram trickled in one after the other, finding Team Apex Gaming. But the Indian squad could not take these giants out. 3-time world champs for a good reason. They're just ramping up very slowly here, not showing their aggressive side just yet, Buriram.
I can see it, how active the map is right now. Loud's getting a few pickoffs as well. I'm sure DRS as
DRS
well.
भाई
Well, everything has been going on here. In this situation, I think...
No, Katie God, just a wrong spot. Ran straight in at Buriram. No binoculars, no extra information out in the open. Just got spent. And now Falcons finding the players of Gun Dynasty. Gun Dynasty's just had a rough run in this lobby this time round.
Early मरवाने जो है बस.
Limit will find one from afar. David 444 found as well. The players of Gun Dynasty flanked all around, and it's the Falcons swooping on in. The birds of prey looking for a lead.
नहीं.
And Gun Dynasty is just that fill.
Yeah, and Shairu is stuck outside the zone as well. What are you gonna do here? You have to find a different way into the area. And Falcons wants, they desperately really want that one extra point. It almost feels like they just are playing with a vengeance. Now, in this situation here, GD looking good with 6 points already. Shairu still managing to stay alive. And right now, if we were to look at the leaderboard here,
એક બહુ મોટું સ્પ્લિટ લીધેલું છે જોની
they have a
બે
huge
બેનું છે
lead compared to the rest of the teams.
કદાચ
And in terms of, I would say, positioning right now, they're looking, I think, fairly alive. If anything,
અચ્છા એને જોયા છે એટલે PDX ને જોયા
been doing well in terms of positioning, in terms of looking for pickoffs, in
ઘુસવાના એ લોકો ઘુસવાના
fights as well. And I don't think this
ઘુસી
is
ગયા
going to change anytime soon.
ફાઇટ ચાલતી છે
Of course, Nexera has always given us a lot of eliminations thanks to the number of vending machines, compounds.
ભાઈ જો DRS જો મરી ગઈ ને તો મજા પડી જાય
All of your glue walls too early in the matchup. And we're going to see quite a number of survivors. Again, as I say that, the Rail Soldiers pulling in a double revive. Yet again, extra coins. Takuri making sure he brings back the 2 revives first. So great strategy played by him. Caught out there. Unfortunate. They could not go in for that final revive. So 2 players down for the side of DRS once again.
AGL is really scary. If you think you managed to shake them off, there's just really a false sense of security before finally being taken out. He's not
એટલે એટલે PDX ને મારેલા ખરા એ લોકો ઓય
and I think
recoil આવી માર્યો એટલે
poses a big threat to so many of these teams. Now in this particular
એકલા એકલા બંને ખાયા કરે પેટમાં દુખે તમને
really looking for Jazzy. He's still very much alive.
કોણ તારી ઘરે
Be
જાવ
very aware that Loud
આવજે,
is
આવજે.
close by somewhere in the wing. So this could potentially be
હું વાત કર સાત કિલ કર્યા
હા તો
Rough run for Demon's Pride.
ધીરે ધીરે પેલું કરતી છે ફ્લોમાં આવતી છે
Still down at the very bottom of our leaderboard, just 10 points to the
કોને
aside.
ફાલ્કન પાહે આવેલું કે હું
Down on the ground, instant pickup.
ફેલ્કન આવેલી પછી બ્રુ પછી કઈ હજુ એક
They have been challenged all
હા બસ
throughout
આટલી
this
જ
war.
હતી
The only luck they have now is they're dealing with DRS and they've got the numbers advantage in this battle as well.
મેં ખાવા એક જ
મેં બે ખાવા મેં બે ખાવા
as well as
મારી
Alu.
ઇંદા ખાનો
Put a little
હા
bit
હા
of space away from GD. If he's able to maybe isolate this fight by a bit
Dabbling
of
with
time, so
me.
Stroix will be able to give him a bit of, I would think, support. That'll be really good. Now the
એ 8 કિલ કર નાખ્યા એ લોકોએ
against Loud, BZP forced to move
make
away
my
here
own.
as the Falcons
પણ તોય ભાઈ EOS જ જીતે જા
they have a nice high ground to play with.
He
Over
was
on the other
in a
side here, gonna
delivery.
pick up that nade, throw it forward, but I think
એ હા લાઉડ લાઉડ છે લાઉડ છે
BZP is just so quick on that reposition.
Yeah, that was a blind nade there. No Moko for the advantage. Good time turner for BCP. Has got the double barrel, but the Valiant Dash is bursting through him. Extra bit of confidence off of the electrotherapy that Cassie provided them. Limit those straight down to the ground. Recovery.
એના પછી છેલ્લો મેપ ને હા એના પછી છેલ્લો મેપ
Brazilian squad. Loud can shut them down. And that's exactly what Nix does. M10-14 perfection.
તો આ કયું મેપ ચાલે
Cororo shut down
ચોથી
as
ચાલે
well.
અચ્છા એટલે હજુ બે
Noise, but Pina's there for the save. But the pickups have to be the focus here. And Falcons surviving this one. Guaca too far away to back up the rest of his brothers, and Falcons will survive because of that.
I am loving the fact that Falcons really doubled down on this, and then
PDX પતવાનું
corner trying his best to survive. But Buram United
नहीं नहीं नहीं
no, someone has
रिकॉइल करके गए थे वो
we will dig you out of that hole if we have to. Gets one more point to their name, and now they're going to go and find a different way into the area. This mid-side area in terms of rotations here, southern side, EVOS
टैग वो बाहर છે
area. Toward the western side, you have PDX is sort of moving around the area. Northern side, Aurora, but middle side here, you have, I think, GD and AGL forward, and TAG just busting forward, looking for this fight eagerly.
Just with that game 3, Buriram has jumped.
ભાઈ ભાઈ બહુ ગંદા લેવાના
Now you see the Moko tagging up the players on the side
બહુ
of
ગંદા
Apex Gaming. This is a little bit of a pinch.
બેક લેવા પડે
સેન્ડવિચ ભાઈ
હા હા હા
Apex Gaming very
PDX બી છે ને જો ને
હા
PDX GD AGL
as well as Gun Dynasty. A sticky situation here for the Indian squad for sure.
But they're not really showing their hand either.
બહુ ચીલ મારવા પડે થર્ડ પાર્ટી થઈ એની રાહ જોવા પડે લોકોએ
Because no team can really get too close to
પણ
one
ઝોનમાં
another
જ
for
છે
this
ને
forward fight. Pina, somewhere along the lines there, does find Stroix eventually. Alu
Hello?
runs forward. They're almost taken down on fire, but regardless of that, would have been
DRS
traded.
ચાલુ
So now the blue zone comes through here. Kiroro should be brought back into the game as Loud is slowly trying to recalibrate themselves.
Recalibrate indeed. The double
एपेक्स से पैसिव रमना पड़ा है
again for the Brazilian squad. Loud. Have been loud from the start. Very consistent to keep themselves in the top 4. But they have to make sure they play a little bit of recovery here. And Nix is gonna have
लाउड नो नॉक थे ये
Abax with a sharp shot from afar. AC80 perfection.
ઓહો હવામાં ઉતારેલો એટલે
And yet again, the Brazilian
ટેગનું સેન્ડવિચ ની બને જોવા પડે મેં
This is just not their lobby. Recovery seems to be really difficult. That's exactly what Nextera is.
પેલો કે ઝોનમાં આવવાનું છે બીજું નહીં
Hide away at, and we have got a ton of squads, so many players still alive and kicking as we approach the 12 minutes.
Oh.
Hit the ground there. Gonna just get knocked down so quickly. His teammate did try to give a bit of pressure there onto Buram United. Not happening though. You know, like you mentioned, Moshi just so superb on the snipers.
Oh yeah. But I'm showing that, yes, we were ramping it up slow, but nothing impossible for us to catch up with. Russia, though, right below the bridge like a troll, up against Falcons, but gonna get caught all alone here. On fire, making the rotation. Russia, can you survive this one? What kind
ઈવોસ ભાઈ ઈવોસ જ હતો કાઢી લે જો તો
dynasty that takes advantage of that chaos? And the follow-up is solid. EWC with
ઓહો ઝોન આવ્યું પેલું ડેન્જર ઝોન टैग वाला नॉक કર્યો એકને શોટ બી નોક કર્યો ફિનિશ આપી દીધો ઓવર
In this situation, EVOS as well trying to take away this positioning coming in from Aurora.
નહીં દૂરથી બીજા મજા લેતા છે બીજું કઈ મળે નહીં
Very patient here, trying to find an opening, an angle, anything, but also aware that Loud is close by. One moment your head is out there in the open, it's going to be instantly
છે હજુ બે જણ છે
for both of these teams here, and it's sort of a momentary stalemate between these three teams.
ભાઈ બહુ શાંતિથી સર્વાઈવ કરે તો છે ચાન્સ હા એ જ તો પણ ઝોન બી નહીં મળે એ લોકો પર
See if Anon on fire can get this catch up here, quickly repositioning right under the robo. And it gives them a little
ભાઈ અહીંયા તો હું ચાલે એ જ નહીં ખબર પડે છે ને યાર
launchpad. I think they were looking for
કોઈ કાથી મારે કોઈ આમ લે
DRS gaming gets taken out of the equation, locked down by the thrill of battle, and
એક તો બધાનો લોગો બી કાળા કાળા જ એટલે છે ને
they do not want to get stuck in a fight without their active skills. Riptide rhythm from afar.
ગુરુ પાછળથી મજા લેતો છે જો
Play some shots, but it's Aurora that takes the advantage with that shot. The Malaysian squad slowly seeking their way back in here. Locked down once again by the thrill of battle. Potentially
पता ही नहीं है
the Brazilian squad this time.
કોને ટેગ ને
What a tight angle played perfectly.
अरोरा ना
હા
But Loud up against EVOS.
यारो ये पता ही नहीं है पेला लोग फाल्कन ने
ટેગે વોલ બહુ છાટવા પડે અંદર ઘુસવા હારો
High stakes fights as well, just fighting for this.
આવ્યો પ્રૂ વચ્ચે પાછો ગયો વાહ એપેક્સ કર કઈ પણ જીતે તો એવો છે જ ભાઈ Apex Gaming
does already get eliminated here. Loud waiting patiently on the outer side here, like it or not, EVOS and Aurora are going to vacate the premises. Now the glue wall's been, I think, destroyed. They're coming into the area. EVOS forced to move back as well.
22 એટલે જો તને 13 પોઈન્ટ બેઠા મળ્યા પ્લસ પોઝિશન
And the shot from afar, AGL putting that pressure on to both Aurora and EWC. Riptide Rhythm breaking down the defenses. Azrael sneaky, but he saw the Riptide Rhythm and quickly stepped away from the window. Ray, on the other hand, not doing that. AGL getting a couple of tags in. Aingot, the Volko tagging him up already.
ભાઈ હું escape કેટલું ભારી કરી ગયો છું ભાઈ અહીંયા તો મજા જ લેવાની એ લોકો મજા જ લેવાની છે
मजा लीधी
બહુ લીધી બહુ ખરાબ લીધી એટલા ફ્રી કિલ લીધા ને
अरे आलू बहुत
Great, just really catching people in the mid of the rotations as well.
M-God.
EVOS only M-God is alive, gonna hunker down the corner as Loud is gonna work their magic.
સોની બાર જવાનું કેમ
M-God rushing through, but for the other side there's gonna be a massive Nyx and Trap doing
Kill battle કરવાનો વાહ
GD pressuring them, and AGAL also wants to join in on the fight. GD
ઓય આવું ગયું
and now right in the nick of time,
ભાઈ તો
AGAL find the last possible member from EVOS, not able to survive, so M-God down and out.
Yeah, that's That's it for
लग गया
AGL spotted them out
हाँ,
and they were
पता है
just
मेरे को।
tracking them all the way through. And now Gun Dynasty trying to take on the Brazilians, but the interference from the Thai squad. AGL long range away and almost no cover at
AGL
all
कर ले
except
जाओ
the
लगे
blue wall.
આરામ
This
થી
is
easy.
gonna be trouble if a Skylar is in the hands
જો એ લોકો પેનિક નહીં કરે ને શાંતિથી ઊભી રહી તો
and they'll quickly take some cover behind the boulder as well as these trees. Great rotation, great defense
Zone
from
કેમ
the
નહીં
Thai
ભાઈ 25
squad.
સેકન્ડ પછી
આ છેલ્લું ઝોન આ છેલ્લું ઝોન એટલે
Here, stuck behind a rock, but definitely not a hard place yet. But now as GD wants to
આ લોકો
take
ફાઇટ કેમ
away
નહીં કરતા
this real estate
કરતા
from Loud.
અંતાઈ રહેલા છે તેની એક પર એક ચડીને પેલું કરે
Damage onto Trap, but no more than that.
Beautifully played here by Lata. Understanding the angles perfectly. Trying to make use of the utilities instead of taking a straightforward fight up against Loud, who do have the positional advantage in that sequence. Shiru though, caught in hand, looking for the flank, trying to play a little bit of pressure on AGAL to take
એ લોકો તો અહીંયા પેક કરી દીધા
equation here before they have to deal with Brazil. And AJL understands the little bit of a pinch that they are in, trying to close the distance
Hello,
down,
Hello,
take their
Hello.
positional advantage away from GD as the circle forces them closer in.
Shiro is just trying to really just come into the area, can go for this backstab. AGL does try to collapse forward, but the amount of pressure that Loud is putting on them is incredible. The glue walls are just immediately destroyed. GD cannot come close and come into the compound at all. Dew falls, David, good one onto him as well. And Shiro, his position finally seems
બે જણ મારી જશે લાગે
મને બી
putting in that damage
બંધ
to
હો જાય
AGL. A quick
ના એ લાઉડ એ
બંને
છેલ્લે
જણાને મારે
લાઉડ હમણાં એક્સટેન્ડ કરવા લાગ્યું
cannot move forward.
What a beautiful rotation, man. That's perfection out of Thailand, perfection out of AGAL. But now, how do you deal with this chaos? Gun Dynasty have been
AGL ગોબા એવું કેમ લાગે મને
at a disadvantage at this point of time. But when the circle starts closing on in, it's going to be trouble. Where will the zone move? Who does it favor?
ઓ જીડી ને કાઢવાના
David take it out, but the time turner is active on their side. They
back
didn't
there.
waste it earlier on, and that
પેલી
allows
ફસાઈ
them to
નહીં
pick up
AGL બી જવાની એડવાન્ટેજ લાઉડ ને છે હા લાઉડ લાઉડ ઈઝી
લાઉડ 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 કાઢી જાય લાઉડ ઉપર છે એટલે
કાઢી લઈ જાય
ભાઈ બે બુયા
બે બુયા ના લોકો
હા
Second booyah of the day for Brazil, and they are not messing around. Got pushed down a tad bit.
લાઉડ
The performance at Purgatory not the best. At Solara,
અંદર
it was
ફસેલો
decent,
તન ક્યાં ટીકા કર
but
લઈએ
this is gonna get them right back in contention for the number one
પેલું
spot
જીડી
for
કોડી
sure.
ગયું ને એટલે એને તો એ કાઢી લઈ જતે
Gonna be in the race for the top three here.
જીડી બહુ પેલું કરવા ગયો એમ બધી બધું મજા લેવા ગયો ને તાકો ભાઈ
A massive number of eliminations off of Purgatory, and they have gotten in towards that final circle here at Nextera with the exact same performance. Great play, I have to say, from both teams.
You know what's really impressive about AGL? The fact that in the beginning of the game, they're all around the map. We
Tyler,
counted them
but,
finally after seeing those initial fights. Something like, what? They already have 6 eliminations? Silent, but
हाँ,
deadly,
मैं
but
भी वो
definitely
मुझे ना
loud toward the end as well.
सुसु करके आते हो सुसु करके
was the one that had a compound, I would say, advantage in the beginning.
Yeah, and this was where it all came crumbling down for AGL. They went in, they took the house as their defensive compound. What they were not expecting was the play out of Gun Dynasty. And the play out of Gun Dynasty wouldn't have been forced if it wasn't for Loud. Loud started tossing those grenades at them. Gun Dynasty had to make a decision, and the only decision they could make was take the fight up against AGAL. And they played that perfectly, rushing straight at them. And again, I've always mentioned how David 444 is one of the most lethal rushes out there. And he took the fight straight up against them with the Mag 7, demanding a lot of points in that house, and he got it for their side. But towards the end, it just wasn't enough. AGL stood their ground really well with the defense, but they had to lose 2 players in that sequence as well, and Loud with the advantage just walked away with it towards the end. It's not always about the most aggressive. Sometimes it's about who understands the final circle better.
yeah, you have the eliminations. You have to find that, I would say, balance, right?
Yeah.
Between getting to that last few points with those placements, plus also getting those eliminations as well. And AGL has, I would say, AGL, Loud, Buram United have really good, I would say, grasp on being able to do all of this coming into the game. I think what's really fun to see as well is just the fact that for AGL, they know how to do the bait and switch, they know how to go for zone control, but I have to say that for Loud just now, they were just doubling down on that real estate. They know that they had the height advantage, they know that they can just really kind of keep out GD from their area and force GD and AGL to go for that fight, and all they have to do is just clean up house.
Yeah, and it's been very impressive to see this Brazilian squad so far, because yes, it wasn't a very aggressive purgatory game, but if you look at their positioning placement in all 4 games so far has been phenomenal. We're going to take a quick short break now. When we come back, the final 2 games of the day.
Lock up.
હવે મને લાગે 6:45 જેવું બીજી મેચ ચાલુ થશે. લોકો આ સારું કરેલું, કોપીરાઇટ નહીં લાગે એના હારે એવું મૂકેલું.
કેવું?
આ સોંગ જો કોપીરાઇટ ફ્રી છે.
એ તો પછી આવશે પછી ખબર પડે છે ને.
Break out the drums because Brazil is showing up. 2 booyahs today for Loud, and my gosh, this squad is consistent as heck.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, imagine 2 booyahs and 3 times on the top 3 out of 4 games. And this is just something that we don't expect to see, especially in day number 1, out of this kind of competition. Most of the time in this level of competition, there's a lot of stealing.
પૂરાને મેસેજ કરવા પડે ભાઈ, કેવું છે? સારું છે ને?
Numbers as well in terms of elimination. So Loud is just doing quite well in positioning themselves and making sure that they are not out there being gunned down.
Yeah, and of course, Loud is so much better tactically when we compare to the other teams. They have the patience, they have the drive. Again, it's something so refreshing to see. But then again, it's a Brazil team. Are we even that surprised?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Brazil has been one of the contenders that has been a bane when it comes to like a battle of Southeast Asia and Brazil and also other regions being introduced. And with the more regions in here being put in the mix, like they have that element of surprise because the focus would be at the newcomers and they will be most of the target, and we were seeing that bottom leaderboard.
Yeah, we definitely were. I mean, I was going to be looking at the match standings right here. GD being able to put up some points as well.
Wait, check. Tag છે હજુ બી. અચ્છા તો પહેલાનું છે ઇન્ડિવિડ્યુઅલ.
27 points, 18 elimination points, and
Okay,
I gotta hand it down to Du and Saifa. They're doing so well. This is exactly the teamwork that I actually wanted to see from EFOS Divine, because as an Indonesian, of course, I do hope that they can learn from the best. And honestly, I think that game, it really showcased the ability of Du and the capability that he has to lead the team towards victory.
honestly, I thought AGAL was going to take the booyah in that last match.
એ
Their
50
positioning
સ્પિન તારા થઈ
at the
ગયા હે કે
bottom of the
મમ્મીમાં
building, I thought, oh, surely they have this.
ક્યારના થઈ ગયેલા
Surely
ને કઈ
they've
નહીં
got
કરી
this.
ગયેલું
But no, of course,
હે
it's just sitting on top of the
આટલા
way
બધા
that they
સ્પિન
were
ક્યાંથી
able
લાવ્યો
to accelerate and take more of positioning in the zone. It was
50
exceptional. And I
સ્પિન
know Neptune, you got something to say about that, don't you? Like, yeah, let's get loud.
ખાલી 50 સ્પિન
Exactly. I
નીકળેલા
mean,
બસ
it's more of what they can do in terms of number. Again, getting a booyah
પેલા token
will
કે
add up for your
Ah.
total points, but elimination is at some point at this stage of the competition is even more important because you have to bring that much to pull yourself to the top of the leaderboard. And booyah is something that is reserved for the team, especially with the champion rush condition towards the grand finals.
And I think looking at the overall
Ro-
standing, something that I'm really
Royal
aware
Pass.
is that
मैं roll
it is so
roll
scary
thing.
for EVOS Divine at the very beginning
Royal
of the
Pass काला
competition.
बनवा
I
है.
mean, we started off really shaky, but looking at it
Thank
now,
you,
Chidit.
84 points and then 50 kills. That is not bad at all, even though we only have
7 દિવસ
one
પછી
game
આવે
secure
કદાચ.
right now. I think what I
પણ
said at the beginning of the show
પેલું
might
જોઈ ત્યારે
come true.
ચાલતું
I don't want to
હતું,
jinx
but
it. I don't want to keep repeating it, but I do think there's a huge chance for EVOS Divine to maintain this position and actually be, I don't know, the next one to go to the
Yeah.
next stage.
And the one thing that we were talking about earlier is that sponge between those teams towards the top. And it's starting to get even more and more. Once we see the overall, you get a chance to see exactly what I'm talking about in regards to those teams at the top, just making an even bigger gap to some of the other squads. Now, one thing I know has been sticking out besides the top squads, right? We got to go to PDX. I mean, I was talking about earlier in regards to tag. That's a squad that needed to be able to step it up.
League
They
of
have.
Legends हो चलता
Since
है.
then, since we've mentioned it, I know you were looking at PDX, Lace.
Yeah, see, I'm looking at Paradox and look, they're not sitting pretty on the top of the leaderboard, okay? You know, we're talking about the Louds and the AGLs. I feel like there's two games going on at the moment. We've got like the AGLs, the Louds, EVOS, you know, kind of having their own scuffles at the top of the leaderboard. And when you move further down, the tags. We got Paradox down there. I know Paradox had an accelerating run against Tag, but unfortunately,
तू हूँ करे
crashed
बोलनी.
in that match there, and it just seems
मैं
like they're just
जवाब
not
आया।
making the best decisions for their team. They managed to sort of get split, but where we were looking more into that final zone,
हम
Paradox,
करन
it was
दिला
probably the
दिया
first time I actually saw them group up
Chidit,
and were
तारा
able
जो
to
नसीब
put
छोड़ा.
more eliminations on the board, and that's what we need to see from them. So I don't really know what's happening like in and amongst the early early fights and stuff for them, but that was probably the best performance we have seen from them. But they are, you know, not being able to get those eliminations and those placement points on the board.
Yeah, I do agree. I mean, the first few games, they're not that aggressive. And the
doing?
signature
Yeah.
of Paradox Gaming is that, the signature of Paradox Gaming coming from their regionals is
Oh,
that
वाटला
aggressive.
गाडी.
It's not like from Africa, they managed to clutch it towards the end and getting that.
બહુ
that
વધારે break
qualifier
up
on the
એટલે
EWC.
match
And it's more off the elimination.
Apex
So
માં એટલું
this
બધું
is
થયું
what
છે
we
જે
were
game.
expecting from the get-go. There's a lot of teams who want to show up strong, especially if they are new to this contention. But for Paradox Gaming, they need that time to recover. But what I'm worried about is if that time is running out, because again, that's already 4 games and you only have 2 more for this group.
Yeah, and speaking of trying to come off as strong, courageous, again, I feel we
Thanks, girl.
Then we gotta add gorgeous then, girl, because you are drop dead gorgeous. Okay, anyways, speaking of courage, of course, we have to also talk about Gun Dynasty again, because finishing a top 3, it's just so amazing. It's making me feel like I don't know.
મારું જોઈ કે
More about
3-4
this
સેકન્ડ
team.
પાછળ
I mean,
ચાલે.
that is just crazy. They are now at the 5th position of the overall standing.
નહીં નહીં સ્ટ્રીમની વાત કરું મેઇન.
Free plays, and then
આજે એ લોકોની જોતો છે તે.
6 kills. That is amazingly huge
Oh.
for them, Neptune.
Yeah, I do agree. I mean, from the first and the last game, they managed to get 20 plus on elimination. It was a little bit slow though on that second game, and towards that third, I think it's because of the challenge they
બે
had
ભૂયા કર્યું તો ત્રીજા
on
પર
that game number
Kill
2, on
point.
match number
Kill
2,
point બહુ matter
because
કરે.
they didn't get that much on the
Eh,
point.
sorry.
But I'm really looking forward to them to catapult themselves a little bit higher.
Tech 7 का तो 8 पर है.
Close against Brazil United.
Yes, I'm about to say something that I might regret, but right now, I actually enjoy watching Gun Dynasty more than Buddha.
બુયા કરે તો તને
placement point oriented.
I enjoy them so much. It's crazy. Like I found a new love today.
What's making you enjoy it so much? Because remember, Buriram, even though you didn't get a chance to talk about them earlier, they did end up picking up that one booyah.
Yes, they did, but I think it's just about time for Gun Dynasty.
यानी
I mean,
ब्रुए भी तो
saw
एक
it
बुया
in
कर
the
लो
fourth game, they were so amazing, and again, the courage that they have and the strength to back it up, it's just so amazing to see.
એટલે
Yeah,
પેલા
I
બે
guess
ગાયડું તે
the
હિસાબે
difference between the gameplay of Gun Dynasty is in the beginning of the game, they show up.
Yes.
That's
Skill point
where
ni
more
wala
of the
lang
hype
na.
is coming from. And compared to what we've seen in Brilliant United Esports, again, the
એ
signature
લોકોનું
is
survival હારું છે.
you're invisible in the first half, then to the second half, that's where you get all those elimination. But at some point they're surprised. I'm
આઠમા પર
pretty sure they're
આઠમા
counting how many
આત્રીસ.
opponents they have in front of them towards the end. And
DRS થી તો early eliminate નથી થતી ને તેમાં મરાતું છે એક વખત early eliminate થઈ ગઈ તો કામ થઈ ગયું
bring that fire
હજુ
and
35
catch
point
up with
આપવાનું
the
છે.
numbers. But it's a good thing that they did get that booyah.
Yeah, and right now we're looking at this
થઈ જાય,
squad.
થઈ જાય,
They
સીધી.
need to wake up.
7-8 kill લઈ
Especially
જતા
when
હશે
we're
તો
going
ભાઈ
to
થઈ
be going
જાય.
into the final 2 games of Group A. Keep in mind, for everybody watching at home, you're saying, wait, final 2
Ale
games? No, we still
30%,
got
60%,
6 more
50%,
from Group B
99%.
coming
Ahí va,
up. So make sure you
Apex.
stay tuned for that.
50%,
But I mean, from some of the other squads that we're watching, we saw the Pakistan team, right? They're towards the
Yeah,
bottom.
towards
They need to do something because right now, the top 4 squads, the
આપણે
cutoff
ખબર
is
છે કોને
at
બતાવવાનું
70
તે.
points. And that's not going to stop. That's just going to keep going because of the consistency, Conchita, that we're currently seeing out of their squads. What can we see out of those bottom squads in the last 2 matches? Because they need to wake up.
Yes, they do need to wake up. Unfortunately, I'm not really familiar with the way the Pakistani teams play, but what I see from their performance today is that there's a gap of, capability that apparently they still have against the other team. And that is something that I hope they can catch up as soon as possible because obviously being on the bottom two is not so ideal. Looking at it, it's still quite a
55 ને ચાલુ
climb
કરે
they
છે
need to do, but yeah, keeping my fingers crossed.
And then you have Aurora. Aurora
Davis,
is currently
एक
4
मिनट में भी
points.
चल जाएगा।
Sorry, I have to do it to you.
I won't mention their name anymore.
You can talk about them,
Exut
but just
Reva-
don't mention their
Reva-
name. From that squad, I mean, you were talking about having eliminations earlier on. They only have 19 eliminations so far. We've seen squads being able to get almost that in just 1 match.
I think what Aurora game is finding right now is a balance of because they failed in the first game. Yeah, I mean,
It's okay.
I'm thinking it's my fault, but they failed in the first few games. But since
Hello,
they couldn't
Carlos,
bring
sir.
the elimination, they couldn't bring
Group
the
stage
fire, so they're
કેટલા
going
દિવસ
back to
બે
basics.
કે 3
Go
દિવસ
for survivability, trying to balance it out.
બે દિવસ
elimination
છે
and
group stage.
placement point. And
નહીં નહીં
that's
બે દાડા
why
group
they're
stage છે
trying,
એક દિવસ
something
survival ને
different.
પછી 18 તારીખે
Just
final.
go and try to catch up or go for catch up on the placement point.
Oh.
Once they get the groove of how to find the final circle, then they can get those elimination.
Yeah, what I've been noticing is that every
Aurora.
time they go into an altercation or try to take a fight, they come out as the losing team.
આ મેચ બી હારી જ જતી હતી એ લોકોએ પહેલા ઝોન પેલું નહીં કર્યું ને એટલે
So I do believe that, if they can continue that survivability, because eliminations will come in the end, okay? As long as you can make your rotation, you get to that final zone, the elims will come. So hopefully we can see that sort of progress into the next games because they
એટલું ભરી આપણે અહીંયા બેહીને જજમેન્ટ પાસ કર્યા કર્યા
couple of matches, every time I saw Aurora fight, it was them out, and it's not working for them.
એટલે
So
તું
they
અહીંયા
definitely need to
સમજે
adapt and change because mechanically they're gifted, but they're not making these decisions correctly.
Yeah, I so
The
agree because
giant out, I
individually
agree
they're
with you,
great
man.
players, but
It's
somehow
just
when it comes to the
official.
teamwork, something just isn't working.
Team
There's
team
something
नहीं
that
माने।
they not to change.
Team-
And it's like someone needs to step up, I guess, and be
તે
the-
તો કેવું કે એ લોકોનું એટલું ફોર્મ નહીં મળે
Step up.
for them. Yeah. No.
I might step out.
I'm sorry, man. I'm going to target you for this one. Yeah.
No need to do that. I mean, in regards to eliminations, one squad that has been stepping up is Team Apex Gaming. They have been able to put up those elims. At the beginning of the day, they were struggling a lot. Even Lucifer, one of our casters, is going to be coming for Group B. He was saying they're slow starters. He was actually expecting them to do better in the second day.
Yeah.
But you can't be mad. Honestly, Neptune, you cannot be mad at the way that this squad has now been able to put up those eliminations.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's more of elimination geared. Apex
It's the
Gaming.
complete opposite, right?
Complete opposite of what we're going for earlier. Like placement point, they like no regards of placement point. All they have to do is early on the get-go, they want to get all those eliminations in, and at some point for teams, they're treating it as a 50-50. Like it's a double-edged sword. But for Team Apex Gaming, they want to bring down the sword against the opponent. Whether they lose, I think they can carry over those eliminations in the following round. The risk is they're losing the balance of finding the final circle. And again, there's still importance of that booyah. Probably not this page, this point of this stage, but if you're really catching up in numbers, you have to do well on both.
Yeah, because 29 elimination points is not bad at all. I mean, from what we see out of the 4th games that we have just watched, Apex really is trying to fix the mistake they have on the first game. And yeah, I think things are quite looking up for them right now.
You can see they got fans right now here in the arena live from Paris. This is Free Fire at EWC. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be going into the last 2 matches of Group A. Can those bottom squads step it up like we've been wanting to see? Or is it just going to be too little, too late in this last 2 matches before we go into tomorrow? AJ, Tash Bunny, take it away.
Thank you very much, Seven.
Start
an exciting one here for sure. We expect
पहला गेम खुश थिया करे
and Nextera did exactly that. 120
TRS ना हमें पहला से थे जो
in that lobby. It was explosive.
कलहारी
But now we
आमा जो दिन यहाँ होते हैं ना थी खराब रहा मैं बता
map where the snipers usually rule. Let's see exactly which sniper stands tall by the end of this.
It's always very fun, right?
टैग उतारी भाई क्लैश था है क्यों लगे मैंने
We saw it coming in from Moshi, we saw it coming in from Rasha as well, some of the 2 hard hitters for this particular game. And now that this is actually our first Kalahari of the day, I'm wondering if it's going to be a slower start or will the momentum of that fast, aggressive starts keep going all the way till the very end of this Group A day.
At the very bottom of our leaderboard. Not in the right spot, if you ask me. Taking the fight up early against Loud. AGL Cypher being well to check out exactly what's going on at Refinery, so that shows a potential.
फाउंडेशन दे दिया करते तभी आपको खाली डीपी ने जो नहीं तोड़ ने पता ही भी नहीं कोई
Later on, DRS, Team Apex Gaming, Tech. This is gonna be a tad bit crowded. Command post only usually has 1 team commanding it. This time you've got 3 vying for that spot.
You know, looking at the most damage and also most elims as well, right? You're seeing a majority of the players coming in for, I think, most eliminations. I think on top of Rasha, you also have both Dew and Cypher as well.
आइए ये उतरेली देखो
Aggressive and how much
कसम में लोग गेम में विजय के उतरेला
prioritizes this eliminations.
Sahil Jat is in a tricky position here. He does have the flank, but he cannot back up the rest of his team members just yet. Shoto gonna get caught out here by Blade. The caught up close and personal, plus the electrotherapy, giving
Shut up. Main rusher है लोगों
and that's just the wrong timing. He drops a little bit of a present here for Tech as he quickly tries to back away, but a quick recap here.
एक जना पाछड़ निकल हो जाए
Gets loud earlier on. The time turner actually saving BZP a little bit of extra time, but Jazzy only could get that knock off of that engagement, sending top 16 running away from the compound. Demon's Pride again starting off on the back foot here, but the recovery was solid through those revives.
TEC just now looks like they had the upper hand in that fight, and now DRS has decided to join in on this fight. And DRS has been scary today in terms of positioning and even fights here. It's Wolfen that will be the first one to fall. As the rest of TEC waits in the wings. Jet as well will be picked off somewhere else. And now Buram United also here joining in that fight. It is hectic over here at command post as well, as Moshi finally finds a final nail in the coffin to a member of TEC.
Yeah, if command post wasn't already crowded, here comes Buddha. I'm jumping into the fray as well, looking to be the third party in the situation. DRS gonna shut down the remaining players on the side of TEC, one after the other, but Buriram, as mentioned, is still in here. Locked down by the thrill of battle now. Takuri, big advantage, but it looks like he's not gonna be able to walk away from much. Pratik knocked down once again. And the recovery is gonna be slow here from the side of DRS as they continuously are pressured by Buriram Takuri. Jonah finds him with the VSK, and Strowex far away from the rest of the battle, but will Buriram be able to snuff him out? He's got the stealth bites, which is about to run out.
Wait, चल टैग बढ़ेगा रिवाइव कर दे
Perhaps this is going to be the final survivor here on the side of DRS that brings them right back in front of him.
And Barros as well. Oh no, he is the one to go down here somehow. Benz is just doing such a great job of being able to fight him in the end. Top 16 will be found out finally by GD here. It's just such an unlucky situation as Shiro quickly moving back into the game in this situation. And I think that in so many of these fights as well, we see one team having the upper hand situation, and then suddenly the rest of the collapse coming in from so many teams. We start to see a systematic way for most of these teams trying to bring themselves back into the game. And Cypher, nasty shot coming in, and he's just gonna bleed out.
Head up, hello.
Benel is definitely one of the super flex players out there. He is the Swiss Army knife of the GD squad and Gun Dynasty. Just showing everyone that they're just not here to fill up a slot. They are here to rip away the championship. And if they keep this up, they sure as hell are going to be able to do that. First of all, getting into the grand
चल revive कर दे दो.
it's looking like it's going to be an easy journey for Gun Dynasty. But it looks like at Bayfront we've got a little bit more of a tense situation. It's two Southeast Asian squads take on each other.
એ EWC છે ને EWC વડે એક જ બચેલો ભાઈ હમણાં જે લોકોનું એલિમિનેશન થઈ ગયું ને ભાઈ હું થાહે હા 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 EWC જો એલિમિનેટ થઈ જતા ને ભાઈ હું મજા આવતા ભાઈ જોની કેટલો ચીલ થઈને રમે છે ને બેહેલો છે.
TEC, they've come back into the game. It started off really well for them in the early fights, but then the collapse coming in. I think the possibility of third parties today have been incredible for so many teams. We see it happening from so many different angles. And for Falcons, they want to try and check this fight against TAG.
A crucial rotation here from Aim God.
Short છે પહેલા પાછો.
Bring the squad of EVOS back into play. If they get eliminated now, being overtaken by AGL and Loud is a no-brainer. The players on the side
એને ખબર જ નહીં હોતી.
on their rotation, they spot out TAG, Team Apex Gaming in a little bit of a trouble. Riptide Rhythm's breaking down the defense. Can't drive away. Wolven stuck. Time Turner is on his side, and he needs to hope and pray that Falcons make a mistake here, but the
આરથી એ લોકોનો KD નીકળી ગયેલો.
is just gonna put him in a little bit of a pickle, and now it's all about God. He's got coins to revive the squad twice around, but can he
નીકળી ગયેલો KD નીકળી ગયેલો. એ લોકોનો IGL છે KD.
Right now you have no clue or idea where exactly anyone can be. And granted, this map is huge. Everyone has a bit of an area. The high grounds are looking good as well. There we go.
ભાગેલું KD નીકળી ગયેલો તો પાછળ હતો કે નહીં
finds a way in here.
હમણાં રિકોઇલ કરે.
As for the rest of the team,
EWC
gonna be incredible.
ને બી કરી દીધા. તું જેટલી વખત કરી શકે એટલી વખત તારા પર કોઈન રહેવા જોઈએ. જોયું ભાઈ.
But now you monster. But now in a 1v1 up against Rahat. Can you get the hit?
આધાર પર ગ્રિપલિન ગન હોય ને એનાથી તું ઉપર ચડી શકે.
Looking like he wants to shine on his own in this situation. Doesn't have much of a choice, but Barros shows up in his radar as well. And Benel making the right move here to disengage from that situation. Rahat can deal with Barros, the player from the side of AGAL. Gun Dynasty in a little bit of a pickle, and Benel once again dropping back to see if he can save the squad, but the pickups are going to be solid here from Shivu. And with the stealth bites, Benel's going to get out of that sticky situation, keeping Gun Dynasty definitely in the driver's seat here.
ભાઈ ટીમ अच्छा है. DRS ભાઈ DRS ગઈ. હવે ટેગના ચાન્સ છે. આ ફેલ્કોન જાણી જોઈને પેલી કરતું છે હા. એક જણ નીકળવા પડે.
Cannot do more than that, and the Falcons are looking to hunt down the last few players. Wolven in the sky, but the shots were
ઓય 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 ઓય.
Wolven, the escape plan failed, but he did manage to pull in a final second revive.
છોટો હતો નીકળી ગયો.
That's going to be their insurance policy for the time.
આ જોટો જ રહી ગયો પહેલા.
ના અહીંયા જ છે. કશે ગયો જ નહીં મળે. ભાઈ હા ભાઈ રિકોઇલ કરી દીધો ભાઈ બહુ સારું.
Bringing Wolven right back in. The recovery play is already in motion for Team Apex Gaming.
Falcons is doing great in terms of reposition. How they collapse is just so scary to see, especially if you're caught out here alone here. Now Falcons, nice position here, fairly safe away from the rest of the teams, but they have to rotate eventually.
નહીં નહીં અલગ અલગ હોય.
Despite losing so many players early,
પોતાના હા પણ 400 કોઈન થી રિકોઇલ થઈ જાય. ભેગા બી થાય તારા પર એવો કેરેક્ટર બી હોય કે જે તને પર કિલ ના ભેગા કરી આપે. પર કિલ ના તને કોઈન આપે.
Captain Jonas out of the equation.
Direct.
But
Just
Buriram
got it.
have got the vending machine on their side. Get high once again as usual on the recovery plays. Moshi M82B looking
भाई
for
कितना
Nedar.
प्रेशर फील करता है ये लोग
The final strike to take TEC out of the lobby early here. He focuses towards the right
मुझे लगा
instead
टारगेट
as
से आगे
AGL shows up on the radar.
हाँ होदी ने जो पाछा गया
For TEC, who managed to pull in at least one revive to stay in play.
अबे
Process as well here. As the Falcons come through, I think there should be fairly clear to go into that until they hit Bayfront, because TAG is waiting there right now. And I have to say, TAG had so many close calls today. Shoto got knocked out, I think, twice already, but they're slippery.
Big advantage on
भाई यार थी वो लॉन्ग लोगों जता रही है फिर टीएजी कहीं करवा पड़ा है से लोगों करता है ना तब वो खराब करता था
finding nobody there. So great in terms of decision making as well as a little bit of luck on the side of the EWC 24 teams. And it's only Apex.
नहीं पर करे का छल्ली मैच ना अंदर करे
जोन में जाइए है
कहीं नहीं लोगों जोन में पूछे क्या अवेले है कदा जोन कैप कर है पहले
24 or will they get punished instead? The battle between Buriram and AGL still continues as both squads
पहले उधर स्कैनर हो यार ता डायरेक्ट स्कैन करी ना बतावे
on the revive with the car 98 punishing Barros, which means the front liner out of the equation. A little bit of an extra advantage for the side of Buriram, and AGL does not want to stay and play. They use the launcher to get themselves out of that sticky situation far away from Buriram.
Yeah, and I think it's a really good tactical decision as well. You're taking up too much damage already. Buriram United was in a great position, just really overwhelmed them as well. And I think if anything, if AGL can find a good position, they are the type of team that if they are prepared for it, they can take these fights and just completely dominate so many different areas. Now, Buriram United will follow suit here, coming into the safer zone.
लाउड बूमर्स पोजीशन लेने पहले जा
Underneath the circle is looking scary. Loud is there. EVOS is there. TEC coming through deep
जोन में बार
on
सब
the wings as well. And it's
पहले नीचे वाला ने इजीली मारी है क्या जो
Look at this sniper. Buriram United don't know.
ऊपर आवाज देता है ना शांति से
Discipline there. Making sure he doesn't give away his position, which is a prime one. He wants to maintain the bird's eye view, stay out of trouble, and then strike when it's truly needed. But for how long are you going to stay undetected up there? Loud definitely has a big advantage for this next circle.
Falcon वो जबरू करती होते हैं गुस्सी ने मारा था
To find the next circle for themselves. This time it's going to be Falcons versus AGAL. The shot is there. Aurora versus Gun Dynasty. Aurora, you cannot take this fight. Team Apex Gaming interfering as well. Car 98 perfect for Katie God. Azrael sprayed down to the ground. Jun looking for the recovery here. Will be the distraction as he gets clipped down by the thrill of battle as well. Nothing much that Aurora can do in this situation. Up against EVOS as well as Gun Dynasty.
Azrael is barely alive right
he was काढ़ी जाए जन तो
know that, so they want to try and go in for this collapse. GD is close by as well. Aim got
he was
they don't come close. Both teams are being so cautious of one another.
ले लाउड भी आ गई मजा ले वाला लाउड भी आ गई
हाय
ओए तो एपेक्स का गई अच्छा नहीं एपेक्स से नहीं रही तो बराबर बहली जा एपेक्स वो शांति से बहली जा
Loud with a phenomenal rotation has been able to keep themselves safe for the time being. Good glue walls pulled out, timely manner, not having to waste a lot of those med kits on unnecessary recoveries. EVOS, Loud, Aurora in a tight little spot, but they've got the advantage for the next circle. They can keep an eye on the rest of the competition.
Yeah, he even has an idea that someone is coming through as well. Gonna try and break it as the rest of the teams here. Loud at the bottom side, Aurora on the top side. If Aurora were to jump out, they're gonna fall straight into Loud's arms as well. A lot of damage coming in from Ray. A lot of, I think, a lot of pressure coming in from GD. So no one is really in the green. If anything, anyone is out here for grabs. It's an FFA area, free for all. For the first person that pops out their head, and everyone very cautious. And over to our Bayfront as well.
टैग પછી ગલા હે કેમ લાગે મને
Falcons coming through.
नहीं पर जोन में तो पहला लोग क्या आवानो છે भाई एजीएल भी છે ને हाँ ऊपर थी भी છે जो नहीं
He's just trying to avoid the engagement with the Indian squad as much as possible. But will India take advantage of the situation? If they want a battle, they have to take it now. But as I say that,
वो भरी
Team Apex Gaming holding
वो करे वो करे
एक ने फिनिश है वो चल रिवाइव भी આપી દે रिवाइव भी આપી દે થઈ ગયો પેલો ફેલ્કો એક જો બહાર જ છે
જીડી મારને પેલા ને
બે લોકોનો કિલ ચોરી થઈ ગઈ બહુ ભારી ભાઈ માર્યું તે જોઈ કે પેલા પેન થી માર્યું જો બહુ ભારી ભાઈ ફેલ્કો ને જે લીધું ના હાય છુમ્મેશ્વરી
Gun Dynasty, the biggest winner in that equation. And Team Apex Gaming, they survive the ambush by Falcons. Not somehow.
રશ કર્યું એ લોકોએ
Beautiful play of Gun
ओ भाई
Dynasty.
जोन आयो
Gun Dynasty doesn't care exactly who's in front of them. They just want these points. And yet again, Gun Dynasty taking the fight up against Team Apex Gaming. But this time,
અક્કા ને ભાઈ ખાઈ ગઈ જોઈ
managed to defend themselves. Latam just too strong.
खाई अच्छी है
From being the third party to the Predators in that equation. And Team Apex Gaming had nothing left in the gas tank.
They have such good timing and such insane awareness. Now AGAL, because they're at the lower side here, they have to wait through for this first fight to happen. And finally, the stalemate is broken. DP now in the open out and just fighting. PDX as well in the same situation. Top 16, taken one already.
This is not a equal battle. Paradox can be outgunned here by Gun Dynasty. The only difference maker is going to be the
અચ્છા અક્ષિત તે ભૂલથી મારાથી મોકલી ગયા પાછા મોકલ્યા પે
But now, super low. It's the lightning zone that gives them the extra bit of advantage as well. And EVOS has showed up out of nowhere. And Gun Dynasty, like the third party equation that they pulled off, they get shut down. Aurora makes their way out of the lobby a little bit too early. Once again, Gun Dynasty looking for the recovery. But now then, David, no vending machines around them. And the shutdown by Cypher off of that Mag 7 is perfect. Gun Dynasty loses yet another. And Paradox still alive and kicking through all of that.
લાઉડ જવાની લાઉડ કો ભાઈ યુએસ બી જતી રહેલી એજીએલ ના ફૂલ ચાન્સ ભાઈ પીડીએક્સ એ સારું કમબેક કર્યું ભાઈ મારે તો જે જમ્પ કરી કરીને
The most they picked up was 18 eliminations at Nextera, and they want to break their own record here.
खराब बेहला से पहले इजी आ रहा है
પેરાડોક્સ બહુ ભરી બેલ છે ને ગયો
Final circle up against Gun Dynasty that stands no chance because of their numbers.
Yeah, GD only one player alive, not for long, but now will go
भाई
down next year.
टॉप 3 में आई है ले
Crushes through here, kept
નહીં ટોપ 4 હતું
blue walls. Moshi almost getting clipped, finally does, goes down to Baros, and he's not done quite yet. Cypher finding great angles and positions here as Jonah puts in the damage from far away. It's hectic, Wasana jumping
आ गई
to find a way against Cypher, but cannot do more than that.
ભાઈ હું ચલાવતો હતો ઓ ભાઈ 1v1 સ્નાઈપર છે પાછું
ओ भाई कर लेंगे
With the Mag 7, late to the party, but big on the numbers as they break the record set by AGAL.
Record breaking and second booyah of
मैं तो
the
रिपोर्ट मारे पर
day.
चलो
This team
मारता
feels unstoppable. There's just so
Sniper
many
होती
things happening right now, and but they're so, I would say, aware on how the positions are going to go,
अलग
how
भी
the
बीजू नहीं
movement is going to be, and somehow they
નહીં હા એ લોકોને બી બીજું
crucial kill at the very, very last possible timing.
It was Buriram that set the record for the highest points at Purgatory. 15 eliminations plus the Booyah. But they got matched up with that. The problem was at Nextera, AGAL just could not walk away with the Booyah. It was Loud that ruined the uplands, walking away with the second Booyah of the day for Brazil. And kept them from breaking the record of Buriram, and Buriram showing exactly why they're a 3-time world champs. Phenomenal play. Let's check out these replays as well, as Buriram pulled off that final battle sequence.
Honestly, I think that what's really exciting about this particular match was not just about Buram United, but I think it's just more of like how they decided to just really double down in fights. Usually it's a bit more quiet by them early, right?
Yeah.
But this time around, you could feel like they're just starting to just get into the groove. They're starting to really feel themselves in this fight. Positioning-wise is also
कितना
really
भारी
good
लोग
as
आप
well.
हैं?
They had so much control of that high ground.
I mean, the comms
Last match में.
just calm, collected, not panicking in that situation at all. And
Last match
last
ને
match ગ્રુપ એ નું ગ્રુપ એ નું લાસ્ટ મેચ
ભાઈ કલાકનો જેવો બ્રેક હે મને એવું લાગે
down. And when you've got a support player who can annihilate the squads,
એ કન્ટિન્યુ ચાલે હે
નહીં એટલું બધું
in a
નહીં
situation like that.
કન્ટિન્યુ ચાલે
Reason why Buriram sets the record is
ભાઈ આ મેચ છે તે પેલા લોકો હારું બહુ હારો હતો ટેગ હારો
It's also really exciting to think about how Buram United approaches this game. Sometimes they're going a little bit
મેપ
slow
પ્લસ
down,
માર્કર જો ની કાકા ટીમ ઉતરે એ બધું લખે ભાઈ એ લોકો
into this game. But I am really surprised at how I would say aggressive so many of
હા
the teams are starting from that get-go. I think everyone's
વન્સ પર આઈપેડ છે ભાઈ
નહીં મેપ ને નહીં લે તમે
TEC, I would say, had a little bit more spark in them compared to the beginning of
હા
the game.
Yeah, I mean, it hasn't been a great day for TEC. Managing to play a little bit of recovery on Kalahari was crucial for them, but you know, it's just going to be enough to get
हमने
them out
न्यू
of
जोन
the
मेटा
danger
ना
zone. Not
न्यू जोन
permanently
मेटा
just
बेटा
yet, because they've spent too much of time
मोस्ट ऑफ
down in the bottom
મિલિટરી
two.
બેઝ જ જાય
Now we have got
મિલિટરી
a
ને
little bit of a breather here
પેલું
for the
સેવરની
casting
બાજુ
desk. We are going to throw you guys onto a
શું ક્ષિતિજ
break.
એને એને એને
You guys,
એને કે એનાલિસિસ કરવાનું જો
later, the
આપણને તો ખબર બી નહીં હોતી
આમ કેમેરા છે કે
કેમેરો છે તું તારું વેબકેમ મારું યુઝ કરી શકે એમ 4K સુધી આપે
થેન્ક યુ કરણ
કયો કે
હું થયું
What's up, everyone? Carol Bombshell here. I know you guys are having so much fun watching Free Fire, but there is a lot more going on here at
साला
EWC.
छल्ली में પછી સ્ટ્રીમ બનતા है हमारे
So come with me, let's check
ये
this
વ્યૂ
out.
કેટલા ગયા તારા મારે વ્યૂ એટલા ગયા જ નહીં
No
ને
problem.
વોચિંગ બી
There's
એટલી
a lot
આવતી
of
નહીં મળે
options here at the
તો વચ્ચે કઈ
આજે નહીં આવી વાંચી
હા નહીં એમાં શું થયું ખબર કે ફ્રી ફાયર ના છે ને બહુ મલ્ટિપલ કરતા એમ સમજો ને વેલો ના શું હતું કે બહુ ઓછા લોકો કરતા હે
options here. What about your
એ
team is
તો
not doing
જોયો
so well? No problem. There's another options here, another team that you can cheer for. Okay, guys, I'm so sorry. We gotta cut this right now
Ay,
because
job.
I'm gonna customize my own t-shirt. Bye. Lots of fun activations here, like in
Keren,
Little
bukan itu.
Stand. You can play games and also you can do.
એની લિંક
some
મૂકે ક્લિક કરીને એના પર
Look at this. Maybe I wanna try. Okay. Oh, sorry. I was trying to help you. Oh. Maybe I should get in the line because we got a full house. You better don't take too long to come. Wow, we are in the middle of it all, the heart of EWC. We got a great atmosphere here with fans at stage 1, stage 2, the most important stage for you. Stage 3, stage 4. Oh my gosh. Oh, did you notice Team Vitality? It's your favorite team, so come and drink a coffee with them. Are you missing Kidia City? No problem. We got Kidia City right here with a lot of fun activations, interactions for you to have fun the whole day. And you know what? If you are in the area, you got to be mad to not to come here. So I'm waiting for you. See you soon.
And what an insane last match that was. I feel like that was probably the most chaotic end zone that we have had in these games today. I don't understand really what went on in these first original matches to then pop out with this. It's like all the teams switched on. Did any stand out to you?
હવે આખું પોઈન્ટ ટેબલ બતાવે પછી પેલું કરે
Classic battle between Buram United Esports and of course AGAL. We are practically seeing history repeat itself again and again and again. And it was so amazing to see Get High finally came out as the winner because boy, that was intense. I am so giddy inside. I'm so excited and it's only the 5th game of the day. We still have one more game from the A group.
બહુ ડિપેન્ડ કરે હે હવે ટેગે ગમે તે રીતે હરખું કરવા પડે
લાસ્ટ મેચ છે
તો જ કઈ થાય બાકી પછી તો
I feel like these players are switching on and they're like, you know what? we kind of didn't do, that great in these first couple of matches, and now we know it needs to turn up. I know we're talking about it the game, we're in game 5 coming up now, but like, is it a little bit too late? Is there a particular team that you found in that end zone? I know I did. I know I was talking about them before, and that was Paradox, where I said they need to get better placement points. They need to turn up, and they were actually in that position in that final zone.
Yes, but also if you talk about the Southeast Asian games teams, I mean, I honestly think that they are kind of dominating their points throughout the whole entire day, and it is so refreshing to see, because usually we see that happening from the Brazilian team. Yes, I mean, Loud has been amazing. Loud has been a very powerful, but then again, it is the time for the Southeast Asian to really show the world what they're made of, and that's exactly what they've been doing. I mean, I'm so proud to see my boys killing it out there.
Yeah, I love that. Can I tell you a little bit of a story? And this was actually back to match number 1. Yeah. I'm going to take you guys back just a little bit here, but that is none other than Gun Dynasty and Banal, okay? I don't know if you saw me get out of my seat for this part, but they were making sort of a swift recovery, and the Banal
अल्लाह जो हारू करमते ना मजा होता है
think that all fails and
कल
it's going
मैच
to
जैक
end there.
खराब
But no,
गेले
they sort of take
हाँ
that smooth transition to make that
भाई जो
recovery
तीजी
and
मैच
the
ना अंदर
मतलब
कमबैक
अभी
करे
that Banal has for his team,
हाँ
and the
खराब की
adaptation is simply exceptional. And if y'all missed that, obviously we got the replay.
पर जो कि पहले वुल्फे मायरू थे पहला ने फैल्कॉन ने छल्ले पैंथी मायरू बोल नॉक थे लो तो एकला
elims in that first match. And what that obviously does for this team, and it sets them in a standard that is above and beyond the rest. Currently sitting more in the middle of the leaderboard, against our Louds and our AGLs, but that first match is something that I feel like these other teams need to follow suit.
भाई ईवो से कितनी भरी कंसिस्टेंसी है पिजो नहीं
Colored me impressed because I'm a Banal fan now. I don't know about you.
Well, same here, because you know what they say, right? The first match usually sets the tone, and that's exactly what they did. It was so amazing to see and so refreshing to see Banal. I mean, I said I just found a new love. I think it
ये जो ऑफलाइन जो होना
but then
चाहिए
again, looking at the overall standing, AGAL, oh my god, 109 points, 70 elimination points. That is so amazing, and that is something that I'm so excited to see at the opening of EWC 2026. And of course, if we're talking about a top 5, we have Buriram United Esports, as well as EFOS, Gun Dynasty, and Loud Snickers. That is, oh my god, that is what I expected and more.
Well, I know we're super excited here. I hope you guys are super excited at home, because we're heading into our next match. Take it away, casters.
पहले 90% पतेगी मरू नेट
Man, I tell you, the day has been looking super solid, but I did not
मरू
expect
1080 है
a handful of teams to walk
1080 से तारू भी छा ना
with double-digit eliminations. But what happened
चल
was
स्टार्ट
they
थे यो स्टार्ट थे
didn't
यो
walk away with a double-digit elimination, which by the way was only 4 squads.
हाँ
They walked away with a ton
तब
of
तो
points.
क्लियर देखा है
23 eliminations from Buriram.
मारो 82 GB
AGAL walked away with a total of 19
वाह
eliminations.
એટલે રાજે भी સ્ટ્રીમ करेली
नहीं स्ट्रीम नहीं તમારા બે જણાની સ્ટ્રીમ ચાલે
हाँ
ફ્રી फायर વાળાની બી ચાલે
भाई टैग है भाई गમે તે રીતે કઈ કરવા પડે
But even with 2 booyahs, it's
बाकी
surprising how loud
हमारा 8 GB
9 GD. Gun Dynasty has been amazing today.
I know, I was going to say that, right? The
चल हारू थियो
survivability was really good. The aggression
शॉटो
was
थोड़ो
really good.
अग्रेसिव
The
रम्मा की वही
proximity was really good. Their
एकलो
rotations
होते
was
हीरो
also really good. They're like the kind of team that are very silent.
कड़े
Like,
टेव जुता
you
रही
don't
है
see them on the Booyah screen, but no Booyah.
लसन है
No booyah,
नामन
no
देखा है
problem
लोग
at
नोर
all. At least on stage 1.
हाँ
As we spot out
Okay.
the map here,
DPD
finally
DPIV
get
DPIV
some discipline. We get some quiet out there. We are back on Nextera, baby. And Nextera is the map that gave us the most number of eliminations from the day. 121.
फाइट तो आने लगी
ये मार लोड थे तू रही ऊपर
About how we kind of were lacking through these eliminations on Kalahari from a lot of the teams, but still it was the second highest with 102 eliminations. So I think some of these teams are definitely warming up to the least.
To see these things happening, and again, you know how aggressive these maps have been. In the show just now, you said that some of these maps can go a bit faster, and that's how fast we're going right now. As Jazzy does get one.
ईवोस मजा लेगी
Ray rushes forward. Top is barely alive right now. I'm not too sure how much longer he can survive here. Ray does put his shot first out here, but finally in the end does go down. And the points being stolen away by EVO. EVOS here, starting off real hot as Jazzy crosses the peripherals of the rest of EVOS, and you
ભાઈ ડીપી ની મજા લઈ જવાના એ લોકો ડીપી પતવાનું
trying to play like that against them.
Demon's Pride.
છોટા ટાઈમમાં છોડી મૂકેલો કે ને એટલે સ્કિલ આવે તો આવે ને તો કઈ
એવું જ કરવો પડે પણ હવે
Humble enough to acknowledge that this was going to be a very big stage, a massive challenge for
નહીં
them,
પણ
for their
કારણ
region.
નવમી પોઝિશન બી હારી
Giving
છે
it their best.
પોઈન્ટ
Their
ડિફરન્સ
best
જોઈ તો
so far hasn't been good enough. We
નહીં
did
નહીં
see
નહીં
the recovery
પણ જે તે
play,
પીડીએક્સ ને ટેક હારું રમતું છે
and that has been
પીડીએક્સ હારું રમેલું એટલે
where they scored 10
હા તે જ ને
points. The rest of
51
those
છે
matches were way lower than that. That's exactly what's keeping them at the very bottom of
નહીં
the
આપણે
leaderboard.
10 માં 10
Thankfully,
સુધી
they've got
રહેવાનું
6
છે
more
બસ
games to
10
go
સુધી
forward.
પણ આપણે
બોલ
સાત
જો બે હારી
A lot
રમી
of
ગઈ
these
ને
mistakes to
તો
recover
લાગી
from.
જાય
એટલે હમણાં 7-8 પર પહોંચી જાય તો સારું એમ
Chasing the
પોઈન્ટ
last few members of DP here, so Madara instantly brought back into the game. Yes, but you're just giving up so many points to EVOS right now. But also at the same time, we were looking at GD for quite some time. We're seeing how aggressive they are. PDX is going to go down eventually by them.
Absolutely, and EVOS picking up elimination number 5. All thanks to Aim God and his thirst for a few extra elimination points. Jazzy out all alone.
Madara's
He's protecting no compound whatsoever. Madara's just dropping right behind him, and they're just going to be hoping and praying that EVOS does not go out hunting. And thankfully, EVOS looks the other way. They walk away from the potential point. But DRS out early though. This is not what I was expecting, but Aurora
DRS की
picking
नेपालની
up a
ટીમ
solid 4 points from the Nepali squad.
Yeah, I think that
એ
feels like DRS is starting to slow
ચાલ એટલે
down
આપણને
just a little bit
હા
as well. They didn't get the deeper
એટલે
run
આપણને
that
હજુ
we saw at
બેનિફિટ
the
મળે
beginning of the day.
ટેગ વડે ખાલી હવે શાંતિ રાખવા પડે
Looking into playing a different tune here. They want to try and catch up with Keroro. They
Top
can
10 નું cut off
collection
થયું
from multiple angles. Kero in
ટોપ
trouble.
4 નું
As you
સોરી
see, he tries to keep out
એ
like he
તો
does, but not for long here as Zeus finally chunks him down eventually.
ભાઈ મેં ટોટલ ગેમિંગથી બહુ પેલું કરતા છે કેમ કે ટોટલની લાઇનઅપ બહુ જૂની છે કોર્ડિનેશન બી બહુ હેવી છે
Those defenses instantly to get another point for Aurora.
એપેક્સ ભાઈ પાછા પૂછી ગયા
Definitely having a
ઇવોસ પૂછી ગયા એપેક્સ ભાઈ
Team Apex
કોણ
Gaming up against your reigning defending
ટીમમાં
champions of
છે
the
કે નથી
esports
કોણ
World Cup. Free Fire. Can we
ટોટલ
see
કે
India
એ
take
તો
back
ખાલી
one
પેલો
of
છે
those
ઓનર
elite
જેવો
squads out there? Aim
કેની
God,
રમ
the shield gun in hand.
પાર્થું ગઈ
Won't be able to get aggressive just yet. Wait
Hello.
for the rest of the
हाँ,
defenders
बोलिए।
to catch up as well. Woven going in for the tags, but instead
હા
the
મોકલું મોકલું
reversal and
हाँ
the backup from the rest of the EVOS members puts him on the ground. Shoto's getting caught out here as well. It's a 2v1. Valiant Dash still keeping Shoto alive, but the numbers
अरे
play will catch up, and a disadvantage for Team Apex Gaming here. Slowly, the team crumbling.
મારે છે ગાડીનો સાઈડ પરનો
Can he pull off some sort of a miracle here for the squad?
Yeah, but he's being marked by Rasha, who's
તો પાર્થને ગાડીનો સાઈડ પરનો ફોટો જોઈએ
down. Takes a little bit more
તારો
damage here. It goes down.
હા
Rasha coming through as well. Not able to do so.
બહુ ભારી
જવાનું લાગે ભાઈ
Perfect positioning, but still has to deal with the rest of EVOS.
I'll take that, man. I'll take that. Good enough from Team Apex Gaming.
Oh.
Sahil Jat giving us some exciting tightrope walking survival plays off of the glue wall. Just at the
ભાગવા જ
very
પડે
edge of that
he
platform
was not
there.
10
And of course, he was
and
Divine still with the advantage on the numbers. But what's important is the recovery play off of the Indian squad. He bought enough time for the survivors to scurry on away,
They-
pulling those revives. And we're going to get to see
They-
if or not Team Apex Gaming finds that full recovery later on. Aurora, on the other hand, on one of their better runs so far. The most number of eliminations Aurora has pulled from a lobby today has been 9.
Once
They're
Pelan
already
hotel.
at 8. And this game is still fairly early. Can they continue their run or will they fizzle out? Demon's Pride again. Still
ગાડી
no
ગરમ થઈ
way
ગઈ છે એનું.
whatsoever to recover
ગયો
their gameplay
બધાઈ
here
ગયું
as they're
ટ્રાફિક
scrambled on the
શું થયેલું
battlefield.
હતું
Jazzy
ફરીથી
taking a lot of damage as well. Limit
Compressor.
putting in the damage. And there we go. Falcons clean up house there as well. Another
No
point in the
like
back for DP.
Elegant.
Brought back
હા
into
નવ
the
લાખી
game quickly. Somehow I'm surprised the AGL with only
એકને 0 કિલ મળ્યા
what happened there.
Uh-oh. Madara Aswab
Ah.
too close to Aurora. Easy picking here for the Aurora players. I see Tech in there as well. Potential 10
દેહુ ખાયલા મેં ગેલો તો અભિનયલા જતા
game run here for Aurora. on this next era map.
Macam
Thanks
keren
to
malah.
the players here
ભાઈ
from
ભાઈ
South
ભાઈ ભાઈ
Asia.
ટેગ પર બહુ મસ્ત ચાન્સ છે હમણાં જ ઘૂસી ગયા ને ઝોનમાં
The Demon Spy players, Aurora's definitely on the hunt as they rotate around into
ચાલ ડીપી પહોંચી
Bridge,
ગઈ
looking for Intellect Center. It's actually Demon's Pride being the first team to make it into the next circle. Good on them, but scrambled from the very start. Holy mama!
Gosh!
Rasya bro!
Oi, oi, oi.
That deadly shot.
He did it twice! Unmoved, undeterred,
Até matlab
cool
खुश था ये।
and collected. Look at his
ખબર
reaction.
નહીં
I mean, that's the best way to take the number one spot. Take the guys out of the number one spot and move
ભૈયા
on
ભૈયા પેલા છે
into
કે
where they stand. But EVOS Divine, obviously, they need a few more points to climb the leaderboard. They were behind Buriram before the start of this match. Not by too many, of course. Catching up is gonna be
ઓય 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 ભાઈ હું ચિપકાયો
Demon's Pride again. All their revives are just giving some extra bonus points to anyone that comes across them.
Yeah, TAG now in trouble.
બહુ
as
ભારી
well.
દૂરથી કવર
Brooklyn
આપ્યું
United bringing his teammates back into the game. KD got to stay alive, but this shot
But-
from
but- but-
Oshi, there's nothing.
નહીં નહીં બચી કે લોકો બેક લાવવા પડે શોટો એ નીકળવા પડે
Fairly cleanly. Shoto is close by, Sahil Jet and Wolvin around as well. And for Brooklyn United, I'm wondering what the next steps are going to be. Are they going to go clean up house, get the last few eliminations, or are they going to go and prioritize the positionings instead? And from the rotations, they're going to try and go northern side here because the circle did hard shift
Bobari.
north side.
Damn, Moshi, you're good. The follow up off of that Riptide rhythm is too perfect. Timely.
ટેગ જેવી જોઈએ
Gun Dynasty scrambling for
Oh,
safety as
bhai.
Falcons go out on the hunt.
Arre.
Vega's gonna get tagged up.
Arre.
And Venus there for the finisher on the front lines, backed up by Limit. And the Riptide rhythm causing a lot of chaos out here in the lobby, just not from one team, multiple squads depending on that Skylar. And we saw the perfection out of Moshi.
હા હા
Limit
કેરેક્ટરનું
showing
નામ
that he
છે
can work magic off of that as well. Shiru, Benel,
Skylar.
Benel too far away from the vending machine. Shiru's
હા.
gonna be chased off of it as
અરે
well.
પેલા
બહુ ભારી ચિપકાયો
ઓરે ભાઈ બહુ ભારી
ઓય 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 બેને લઈ ગયો
ડાઉન કરી દીધો
Deadly play from this guy. Knocks down P9
માર
as well.
Falcon ને માર.
And Patel single-handedly
બહુ
taking the
ભારી
fight up to Falcons.
ભાઈ ટેગ વાળા હજુ બી રિવાઇવ કર્યા નહીં મળે
Contain the champions of EWC 24.
Bring back his teammate into the game
મશીન
as
ની
well.
મેચ
He
હે
kill,
એટલે
he heal, and he also eliminates players in this game. TAG once again
Hey,
brought
hey,
back the
hey.
teammates into the game once more as well.
Oh,
GG
no.
gonna launch themselves forward. Okay, this is gonna be interesting.
He was
Gonna be
saving.
chased by EVOS here.
અરે પેલી વારી
Let's find Shiru there
અરે પેલાને હું ઉઠાઈ રહ્યો ભાઈ
એક રહી ગયો એક રહી ગયો
EVOS got into position at the perfect time.
ઓય ઓય
But Benel survives.
ફેલ્કોને પાછા લીધા
Gun Dynasty gets to survive a little bit longer because the super survivor, super reviver will be on to his mission once again.
અહીંયા જ છે લોકોને આખી સ્કોડ અહીંયા જ છે
I've not seen a single narrow play after the nerf. That bit
Ada
unfortunate we don't get to see
હા.
those clutches.
અહીંયા તને તારું વેન્ડિંગ મશીન જેવું થઈ ગયા
forward here puts in that damage. But it's Abax that gets caught
પૂરા
out
ગયા
by
લોકો
Pina first in the end.
ભાઈ ટેગ હારા પોઝિશન પર નહીં મળે
Eliminations
Chris પર છે
already. Aim God will be found as well. EVOS may have been
એ
more than you
ઈવો
can
ગયો ઈવો
shoot.
ગયો
Ray barely alive right now, feeling the pressure
ઓ
coming
ભાઈ
in from the
ભાઈ
players on the other
અરે
side there. Does find Pina in the end, but I don't think they can do more than that.
Falcons looking to make this their game of the day. Definitely their best run
અરે
they've
આપણને
had in
માર્યો
here so far. EVOS on the other hand,
અરે
looking for that number
એક
one spot.
મારી નાખ
as
મારી
they
નાખ મારી
took
નાખ
out the team on that number one spot, AGAL themselves. But they're now on a
Tek
recovery
kaa gaya.
play. Apex on that revive. Falcons on the other hand. This definitely officially is one of their better games. Earlier on, they got 12 eliminations off of
બહુ
Solara,
ભારી
but
ગયો
only
શોટો
5 placement points.
છોટા
They
છોટા
have to be careful because
ચાલ સાહિલ રિવાઇવ આપવા ગયેલો છે સાહિલ રિવાઇવ આપવા ગયેલો છે
dwindled down quickly when the circle was closing in.
બહુ ભારી
Just seems like in this
એક
situation,
નાસ્તો કર્યો
TAG stuck in the
નહીં નહીં
corner.
સાહિલ ઓલરેડી રિવાઇવ આપવા
Looking
ગયેલો
at
હતો
Falcons, they really took their time to come into the circle.
શોટોએ ખાલી ધ્યાન
Looking at
ભટકાયું એમ
GD, David, Vega also getting knocked down already. Benel just waiting for the right timing here. Just pop up his head, steal away this very nasty shot as he's been delivering toward this
કોઈને
the
હવામાં
first
ઉતારી
side of
પડ્યો
the game, first part of the map, excuse me.
EVOS fully recovered already, looking to take the number one spot by the very end of the day for Group A. Can the reigning defending champions find that full recovery for themselves? TC on the other hand,
प्लस
Quickly trying
खेलना
to
जोन
play
होते
the
निकल
reposition.
साइड
Paradox.
हाँ
One of
हाँ
the teams
सारे
that have
वेंडिंग
been
मशीन
struggling.
ना नजीक रहा पड़ा
Definitely
बस
doing better than TEC at this point of time. Taking TEC out of the equation here. And give them a slight
Oh
boost, and
भाई
it's definitely a fair
और
fight
ड्रेक
between the two, but Nezhan with
भाई
the
टीसी
monster
बूम
dominance
मशरूम थी
and
जो
going in for the
टीसी ना
finisher
पॉइंट हुई
as
था
well.
ना
Has got the
तो
electric
टैगनी
damage
बूम
connected
पड़ा
to
है
him, but can he get the job done?
Can't really
He
get
slows the
close.
pace down a tad bit, and that does not give them that advantage they wanted.
Yeah, they're forced to reposition, go down to the lower ground as well. This is a three-way fight. GD is here, Paradox is here, TEC as well. But they're going to take this bit by bit. Decides to pick and fight TEC first. Blade coming in hot, has an angle to work with, but finally locked out of the angle. You have the time timer online. Denrick trying to find a different angle into the area. The inhaler keeps him surviving for quite some time. Snipe goes down, Kutush, huge for that as well. Even Denrick is found in this situation. Blade also decides to end Denrick's life in the end. As TEC, the players are just being dropped left and center. GD decides to join in the fight. Shiro here, found in the end, but TEC with the upper hand.
Big play there by a Blade. Phenomenal, and Bananas are on it again. This guy is unstoppable on the revives. Yeah, definitely not the right kind of record to be holding on to, because you know your team's getting tortured out there, but they're also picking up
Go
some
buddy.
big points. TEC's out after that fantastic play. Shiru shut down by Moshi as he got
Go buddy.
revived,
He was
shot
big.
out the air. And this is
अरे बेच जन उसके टैग ना जो
कहीं नहीं ने पॉइंट मिले के नहीं पहला ना प्लेसमेंट ना
Forced to reposition.
प्ले जोन फिर के डेंजर जोन है हमारी लिए ते लोगों ने जो
Amount of pressure they are feeling right now. Finally, in the green for the time, no. Has to wait this out. And if they do come in here, not too far of a jump, but it's okay. Gives a bit of space between them and the rest of the teams.
आपको डोरी केम पे साकड़ी जी के बंदे देख
આ કેરેક્ટરની સ્કિલ છે તો એકબીજાને ડિપેન્ડન્ટ છે કે એચપી આપી શકે એચપી ડેમેજ જેવું છે તે શેર કરે એવું જેવું થયું એમ
as well as the dominance with the mechanical plays have been unbelievable. They sure as hell are on fire.
સાહિલે કઈ કરવાનું કામ મળે નહીં સાહિલ જાત
Right now within the lobby, can they pick up more for themselves? 15 eliminations and still going with 3 players still alive.
तो नॉक थे ये
हाँ
पता ही है
નહીં સાહિલ હજુ છે સાહિલ હજુ બેહેલો છે
Him and the rest of the team. Now gonna rush forward here. Aurora gonna take this fight, I think, head on against Buram United. They're so aware that they're very close by. I think pressuring them with the nades as real. A lot of damage taken. Zeus is barely alive right now. The rush forward is good. Get high, does find Azrael here somewhere. And Wasana, the jump shots are just nasty. Zones them away. Chasing the rest of the team, but still not able to
એ તો થઈ જ ગઈ યાર હવે હમણાં ગઈ સાતમા પર ગઈ થઈ ગયું 41 પોઈન્ટ કાઢી લીધા
This ain't no Bollywood movie. And the heroes, regardless whether or not it is a Bollywood movie, will always win out. And Buriram just that hero. Now the numbers disadvantage for Aurora. Buriram goes in for the finisher. Falling shot. Wasana and 590 perfection. Get high with a backup. And Wasana cleans up the house.
ઈવોસ ક્યારનું પતી ગયેલું તું હમણાં જોયું
13
ना ना
eliminations in totality.
ओवरऑल पॉइंट
But
है
now
ना
they're going to be pressured from the back.
હા એ જ તો કેમ બ્રુ જો ની બ્રુ કેટલું ભારી મારી ગયો
And Demon's Pride
પેલો તે તાળીઓ તો તે
and finding their way in here.
This is a really great round for them as well, surviving this long. And it's really exciting to see someone as aggressive as Jonah just really get up close and personal and just clean up the area. Shiru will be the one to go down next year. Falcon still putting in that pressure. And the rotations are actually very, very intense.
મજા લે
Falcon
છે
have
ને
a
તું
bit of a zone control to play with.
પાકિસ્તાનનો પ્લેયર
GD come close.
It's Thailand versus Latam. Who's gonna get that number 1 spot? Both Gun Dynasty and Buriram, full squad. But Gun Dynasty on that high ground, this can turn into a disadvantage. What is a massive advantage for them right now with a bird's eye
એ
view.
ડીપી કૂદે તો ગોબાયો
Instantly, if someone gets the God nade, it's gonna be Benel taking Jazzy out of the side of Demon's Pride. A valiant run here for Demon's Pride is not gonna be good enough to break them out of the 12th spot just yet. As we're left with 4 squads in the final circle. Loud, still Loud out there looking for their third booyah of the day.
Doesn't it feel like deja vu how they have been able to hold on to this top side of this compound once again? Now Biram United forced to just wait this out, taking a lot of damage from the players from the other side here. But Falcons want to go for this fight against GD. Can't do just that. So the most they can do right now is just wait out the utility, wait out the onslaught of bullets coming at them from different areas. Biram United going to cross by, taking a lot of damage from the other teams.
Yeah, big brain play, man. 3-time world champs for a good reason. Good call by Captain Jonah. The rotation is solid. They've got the compound cover and they will not get tagged up. And now they stand a good chance of walking away with the booyah here. It's all about positioning supremacy. And now the circle's going to be pressuring 2 teams. It's Falcons as well as Gun Dynasty. Gun Dynasty still on fire with the most number of eliminations in this lobby. Can they break the record set here by Buriram on Kalahari? 23 eliminations plus the booyah for 35 cracker points.
Yeah, they're forced out into the open where Falcons decide to take advantage of this situation.
ફેલ્કન ભાઈ ફેલ્કન ઈઝી એ પણ બ્રુ દૂરથી મજા લેતી છે લાઉડ બી છે જો
Falcons not even giving us a lot of time to think about what the answer for that question was going to be. They say hell no Mustachio. We take them out of the equation. Buriram though still alive.
જા ભાઈ ફેલ્કોન ને એડવાન્ટેજ
Can they withstand this ambush now? Buriram taking the fight straight up to them. Valindash still active on the side of Osana. M590 looking for the connections and he's also got the AWM. Takes the high ground advantage first and Loud now left right behind them. What a rotation by
Mossy.
Yeah, Biram United is just so aware of how exactly things are going to go. Now they have a lot of space to work with. They're aware of where the players are going to be here. But Pina jumps through, lands the shot, not able to, and now they want to take the fight too loud. They're stuck, trapped, very, very low HP. Jumped away, the damage is down. Fire's nade is just so good. Trap, gone down already, and Quaka as well. What are
ઓય હોય લઈ ગયો લઈ ગયો એકલો જણ 3 જણને લઈ ગયો 1v3 કરી ગયો ભાઈ હું ચાલે યા હું ચાલે ઓ બારી એક નોક એ લોકોને કેટલા છે 1v4 ઈઝી પ્રોપર એડવાન્ટેજ ભાઈ તો 3 બુયા
to take the #1 spot on the leaderboard.
It is incredible looking at Buriram United. Not only are they so confident playing with that playbook play, they don't have to really worry about anything. Positioning is key, and from that, the rest of the eliminations and the fights just flow to them as well. Patient as hell and okay with giving away that space.
I didn't look at the YouTube chat today, but I am damn sure